In order to make money, I secretly went to the hospital to donate sperm, but I accidentally ran into the school beauty doing a prenatal checkup. I saw that she was 10 weeks pregnant on her ultrasound report. I felt something was wrong. It was because I was drunk that night 2.5 months ago and I accidentally took the school beauty's first blood, but she left without saying a word. I thought I would never have a chance again. Now we stand together, but it's like we're separated by a screen. I can only see her covering her face and talking to herself. How did I get caught in the first place? Hearing this, I felt a headache and couldn't help asking, is this child mine? Chapter 251, Ocean Star. Hearing Lin Xuan's words, Li Menjiao was stunned at first, then put down the phone in her hand, put her delicate and cute little face against Lin Xuan's face and rubbed it gently. She asked in a soft voice, why do you want to buy a diamond ring again? Lin Xuan smiled slightly and said softly, don't we need to exchange rings at our wedding? Li Menjiao blinked, pecked Lin Xuan on the cheek, and then said gently, but can't we use the engagement ring we used before? Lin Xuan shook his head and explained seriously, proposal is proposal, wedding is wedding. These two occasions need different rings to commemorate. Hearing this, Li Menjiao felt a warm touch in her heart. She pecked Lin Xuan's lips again, then tilted her head slightly, pursed her lips, and looked at him with a smile. Lin Xuan couldn't stand his wife's teasing, so he held her head and kissed her passionately. Their lips pressed tightly together. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye it was the next morning. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao slept a little later than usual today, and only woke up slowly when the sunlight shone through the window onto the bed. After breakfast, it was almost 10 o'clock. Then Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao went to the garage together and drove the luxurious Toyota Alpha Nanny car towards the Royal Jewelry Store in Yunhai City. Lin Xuan took Li Menjiao's hand, gently pushed open the door and walked in. Hello, sir, are you here to look at jewelry? A young female salesperson came up to me with a professional smile on her face. Hello, I'm here to see your store manager, Zhang Heicheng, Lin Xuan said with a smile, his tone calm and gentle. Okay, please wait a moment. The young female salesperson responded politely, then turned and left to look for the store manager. At this time, Zhang Heicheng was on the phone with a partner, discussing business details. Knock, 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 tilde. There was a knock on the door of the manager's office. Come in, Zhang Heicheng shouted at the door, and then continued to focus on the call with his partner. Mr. Li, when will the diamonds I ordered last month arrive? I have a client who is in urgent need of it. By the way, do you have any high-quality diamonds? Just then, the young female salesperson walked in. Zhang Heicheng held up his cell phone and signaled her with his eyes that she could just tell him if she had anything to say. The young saleswoman understood what he meant and said softly, Mr. Zhang, two young men came into the store and said they wanted to see you. They also knew your name. Hearing this, Zhang Heicheng was slightly stunned, and doubts arose in his heart. Who would come to him? Two young people at that. Two young men, do you know me? But I'm busy discussing cooperation. Let them wait for a while. Zhang Heicheng took away his phone, said to the young female salesperson, and then continued talking on the phone. Okay. The young female salesperson turned around and prepared to leave. Suddenly, Zhang Heicheng remembered that more than half a year ago, two young people came here and bought the heart of the ocean and the charm of the ocean. Zioxia, wait a moment. Zhang Heicheng hurriedly stopped the young female salesperson. Are those two young people a couple, and they are very good-looking? Zhang Heicheng asked. Yes, it's the first time I see such a good-looking couple, replied the young female salesperson. It's bad, it must be the big customer from last time who bought millions of jewelry without blinking an eye. Mr. Li, I have something urgent to deal with. Let's talk later. Zhang Heicheng hung up the phone, then hurried out of the office and went to the jewelry store. When he looked, he saw that it was indeed the wealthy couple from before. I saw Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao standing in front of the counter, looking carefully at the jewelry displayed on the counter. Mr. Lin, Ms. Li, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting for so long. Zhang Heicheng hurried forward and said with a smile. Mr. Zhang, you've been very busy lately, Lin Xuan said with a smile. No hurry, no hurry. Mr. Lin, next time you come to our royal jewelry store, just call me directly. Come on, let's go in and have some tea. Afterwards, Zhang Heicheng led Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao through the corridor of the store and came to the store manager's office. After entering the room, Zhang Heicheng warmly invited the two to sit down and began to make tea skillfully, while asking, Mr. Lin, do you have any specific purchase needs when you visit our royal jewelry store this time? Lin Xuan smiled and said, Yes, we want to buy a pair of diamond rings. Zhang Heicheng continued to ask, What kind of diamond ring does Mr. Lin want to buy? As he spoke, he handed the brewed top-quality Taiguanian to Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao respectively. After taking a sip of tea, Lin Xuan replied, "We hope to find a pair of ocean-themed wedding rings. Does Mr. Zhang have any new styles to choose from?" Zhang Heicheng showed a pleasant surprise on his face and said with a smile, "Mr. Lin, you are so lucky. Our royal jewelry store just completed a pair of specially designed wedding rings last week, which happened to be based on the ocean theme." Hearing this, Lin Xuan's eyes flashed with anticipation, and he said with a smile, "Then take it out and let us see it." "Okay, please wait a moment, both of you." Zhang Heicheng nodded in agreement, then stood up from his seat and went to get the ring. After a while, he handed over 2 exquisite blue boxes. A moment later, he returned to the office with 2 exquisite blue boxes in his hands. He gently placed them on the table and pushed them in front of Lin Xuan. "Our royal jewelry store is famous throughout the country. These 2 diamond rings are the latest ones developed and are one of a kind," Zhang Heicheng said proudly. Lin Xuan gently picked up one of the blue boxes and examined it carefully. The surface of the box is engraved with many exquisite marine elements, such as waves, shells, and starfish, as well as an extremely vivid dolphin pattern. The whole design is full of romance and mystery. "Wife, open it and take a look," Lin Xuan said to Li Menjiao gently and handed the box to her. "Yeah," Li Menjiao nodded with a smile, then carefully took the box and opened it gently. Suddenly, a blue light flashed inside the box, like a dreamy starry sky. "This is the Ocean Star diamond ring that we carefully developed," Zhang Heicheng introduced excitedly. "The main stone is a rare 12-carat cushion-shaped blue diamond. Its color is like the deepest heart of the ocean, rich and charming, exuding a breathtaking charm. The ring setting is made of platinum and is shaped like 2 gracefully swimming mermaids, with their tails intertwined to form a graceful arc. The fish tails are inlaid with countless sparkling small diamonds, like the scales of mermaids sparkling in the sea water. The main diamond is surrounded by 8 pear-shaped aquamarines. Their color is as light blue as the clear sea water, pure and lively, forming a wonderful sense of layering with the deep blue of the main diamond. The design of the ring arm is even more ingenious. One side is engraved with a lifelike pattern of a dolphin playing. The dolphin is dotted with pink diamonds, symbolizing the joy and vitality in the ocean. The other side has a delicate wave texture as the background, inlaid with round South Sea pearls, like white foam rising on the sea. On the back of the ring, a mysterious black pearl is cleverly inlaid, which is like a treasure from the depths of the ocean, adding a mysterious and alluring atmosphere. Zhang Heicheng introduced proudly, Chapter 252, The Lord of the Ocean. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao were both attracted by the gorgeous and elegant shape of the Ocean Star diamond ring. It perfectly combines the agility and mystery of the ocean with the dazzling light of diamonds, as if it were a peerless treasure born from the depths of the ocean. Lin Xuan's eyes revealed a hint of affection, and he asked softly, "Wife, do you like this diamond ring?" Li Menjiao raised her head slightly, with a happy light in her eyes, and replied with a smile, "I like it, Tilda." At this moment, Li Menjiao noticed that there was an unopened blue box on the table. She pointed at the box with her delicate fingers and asked curiously, "There is another one." Lin Xuan followed her gaze, smiled, and picked up the blue box. The surface of the box is also carved with many exquisite marine elements, the most eye-catching of which is a lifelike whale pattern, as if it is swimming in the vast ocean. He gently opened the box, and the blue light flashed inside again like a tranquil ocean. At this time, Zhang Heicheng on the side introduced enthusiastically, "This is a pair of rings that match the Ocean Star, and it is called Ocean Supreme. Its main stone is a 12-carat square emerald cut deep blue sapphire. Its deep color is like the most mysterious corner of the ocean, quiet and solemn, exuding a calm charm. The main stone of the ring is a 12-carat square emerald cut dark blue sapphire. Its deep color is like the most mysterious corner of the ocean, quiet and solemn, exuding a calm charm. The ring setting is also made of platinum and is shaped like 2 majestic whales, with their heads facing each other and their bodies forming smooth lines. The whales are inlaid with fine black diamonds, just like their tough skin. On both sides of the main stone, there are 6 marquise-shaped topazes. Their blue color is as clear, tranquil, and deep as the middle layer of the ocean, which contrasts with the deep blue of the main stone, creating a rich sense of layering. The design of the ring arm is unique, with a brave shark pattern engraved on one side, and the shark's fins are dotted with blue spinels, symbolizing strength and courage in the ocean. The other side has an undulating trench texture as the background, inlaid with rectangular turquoise stones, like reefs in the deep ocean. On the back of the ring, there is a unique moonstone inlaid, which is like the soft moonlight in the ocean, adding a gentle and charming atmosphere to the ring. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao were once again attracted by the domineering and gorgeous appearance of this ocean supreme. It perfectly combines the power and mystery of the ocean with the brilliance of gems. It seems to be a symbol of the overlord of the ocean, implying a firm and deep love. Lin Xuan looked at the two diamond rings in front of him and couldn't let go. "Mr. Zhang, how much are these two diamond rings?" Lin Xuan asked. "These two diamond rings are made of extremely rare diamonds, and each of the main stones is 12 carats, so the price is relatively high, 6 million each, and a total of 12 million for two rings," Zhang Heicheng explained patiently. Hearing the price, Li Menjiao frowned slightly and said, "Mr. Zhang, we bought a diamond necklace and diamond earrings here last time. This time we come to you to buy a diamond ring. Can you give us some discounts? After all, we are already old customers." Zhang Heicheng smiled and nodded, then asked, "What are you going to do with this diamond ring? Are you preparing for a wedding?" Lin Xuan smiled and replied, "Yes, we will hold the wedding next month." "So that's how it is. That's great. Congratulations in advance to the two newlyweds on their wedding. How about this? Since you are old customers and you are buying for your wedding, I will give you a special discount. The original price was 12 million. I will sell it to you for 9.99 million. I hope it will bring you good luck, and I wish you a long and happy life together." Zhang Heicheng said enthusiastically. "Thank you, Mr. Zhang." Li Menjiao was so happy that she couldn't stop smiling. In the end, the Ocean Star and Ocean Supreme diamond rings were sold for 9.99 million. Li Menjiao carefully put the two boxes containing diamond rings into her bag, then held Lin Xuan's hand tightly and returned to the car together. "Honey, I don't dare wear such an expensive diamond ring outside," Li Menjiao said. "These two 12-carat diamond rings are simply a giant pigeon egg. Wife, you can save it for important occasions," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Yeah," Li Menjiao smiled sweetly. Then Lin Xuan skillfully started the Toyota Alpha, and the car slowly drove out of the parking lot and headed towards home. After returning to the villa, Lin Xuan went into the kitchen and started cooking. Li Menjiao came to the crib and looked down at Dabo and Xiaobo. The two little ones seemed to sense their mother's arrival. They looked up with innocent smiles on their little faces. Li Menjiao couldn't help laughing. She gently reached out her hand and gently stroked the little faces of Dabo and Xiaobo. Seeing how cute the children were, Li Menjiao picked them up one in each hand and kissed their pink cheeks. Dabo and Xiaobo felt their mother's love and tried hard to turn over and get up, wanting to be closer to their mother. Li Menjiao was filled with joy at seeing how cute the children were. She gently picked up Dabo and Xiaobo, let them lean against her arms, then kissed their pink cheeks, feeling their warmth and softness. At this moment, she felt that she was the happiest person in the world. The afternoon sun shines through the window into the room, warm and peaceful. Li Menjiao woke up slowly, got up from Lin Xuan's arms, stretched her body lazily, and rubbed her messy hair. As usual, she reached for the phone beside the bed and swiped the screen casually. Suddenly, a message from a best friend caught her attention. "Yayo, the final results of your Haitian district teacher exam are out." Li Menjiao woke up instantly. When she turned to look at Lin Xuan beside her, she found that he was still immersed in a sweet dream, sleeping like a pig. Li Menjiao called softly, "Husband, husband." However, Lin Xuan did not react at all and was still deep in his sleep. After thinking for a moment, Li Menjiao decided to use her ultimate move. She moved her body lightly, crossed her long legs over Lin Xuan's waist, and sat steadily on him. Then she leaned over, lowered her head, and gently kissed Lin Xuan on his lips. This trick works every time for Li Menjiao. Sure enough, after feeling Li Menjiao's kiss, Lin Xuan opened his eyes drowsily and looked at Li Menjiao with a blank face. What's wrong, wife?" Lin Xuan asked vaguely. Li Menjiao said excitedly, "Honey, the teacher's final results are out." Chapter 253. Wife, do you want to try wearing hanfu? The time came to 5:30 in the afternoon. Lin Sissy, who had finished her homework, was still sitting in the classroom, holding her school bag tightly in her hands. Her bright eyes were fixed on the clock above the blackboard, as if she was about to rush out in the next second, showing an appearance of being ready to start a 100-meter race at any time, and she muttered to herself, "There are 10 minutes left before the holiday." At this time, Lin Sissy's deskmate looked at her curiously and asked puzzledly, "Sissy, what are you going to do in this posture?" Lin Sissy turned around, winked mischievously, and said, "Didn't you see? Get ready to launch." After saying that, she turned her head and continued to stare at the clock, her hands slightly clenched into fists, as if she couldn't wait to rush out. Just then, a crisp bell for the end of get out of class rang, breaking the silence of the classroom. Lin Sissy immediately stood up like a wild horse and shouted to her deskmate without turning her head. I'm leaving first, Zyroking. Have a happy May Day holiday. Then she rushed out of the classroom like the wind, leaving her deskmate with a confused look on his face. At this time, a black Toyota Alpha Nanny car slowly stopped at the gate of Yunhai No. 1 Middle School. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao sat in the car, quietly waiting for Lin Sissy to come out from school. Lin Xuan heard the bell for the end of get out of class. He turned around and said to Li Menjiao beside him with a smile, "Wife, I tell you, Sissy will definitely show up at the school gate in less than 5 minutes. Honey, how can you be so sure?" Li Menjiao chuckled. "Of course, I'm a brother and I can guess what my sister is thinking best," Lin Xuan said confidently. Sure enough, in less than 5 minutes, a petite figure appeared on the campus of Yunhai No. 1 Middle School. The figure was wearing a neat school uniform and carrying a small school bag, and was running towards the school gate in a hurry. It was Lin Sissy. Her steps were brisk and powerful, as if something wonderful was waiting for her. At this time, the gatekeeper smiled kindly when he saw Lin Sissy. He said softly, "Sissy, you are the first one again." Lin Sissy stopped and greeted the gatekeeper with a smile. "Uncle, happy holidays." After that, she ran out of the school gate without looking back. The gatekeeper looked at Lin Sissy's departing back and said with a smile, "Sissy, happy holidays. Be careful on the road." As Lin Sissy ran, she shouted excitedly, "I know, sir." Her voice is clear, pleasant, and full of energy. The study life in the 3rd year of high school is intense and busy. Every student is overwhelmed by the mountain of homework and exams, and their faces are always filled with fatigue and worry. Only this girl is always smiling, very likable, and everyone in the duty room likes her. Lin Sissy came outside the school and looked around, but didn't see her brother's car. Didn't he say he was coming to pick me up? Just as she continued to look around, a black Toyota Alpha Nanny car slowly came into her sight. Lin Sissy saw that the black van in front of her blocked her view, so she walked forward a few steps, wanting to see if there was her brother's car behind it. However, the black van seemed to be deliberately against her and moved forward a few steps, blocking her view. "Why are you blocking my view with this broken van?" Lin Sissy said angrily. At this time, the window of Toyota Alpha slowly rolled down, revealing Lin Xuan's handsome face. "Brother," Lin Sissy exclaimed in surprise. Lin Xuan looked at his sister's surprised expression, and the corners of his mouth rose slightly. "You don't want to get in the car, right? Then I'll go." As he said this, he pretended to start the car and leave. "Hehe, I didn't know that this van was driven by my brother. I'll get in now," Lin Sissy quickly explained with a smile. She quickly opened the door and got in. Li Menjiao, who was sitting in the passenger seat, couldn't help laughing out loud. Her husband really always teased his sister. "Sister-in-law, long time no see," Lin Sissy greeted with a smile. "Sissy, how many days of vacation does the school have?" Li Menjiao asked gently. "I let it go for 3 days." Lin Sissy excitedly stretched out 3 cute fingers. "Ah, sister, you are in your 3rd year of high school and you still have so many days off," Lin Xuan asked in surprise. "Brother, you may not know this. As your sister, I have good grades and the college entrance examination is approaching, so I can apply to review at home." Lin Sissy put her hands on her hips proudly. "First place again?" Lin Xuan asked curiously. "Tusk, I've been first for 3 times in a row," Lin Sissy said disdainfully. "Has the little fool come to his senses?" Lin Xuan joked. "You are the stupid one, stinky brother. Wait until after the college entrance examination to buy me a new car," Lin Sissy said angrily. Okay, I'll cook a big meal for you tonight," Lin Xuan agreed with a smile. "Great," Lin Sissy cheered. Then Lin Xuan started the car and drove towards Yunhai Plaza, the largest commercial plaza in Yunhai City. After arriving at Yunhai Square, Lin Xuan found a suitable place to park the car. After getting off the bus, the 3 of them walked towards the largest supermarket in Yunhai Plaza. As soon as he entered the supermarket, Lin Xuan pushed a shopping cart and began to choose ingredients to cook tonight. He carefully selects each ingredient to ensure they are fresh. When he had almost finished his selection, he looked back and found that Li Menjiao and Lin Sissy were nowhere to be seen. It goes without saying that these 2 people must have gone to the snack area again. So Lin Xuan pushed the shopping cart to the snack area, and sure enough, he saw Lin Sissy and Li Menjiao standing there, holding a large bag of snacks in their hands. "That's enough. Don't eat too many snacks." Lin Xuan leaned his arm on the shopping cart and said to them with a smile. I know, that's all," Lin Sissy replied. After saying that, she put all the snacks in her hand into the shopping cart. In an instant, the shopping cart was filled to the brim, with almost no extra space. Just then, Lin Sissy inadvertently saw a seafood area not far away. Her eyes lit up, and she pointed in that direction excitedly and said to Lin Xuan with anticipation, "Brother, I want to eat seafood tonight." Lin Xuan looked in the direction of her finger. A gentle smile appeared on his face. He nodded gently and said, "Okay, then let's go over and take a look." After saying that, he took Li Menjiao and Lin Sissy and walked towards the seafood area. After arriving at the seafood area, Lin Sissy was as excited as a child, pointing at a huge Boston lobster and a plump king crab, and shouted, "Brother, I want to eat this and this." Lin Xuan couldn't help but laugh at his sister's cute appearance and readily agreed. "Okay, then buy them all." Finally, Lin Xuan selected a 10-pound Boston lobster and an 8-pound king crab and told the store manager his home address, asking them to deliver the seafood to his home later. Then, after paying the bill, the three of them left the supermarket and were about to go home when they suddenly passed by a beautifully decorated Hanfu store. Lin Xuan stopped, and his eyes fell on the exquisite Hanfu displayed in the store. The beautiful figure of his wife wearing Hanfu emerged in his mind. He turned his head, looked at Li Menjiao with a smile, and asked softly, "Wife, do you want to try wearing Hanfu?" Chapter 254, I didn't expect my wife could dance. Li Menjiao was slightly stunned. Then a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes, and she said gently to Lin Sissy beside her, "Sissy, how about we go and take a look together?" Lin Sissy immediately clapped her hands and cheered. "Great." So the three of them walked into the Hanfu store together. As soon as they entered the store manager came up to them warmly. She was a woman who looked to be in her 30s. She greeted them with a big smile. "Welcome, all three of you. Are you here to buy Hanfu? Let's see if there are any suitable Hanfu," Li Menjiao said with a smile. "Okay, our store mainly sells Ming Dynasty Hanfu." The store manager answered enthusiastically and led them to the women's Hanfu area. "I think these styles are very suitable for the two beautiful ladies," the store manager said, taking out several Ming Dynasty Hanfu costumes to show them. Then Li Menjiao and Lin Sissy picked out their favorite styles and walked to the fitting room to try them on. "Handsome guy, do you also need to buy Hanfu?" The store manager turned around and asked Lin Xuan with a smile. "Excuse me, do you have Hanfu for men?" Lin Xuan asked. "Of course. This is the women's Hanfu area, and the other side is the men's Hanfu area." After saying that, the store manager led Lin Xuan to the men's Hanfu area. Lin Xuan carefully observed each style of Hanfu, finally chose a style he liked, and walked into the fitting room. After a while, Lin Sissy was the first to come out of the fitting room. She was wearing a light blue cross-collared gown with delicate orchid prints faintly visible on the body. The lower body is matched with a light purple gold woven horse-faced skirt, and the gold woven pattern is made up of butterflies and flowers interwoven. With the skillful hands of the shop assistant, her hair was braided into two symmetrical double buns and decorated with pink ribbons. She walked lightly to the mirror and smiled at herself in the mirror. Her sweet and lovely appearance was heartwarming. She went to the mirror, looked at herself, and then smiled cutely. "Sister, you are so cute," the store manager praised. "Thank you," Lin Sissy responded softly, her face filled with joy. At this moment, Li Menjiao also walked out of the fitting room. She was wearing a moon-white cross-collared short jacket with loose sleeves. A simple bamboo leaf pattern was embroidered on the cuffs, which made her look fresh and elegant. The lower body is matched with a light blue gold woven horse-faced skirt, and the golden silk thread outlines an elegant cloud pattern. She combed her hair into a low bun and secured it with a white jade hairpin, with a few strands of hair hanging on both sides to add a touch of softness. "Sister-in-law, you are so beautiful," Lin Sissy exclaimed. "Sissy, you are very cute too," Li Menjiao responded with a smile, her eyes full of tenderness. Afterwards, Li Menjiao took Lin Sissy's arm and stood in front of the mirror to take beautiful photos. The two of them posed in various cute poses in front of the mirror, with happy smiles on their faces. Where's my husband?" Li Menjiao suddenly realized that Lin Xuan was not around. "Oh, that handsome guy also picked out a Hanfu and went in to try it on," the store manager explained with a smile. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Xuan walked out of the fitting room. He was wearing a gorgeous Hanfu, a white jacquard pattern stand-up collar and double-breasted long gown, which was simple and elegant. The bottom is a black gilded horse, face skirt with a dragon pattern on it. He was domineering. He also had a black leather belt tied around his waist, inlaid with exquisite jade as decoration. He looked handsome and elegant with extraordinary temperament. "The whole person looks very handsome. Wife, how about this dress?" Lin Xuan walked up to Li Menjiao and said with a smile. "Very handsome, like a prince." Li Menjiao happily took Lin Xuan's arm, her eyes full of love. She felt that Lin Xuan was particularly charming at this moment, as if he was a nobleman who had traveled through time from ancient times. My wife is also very beautiful, like a little princess. Lin Xuan responded with a smile. He looked at the white hanfu that Li Menjiao was wearing, with her skirt fluttering in the wind, making her look as beautiful as a fairy descending to earth. Brother, what about me? Lin Sissy suddenly jumped into Lin Xuan's sight and asked with a mischievous smile. You look like a little maid. Lin Xuan teased deliberately. Ah, you stinky old man, Lin Sissy pouted. Okay, it's almost time to change it, Lin Xuan said to Lin Sissy. I finally got my hair done, Lin Sissy said reluctantly. Actually, you don't need to change. These clothes were just received this morning and no one else has tried them on yet. If you are willing to buy them and wear them away directly, I can give you a discount, the store manager said to them with a smile. This can be considered as a disguised form of promotion for our store. After all, you look really good in them. Hearing this, Li Menjiao smiled happily. That's great, thank you. Then she paid the bill readily. Afterwards, 3 people wearing hanfu walked out of Yunhai Square carrying large and small shopping bags, attracting the attention of many passers-by along the way. The girls cast envious glances, praising the beauty of Li Menjiao and Lin Sissy, while the boys looked at Lin Xuan with envy and jealousy. Soon, the 3 of them returned to Yunhai House together. When Lin Xuan opened the door, he saw Zhang Xuelen and Lin Zhengguo looking at them with surprise. Have you traveled through time to the Ming Dynasty? In the evening, Lin Xuan prepared a sumptuous dinner to celebrate Li Menjiao's admission to the teaching profession with the first place in the total score, and also to reward her sister, who had just returned home for the holiday. The dining table was filled with delicious food, exuding an enticing aroma. There are delicious crab roe and tofu pot, nourishing morel-stewed local chicken, crispy and delicious squirrel mandarin fish, rich cheese-baked Boston lobster, plump steamed king crab and crispy roast lamb leg with tender skin. The whole family sat together, laughing and talking, enjoying this sumptuous dinner together. After dinner, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao walked hand in hand on the beach in front of Yunhai House. The night is as dark as ink, and the moonlight is like water, sprinkling on the sparkling sea, creating dots of silver light. Li Menjiao was jumping around like a happy little deer, and Lin Xuan could clearly feel that she was particularly happy today. Suddenly, she quickened her pace, walked in front of Lin Xuan, turned around, put her hands behind her back, and showed a peaceful smile on her face. Hubby, I have something to show you. What is it? Lin Xuan asked with a smile. Take this. Li Menjiao handed the phone to Lin Xuan and said gently. Lin Xuan took the phone and looked at her curiously. Suddenly, Li Menjiao's mobile phone started playing beautiful music. Following the rhythm of the music, Li Menjiao, dressed in a light blue-gold woven horse-faced skirt, danced like an elf in the dark night. Lin Xuan looked at Li Menjiao in surprise. He didn't expect that his wife could dance. The sea breeze gently kissed the hem of her skirt, and the embroidery on her skirt was faintly visible in the moonlight. Her figure was light and graceful, and every turn was carried out with an elegant rhythm, like a lotus blooming in the night. The waves hitting the beach provided a natural melody for her dance. Her smile is as warm as the spring breeze, and her eyes are clear and determined. On this night by the sea, she used dance as her pen and the sea as ink to paint a beautiful picture. Chapter 255. Are you going on a long journey again? As the music gradually faded away, Li Menjiao's dance also slowly stopped. She was breathing lightly, but her face was still full of a happy smile. At this moment, Lin Xuan was completely conquered by Li Menjiao's dance, and he stood there in a daze, motionless. Honey, do I dance well? Li Menjiao asked softly with a smile on her face. It looks good. Lin Xuan finally came to his senses, walked forward quickly, and hugged Li Menjiao tightly. My wife can actually dance. Why didn't she tell me before? He fell asleep holding Li Menjiao in his arms every night, and could clearly feel that his wife's body was very flexible. It's because I was pregnant before, so I haven't found a suitable opportunity, Li Menjiao explained with a smile. I learned this in college, and my husband never asked me about it before. Li Menjiao playfully stretched out a small finger and gently placed it on Lin Xuan's lips, her eyes full of smiles. You have to kiss me for hiding something from your husband Tilda. After saying that, Lin Xuan leaned over and gently kissed Li Menjiao on the cheek. Li Menjiao narrowed her beautiful eyes and enjoyed Lin Xuan's gentle kiss. However, when she came to her senses, she realized something was wrong. Why are you punishing me when I'm dancing for my husband? Li Menjiao's eyebrows and eyes are as lustrous as autumn water, and the corners of her eyes droop slightly, adding to her sense of purity and innocence. What? How can you regard your husband's kiss as a punishment? No, I have to kiss you again. Lin Xuan looked at Li Menjiao's cute expression, lowered his head again, aimed at Li Menjiao's tender lips, and prepared to continue kissing. No tilde Li Menjiao tilted her head, letting Lin Xuan's kiss fall on her cheek. Then she suddenly broke free from Lin Xuan's arms, turned around and ran towards the beach. Her skirt fluttered like a beautiful butterfly. When Lin Xuan discovered that the beauty had run away, he naturally chased after her. The two of them, one in front and one behind, ran along the beach. On the beach at night, the moonlight casts a silver glow, and the waves hit the shore making crisp sounds. Their laughter and shouts intertwined together, breaking the tranquility of the night and making the entire beach lively. The next day arrived in the blink of an eye. It was a sunny day with a gentle breeze. It was a wonderful time for the May Day holiday. Because there were a lot of leftovers from yesterday's sumptuous dinner, the family adhered to the principle of cherishing food and not wasting it. The original plan was to leave for my hometown after breakfast in the morning, but it was postponed to the afternoon. In the afternoon, after Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao woke up, they began to pack their luggage. At this moment, Dabo and Xiaobo are still lying quietly in the crib, immersed in sweet dreams. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao picked them up carefully, fearing to wake the children. When the children were gently picked up, they opened their eyes dazedly and looked at their parents curiously, as if asking, "Are we going on a long journey again?" Lin Xuan smiled and said to the children, "Babies, today we are going to take you to visit your great-grandfather and great-grandmother." Afterwards, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao skillfully placed Dabo and Xiaobo into the baby safety baskets and went downstairs to the living room together. At this time, Lin Zhengguo and Zhang Xulan were already prepared. Lin Xuan and Lin Zhengguo came to the garage, drove their Toyota Alpha and BMW 8 Series out of the garage respectively, and stopped at the door of their house. So Lin Xuan, Li Menjiao, Lin Sissy and the babies were in one car, and Lin Zhengguo and Zhang Xulan were in another car. The two cars drove together towards Yunshan Town, their hometown. In the blink of an eye, an hour and a half passed. The Toyota Alpha and the BMW 8 Series were parked steadily in front of the villa in my hometown of Yunshan Town. At this time, the grandparents knew that their great-grandchildren were coming and had been waiting at the door for a long time. Their faces were filled with happy smiles, and their eyes were full of anticipation. "Dad, Mom, we're back." Zhang Xulan got out of the car first and walked quickly towards them. "I'm glad you're back," Grandpa said with a smile, his eyes full of joy. "Grandpa and Grandma, I'm back too." Lin Sissy also got out of the car and skipped over to her grandparents. "Sissy, you are getting more and more beautiful," Grandma couldn't help but praise. "Grandpa and Grandma, look, have I grown a little taller?" Lin Sissy proudly showed off her height. "Haha, yes, Sissy is still as cute as ever," Grandma laughed. "Sissy, aren't you going to take the college entrance examination this year? Why did you come back?" Grandpa asked with concern. "Studying should also be combined with work and rest. I came back to see you," Lin Sissy replied coquettishly. At this moment, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao got out of the car, holding Dabo and Xiaobo respectively. "Grandpa and Grandma," Lin Xuan shouted happily. "Oh, they're all back. Let Grandma see the babies," Grandma said with a smile on her face. "Grandma, this is Dabo. Her name is Lin Shikin." Li Menjiao gently put Dabo into Grandma's arms. "Shikin, I am your great-grandmother." Grandma looked at Dabo with loving eyes and said softly, "Ah." When Dabo saw his great-grandmother, curiosity flashed in his eyes, and he waved his little limbs excitedly. "Grandpa, this is Xiaobo. His name is Lin Shuyi." Lin Xuan carefully put Xiaobo into his grandfather's arms. Grandpa carefully took Xiaobo in his hand, looked at his innocent eyes. His heart was filled with warmth and love, and a kind smile unconsciously appeared on his face. However, Xiaobo felt a little uncomfortable facing the unfamiliar environment and people. He immediately began to frown and then burst into tears. "Shuyi, don't cry, your great-grandfather is here," Grandpa coaxed hurriedly. But it didn't work at all. Xiaobo was still flapping his little body and twisting it towards his mother, Li Menjiao. Li Menjiao hurriedly took Xiaobo from his grandfather's hands and gently shook him a few times. Xiaobo stopped crying instantly and just looked at her with a wronged look on his face. When Shuyi was a child, he was just like Lin Xuan, ha, and he loved to cry. Grandpa laughed. "Don't stand here, come inside," said Grandma. Then the family walked into the villa. Chapter 256, Wife, who do you say is a fool? When they arrived at the hall of the villa, Grandma handed Dabo back to Lin Xuan and then took Xiaobo from Li Menjiao's arms. "Come, let me see my lovely great-grandson Tilda." Grandma's face was full of smiles. She was so happy that she couldn't stop smiling. Xiaobo lay in the warm embrace of his great-grandmother and didn't cry. His big eyes stared at his grandmother, and he put his little hands to his mouth from time to time. He looked so adorable. "Look, old man, I won't cry when I hold Shuyi," Grandma proudly showed off to Grandpa. Grandpa would definitely not be convinced after hearing what the old woman said. "Xuan'er, quickly hand Dabao over to me and let me hold him," Grandpa said unwillingly. Then Lin Xuan carefully handed Dabao to his grandfather. Grandpa looked at Dabao in his arms and said gently, "Chicken, don't be afraid. I'm your great-grandfather." However, although Grandpa tried his best to show the most friendly smile, there was a weird feeling that his smile was not real. Dabao looked up at his grandfather's face. His little brows slightly frowned, and his little face glanced away. Seeing this, Grandma couldn't help but glared at Grandpa. "Old man, do you want to scare Chicken to tears too?" After saying that, she quickly took Dabao into her arms. At this time, Grandma was holding Dabao in her left hand and Zaya Abo in her right hand. Her face was filled with a happy smile. She looked so happy. The grandfather on the side looked as aggrieved as a child, his eyes full of envy, staring at the grandmother and the two children. When Grandma noticed Grandpa's gaze, she glared at him and said, "What are you looking at? Go make some tea." Grandpa could only sigh helplessly and got up to make tea. As night fell, Lin Xuan carefully prepared a sumptuous dinner. The family sat around the dining table, enjoying delicious food, and laughter echoed in the house. After dinner, Dabao and Zaya Abo were left to be taken care of by Grandma and the others. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao took advantage of the moonlight and went out for a walk together. On a night in May, the moonlight was like water, gently falling on the small town of Yunshan, covering the entire town with a layer of silver gauze. On this quiet night, they held hands and walked slowly on the cobblestone road of the town. The moonlight shone on them, reflecting two figures leaning on each other like a beautiful painting. They walked across the ancient stone bridge. The river under the bridge gurgled, making a clear sound, as if telling an eternal love story. The weeping willows by the river danced in the wind, as if cheering for their love. The wild flowers on the roadside swayed gently, emitting bursts of fragrance, as if dancing for their love. The warm lights from the street shops illuminated their happy faces. The breeze blew gently across the streets and alleys, bringing the fragrance of new wheat from the fields and ruffling Li Menjiao's hair. Lin Xuan looked at the beautiful scenery in front of him, gently tucked Li Menjiao's hair behind her ears, his eyes full of tenderness and affection. "Wife, when did you learn to dance?" Lin Xuan asked curiously as he walked. "During my freshman year," Li Menjiao replied with a smile. "So early?" Lin Xuan asked in surprise. "Well, at that time, Yu Xin dragged me to join the dance club to make up the number of people, but she gave up halfway through learning, but I persisted." Li Menjiao recalled the scene at that time, squinting her eyes and saying with a smile. Lin Xuan looked at her beautiful smile and couldn't help but sigh. "My wife is so amazing." When Li Menjiao heard his compliment, a smug look appeared on her face, and the corners of her mouth slightly raised, like a beautiful crescent moon. She said softly, "Of course, but there is another important reason." Lin Xuan asked curiously, "What's the reason?" Li Menjiao smiled mysteriously and snorted. "That's right, I want some idiot to see me at the school's New Year's Eve party." Lin Xuan's heart moved and he couldn't help asking, "Wife, who do you say is the fool?" Li Menjiao blinked mischievously and said with a smile, "I didn't say it was you. Why did you take a seat?" Lin Xuan looked at her. "If it's not me, then who else could it be? Tell me, wife." Li Menjiao raised her beautiful eyebrows, looked up proudly, and deliberately kept it a secret. "I won't tell." "You don't want to say it, right?" Lin Xuan directly picked up Li Menjiao by the waist. "Stinky husband, put me down quickly, I'm still outside." Li Menjiao put one arm around Lin Xuan's neck and gently hit his chest with the other hand, her blushing face puffed up with anger. "Wife, tell me quickly," Lin Xuan said with a wicked smile. It's you, you stinky husband." Li Menjiao glared at him in reproach. After hearing this, Lin Xuan smiled heartily and continued to walk forward holding Li Menjiao. "I told you it's you, why don't you let me down?" Li Menjiao pouted with her rosy little mouth. "Did I say I would let you down?" Lin Xuan laughed and teased her on purpose. "You're a scoundrel, my stinking husband." Li Menjiao then realized that she had been tricked by her husband. She became annoyed and began to shake her long legs hard, trying to break free from Lin Xuan's arms. "Ha, stop making trouble. There's no one else around here anyway," Lin Xuan said proudly. "Honey, what do you want to do to let me go?" Li Menjiao looked at him with her watery eyes, her voice soft and coquettish. "Wife, think carefully about what I love most." Lin Xuan's mouth corners slightly raised. "What do you love most?" Li Menjiao blinked her big eyes, trying hard to recall Lin Xuan's daily preferences and habits. "It's just a kiss." Thinking of this, Li Menjiao couldn't help but give Lin Xuan a blank look. But she still raised her head, kissed Lin Xuan hard on the cheek, and then said coquettishly, Is this okay now? After enjoying his wife's kiss, Lin Xuan gently put her back to the ground. After Menjiao stood firm, she pretended to be angry and said to Lin Xuan, "You go ahead." Lin Xuan asked in confusion, "Why do you want me to go in front?" Li Menjiao curled her lips and replied in a serious tone, "Go if I tell you to, or I'll go back." Seeing that his wife seemed really unhappy, Lin Xuan didn't dare to ask any more questions and walked to the front obediently. Li Menjiao looked at Lin Xuan's pitiful appearance and couldn't help but burst out laughing. She quietly took a few steps back, then took a deep breath and prepared to sprint. Then she took small steps and rushed towards Lin Xuan quickly. Lin Xuan heard hurried footsteps behind him and subconsciously looked back. I saw Li Menjiao running towards me. "Hubby, carry me, Tilda." He quickly squatted down and stretched out his hands to welcome Li Menjiao. When Li Menjiao threw herself into Lin Xuan's arms, he hugged her tightly, feeling her softness and warmth. "HMPH, as a punishment, you will have to carry me on your back until we get home." Li Menjiao's brilliant smile made people's hearts tremble. "Wife, when will you perform at the school's New Year's Eve party?" Lin Xuan asked as he walked forward with Li Menjiao on his back. "In my sophomore year," Li Menjiao said with a smile. At that time, Li Menjiao had been learning dance for a year, and finally confidently signed up for that year's New Year's Eve party. After coming back from dancing, I found out that Lin Xuan didn't even come to watch. Thinking of this, Li Menjiao angrily bit Lin Xuan's neck lightly. Chapter 257, Fireflies in the Sky. "Hiss, why did my wife suddenly bite me?" Lin Xuan turned around and looked at Li Menjiao with an innocent face. "What were you doing at the New Year's Eve party that year?" Li Menjiao pouted her little mouth, looking very cute. "I should have been playing games with my roommates in the dormitory at that time," Lin Xuan said in confusion. "HMPH, you're not going on a date with other girls, are you?" Li Menjiao said deliberately, with a hint of playfulness in her tone. "Absolutely not," Lin Xuan explained quickly. Li Menjiao was very satisfied to hear her husband's answer. The corners of her mouth rose slightly. She put her arms around his neck and pressed her body tightly against him. "Honey, you haven't carried me on your back for a long time. The last time was half a year ago," Li Menjiao said coquettishly, her voice soft and tender. Her warm breath fanned Lin Xuan's cheek, making him feel itchy. "Yes, it was at the beach at that time." Lin Xuan recalled the scene at that time, and a gentle smile appeared on his face. "Honey, where are you taking me now?" Li Menjiao looked around curiously and found that it was dark all around. "Sell you out," Lin Xuan said jokingly. "Oh my God, I didn't expect you to be this kind of person. Husband, I misjudged you." Li Menjiao pretended to be surprised, but her eyes were full of smiles. "Or we can do something outside." Lin Xuan raised the corners of his mouth and then let out a hearty laugh. "Hubby, I'm warning you not to mess around." Li Menjiao's face turned red instantly, and she said in a panic, "What, are you scared?" Lin Xuan teased. I'm scared. Put me down quickly, I want to go back." Li Menjiao began to struggle a little, trying to get off Lin Xuan's back. "Ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. Your husband will take you to see a nice place," Lin Xuan said with a smile. Afterwards, Lin Xuan carried Li Menjiao on his back and continued walking forward for a while, and they came to a quiet pond. The pond is like an inky gem, inlaid on the earth, quiet and profound. The bright moonlight sprinkled on it, as if covering it with a layer of silver gauze, and the sparkling water revealed a dreamy beauty. The surrounding trees quietly guard this tranquil water area, their shadows reflected in the water, swaying gently with the breeze, as if dancing with the moon's shadow in the water. "This is the place where my sister Wonking and I discovered when we were little," Lin Xuan recalled with a smile. "There's nothing special about it," Li Menjiao said puzzledly. "It's just an ordinary small pond. She has it in her hometown too." However, Lin Xuan smiled mysteriously and turned to look at Li Menjiao on his back. "As long as you call me husband, a miracle will happen." Li Menjiao was slightly startled, but soon she showed a sweet smile and whispered, "Husband Tilda." Lin Xuan looked down at the black diamond high-tech watch in his hand and saw that the time was almost up. So he smiled and said to Li Menjiao, "Shout louder." Li Menjiao raised her voice without hesitation and shouted again, "Husband." Just then the time was exactly 9 o'clock in the evening, and suddenly a strong wind blew. Immediately afterwards, countless fireflies flew up from all directions, as if awakened by their love. These tiny dots of light dance and twinkle in the night sky, as dazzling as stars. "Wow, so beautiful." This dreamy light was reflected in Li Menjiao's eyes, a brilliance of surprise and emotion. Lin Xuan felt the warmth on his back. Surrounded by fireflies, their minds were connected, and love flowed in each other's hearts. This small pond has become their own romantic world, with fireflies witnessing their love forever. The next day came, and the sunlight poured into the room through the window, bringing a touch of warmth and brightness. This morning, Lin Yaowen and his family also returned from outside. Carrying carefully prepared gifts, they walked towards Lin Xuan's house happily. "Comrade Zhengguo," Lin Yaowen shouted excitedly as he arrived at Lin Xuan's door. "Comrade Yaowen." Hearing the voice, Lin Zhengguo immediately went out to greet him, his face filled with joy. "You're already a grandfather," Lin Yaowen said with emotion. "That's right, and he's the grandfather of 2 children," Lin Zhengguo answered proudly. "You are so lucky, you are really blessed," Lin Yaowen teased with a smile. "Ha ha ha, come in and have some tea. Stay here for lunch today," Lin Zhengguo invited enthusiastically. He was particularly happy to see his good brother coming back. Everyone walked into the living room, sat on the sofa, and chatted while drinking tea. Lin Wangqing sat upright, her posture elegant and straight, her eyes moving around. "Hey, why don't I see brother Lin Xuan?" I was a little confused. So she picked up her phone and sent a message to Lin Xuan. "Brother, have you returned to your hometown?" Lin Wangqing asked. Soon Lin Xuan replied. I replied, "I'm in your living room, let me see the babies." Lin Wangqing couldn't wait to see the children. Lin Xuan replied, "The babies just woke up and will be here soon." After a while, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao came down holding Dabo and Zaya Abo respectively. Uncle Lin, Aunt Zia, Sister Qing. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao greeted everyone. "Lin Xuan, you are such a lucky kid, you are twins all of a sudden," Lin Yaowen said with a smile. "Not only are they twins, they're also boy and girl twins," Lin Zhengguo added. "Really, that's so lucky, congratulations," Lin Yaowen's wife Li Yangxia said happily, and took out 2 red envelopes from her bag and handed them to Dabo and Zaya Abo. "This is a red envelope for the 2 little guys." "Thank you, Aunt Zia," Li Menjiao said. "They are so cute." Li Yangxia looked at Dabo and Zaya Abo with love in her eyes. At this time, Lin Wangqing also took out 2 red envelopes and handed them over. "There is also one for me, sister." She took the opportunity to gently touch Dabo's face, and Dabo immediately showed an innocent smile. "Wow, so cute, Tilda," Lin Wangqing couldn't help but exclaimed in admiration. "By the way, Comrade Yao Wen, we plan to hold Lin Xuan's wedding on the 20th of this month." As Lin Zhengguo spoke, he took out 3 exquisite invitations and handed them to Lin Yaowen. "Are you guys free to come?" "Of course you must come. How can I not come?" Lin Yaowen said as he opened the invitation. Lin Wangqing also received an invitation at this time. When she opened it, she was instantly amazed. The invitation was printed with exquisite patterns, which were gorgeous yet elegant. She couldn't help but exclaimed, "Sister, your wedding dress is so beautiful, and this Ziyu dress is simply too beautiful." "Thank you for the compliment, sister. I also like this wedding dress and Ziyu suit." Li Menjiao smiled happily. Lin Xuan on the side said, "Sister Qing, why don't you praise me?" Lin Wangqing smiled and teased, "You are just average." Lin Xuan smiled and said, "Really? Then I won't make Sister Qing's favorite mutton stew for lunch today." When Lin Wangqing heard this, she quickly changed her tone. "Ha ha ha, I was just kidding you. You look very handsome in the photo too." "That's better, wife. I'm going to cook," Lin Xuan said to Li Menjiao with a smile. Li Menjiao responded gently, "Yeah." Then Lin Xuan walked into the kitchen and started to get busy. After a while, he brought out dishes that were delicious and tasty. There are scallion fried sea cucumber, braised abalone, steamed grouper, chicken shreds and mushroom soup, grilled steak, braised lamb casserole, etc. The staple food is crab meat dumplings and lamb and Spanish mackerel dumplings. Everyone sat around the dining table, enjoying the delicious food and laughing. Chapter 258, I Will Love You Forever. After lunch, Lin Yaowen and his family went back home. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao also brought Dabo and Zaya Abo back to the room. "Honey, the babies received so many red envelopes." Li Menjiao took a pile of red envelopes and counted them. There were tens of thousands of yuan in them. "Save them all," Lin Xuan said. At this time, Dabo seemed to have heard it and tried to raise his head to look at his red envelope. Lin Xuan laughed out loud when he saw Dabo's reaction. "Baby, Mom and Dad don't want your red envelopes." Lin Xuan reached out and picked up Dabo, saying gently. He looked at Dabo's cute little feet and couldn't help but reach out to scratch them. "Ha ha ha," Dabo laughed and looked at Lin Xuan happily. "Honey, why are you tickling her feet?" Li Menjiao said. "Scratch it gently. Our Dabo is really adorable." Lin Xuan hugged Dabo and kissed her little face. Li Menjiao looked back at Zaya Abo. At this time, Zaya Abo was lying on the bed, looking at Lin Xuan with sidelong eyes. It seems to be saying, "Dad is partial." Li Menjiao was amused by Zaya Abo's expression and said to Lin Xuan, "Look at Zaya Abo, he looks like he's jealous." "What's that expression, Zaya Abo?" Lin Xuan looked back and saw Xiaobo frowning, with his little mouth slightly pouting, looking dissatisfied. This cute look made Lin Xuan couldn't help but laugh out loud. Ha ha, the little guy can also make faces. Lin Xuan gently put Dabo down, then stretched out his hand to lift Xiaobo up high, and asked with a smile, "What's wrong, Xiaobo? Why are you looking at Daddy with such disgust?" Xiaobo seemed to understand Lin Xuan's words. He waved his little hands and made babbling sounds. Lin Xuan looked at Xiaobo's cute appearance, and his heart was filled with happiness and satisfaction. Xiaobo stretched out his hands and rubbed Lin Xuan's face hard. "Oh, you dare to pinch Daddy. You need to be punished." So Lin Xuan put Xiaobo down and began to gently tickle his little feet. Bao was tickled and started giggling. His laughter was clear and pleasant. "Ha ha ha, Xiaobo is so funny." Lin Xuan couldn't stop laughing. At this time, Li Menjiao on the side couldn't stand it anymore. She said to Lin Xuan in a scolding tone, "Okay, husband, stop playing and let the babies sleep." Lin Xuan nodded and stopped playing with Xiaobo. He put Xiaobo back in the crib and said softly, "Okay, stop playing. Dabo and Xiaobo go to sleep." Li Menjiao lay beside Lin Xuan and hugged him tightly. The two lay quietly in bed, feeling each other's warmth and love. Gradually, they also fell into a sweet dream. After waking up in the afternoon, Lin Xuan was called by Lin Zhengguo to go fishing again. Li Menjiao stayed at home to take care of Dabo and Xiaobo. As night fell, Lin Xuan and Lin Zhengguo returned home with a full catch, with fish of all sizes jumping around. Lin Xuan began to prepare the fish feast with great interest, showing off his superb cooking skills. At night, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao went to the rooftop of the villa and admired the bright moonlight together. Li Menjiao gently snuggled in Lin Xuan's arms and asked softly, "Husband, what do you think we will look like when we are old?" Lin Xuan smiled and responded, "Why are you thinking about something so far away?" Li Menjiao said thoughtfully, "When we are old, the children will have grown up. I really hope to witness their growth with my own eyes." Lin Xuan nodded in agreement and said with emotion, "Yes, they are just little babies now. As time goes by, their feelings for each other grow deeper, and their conversations now feel like those of an old married couple." Suddenly, Li Menjiao seemed to remember something and said, "Oh, I remember there is an app on TikTok that can simulate what people look like when they are old." As she spoke, she couldn't wait to take out her cell phone and start looking for it. Not long after, she found the software and excitedly showed it to Lin Xuan. Li Menjiao raised her mobile phone, leaned her head on Lin Xuan's shoulder, and entered the facial information. Soon, their appearance when they were old appeared on the mobile phone screen. Seeing this scene, Li Menjiao couldn't help laughing out loud. "Ha ha, husband, your face is full of wrinkles." Lin Xuan smiled and responded, "Wife, don't you have a lot of wrinkles on your face as well?" The two smiled at each other, their hearts filled with happiness. Lin Xuan hugged Li Menjiao tightly and said gently, "Wife, thank you for giving birth to these lovely babies for me." He held her in his arms, their cheeks pressed gently together. Li Menjiao winked playfully and asked deliberately, "What if I don't want to?" Lin Xuan smiled and replied, "If you don't want to, then your husband will respect your idea." Hearing these words, Li Menjiao felt extremely warm in her heart. She knew that Lin Xuan had always cared about her and respected her opinions. "Actually, I had no objection. Even if I hadn't met my husband later, I would have chosen to give birth to our baby." Li Menjiao hugged Lin Xuan tightly, love flashing in her eyes, a bright smile on her face, and her big watery eyes looked at him affectionately. Lin Xuan asked curiously, "If I wasn't in the hospital that day, would you still come to see me?" "Maybe, maybe not." Li Menjiao pretended to be mysterious, but gave Lin Xuan a perfunctory answer after a long time. Lin Xuan frowned and asked in confusion, "Why don't you come to me directly?" Li Menjiao lowered her head and said softly, "If you already have a girlfriend or someone you like by then, I certainly won't disturb your life." Lin Xuan's heart tightened and then asked, "Are you planning to give birth to this child alone?" Li Menjiao nodded and replied, "Yeah." Lin Xuan couldn't help but sigh that his wife was so strong. Even in the face of all kinds of rumors and pressure, she resolutely chose to give birth to their child. He couldn't help but hugged Li Menjiao tightly in his arms and said softly, "Wife, I will love you forever." Li Menjiao's cheeks instantly flushed with shyness, and her heartbeat involuntarily quickened. She was a little embarrassed and said, "Why did you suddenly say such cheesy words?" Lin Xuan gently held Li Menjiao's face, his eyes full of affection and love, and asked, "Doesn't my wife love me?" Li Menjiao nodded shyly and responded in a low voice, "I will love you forever too." After hearing this, Lin Xuan showed a happy smile on his face. Then he raised his head slightly and gently kissed Li Menjiao's beautiful lips. Chapter 259. Did my parents run away with my sister? The next morning, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao woke up from their sleep. Lin Xuan stretched, then opened the curtains. The sunlight poured into the room through the window, making people feel warm. He looked out the window. It was sunny outside the town, the sky was as blue as a gem, and it was clear. It was a good day. Li Menjiao got off the bed, walked to the crib, and looked down at the condition of Dabo and Xiaobo. She gently stroked their little faces and whispered, "Good morning, babies." Later, Lin Xuan also came over, and the two of them skillfully changed diapers and fed the babies. After feeding, the baby burped, closed his eyes contentedly, and fell asleep directly. But Dabo was different. He did not fall asleep after drinking milk. Instead, he opened his big watery eyes and stared straight out the window. His limbs kept dancing, and he made babbling sounds from his mouth. "Husband, look at our Dabo. He seems to want to go out very much." Li Menjiao looked at Dabo and smiled slightly. "Really?" Lin Xuan followed Dabao's gaze and looked out the window. "The weather outside is so nice now. Why don't we take Dabo out for a walk after breakfast?" he suggested. "What about Xiaobo?" Li Menjiao asked worriedly. "Xiaobo is still sleeping. Let him continue sleeping. Our mother will watch him," Lin Xuan said. So Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao carried Dabo downstairs. After having breakfast, they gently put Dabo into the stroller and pushed him out of the villa. In the small town of Yunchen in May, the sun shines through the thin clouds, and the warm but not scorching light illuminates the quaint streets and the scattered houses. The white clouds float leisurely like cotton candy, and the breeze blows gently, bringing the fresh fragrance of flowers and plants, brushing people's hair, bringing infinite comfort and ease. Lin Xuan pushed the stroller towards the busy street. Li Menjiao was holding his arm. They strolled along the streets of the town, feeling the fresh air and warm sunshine in the early morning. Dabo sat in the stroller, looking around, feeling curious about everything around him. When they passed a park, Lin Xuan stopped, pushed the stroller onto the lawn, and let Dabo get close to nature. Dabo waved his little hands excitedly, with a bright smile on his face. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao looked at her lovely appearance, and their hearts were filled with happiness. They played with Dabo in the park for a while, and enjoyed a wonderful parent-child time. Then Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao came to the shop that previously sold Yunchen pastries. At this time, Uncle Yi was still wearing a white chef's uniform, with some flour on his hands. He was holding a spoon and was busy making pastries. "Uncle Yi," Lin Xuan shouted. Hearing the voice, Uncle Yi raised his head, and when he saw Lin Xuan, a smile appeared on his face. "Zyro Xuan, you're back. Well, take the children back to my hometown to visit," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Oh, this, Zyro Xuan, you have given birth to a baby," Uncle Yi said in surprise. "Yes, he was born just a few months ago," Lin Xuan said. At this time, Dabo was lying quietly in the crib, looking at Uncle Yi curiously with his clear and bright big eyes. "Look at the little guy's eyes, so cute." Uncle Yi couldn't help but admire. "Xiaoxuan, wait a moment." Uncle Yi suddenly thought of something, quickly wiped his hands, and turned back into the store. Soon, he came out with a red envelope. "This is a red envelope for the little guy, take it." Uncle Yi handed the red envelope to Lin Xuan. "Uncle Yi, that's okay." Lin Xuan declined. He really didn't push Dabo out to get the red envelopes. If Xiaobo came too, he would have given him 2 red envelopes. At this time, Xiaobo, who was still at home, tried hard to turn over and change his sleeping position, completely unaware that he had lost an opportunity to get a red envelope. "It's just a small red envelope, a little gift from Uncle Yi." Uncle Yi smiled and stuffed the red envelope into Lin Xuan's hand. "Seeing such a cute little guy, and he's your child, Xiaoxuan, I have no choice but to give it to him," Uncle Yi said, looking at Dabo. "Thank you, Uncle Yi," Lin Xuan thanked. "Uncle Yi, we are planning to hold a wedding in Jinghai City next month, and we would like to invite you to attend." Li Menjiao took out an exquisite wedding invitation from her bag and handed it to Uncle Yi. "Wedding, okay, hahaha, I will definitely go," Uncle Yi said with a smile. "Uncle Yi, give me 5 servings of Yunchen pastries. I'm hungry," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Xiaoxuan, can you finish it?" Uncle Yi asked with a smile. He knew that Lin Xuan had received the red envelope and wanted to buy a few more to take care of his own business. "If you can't finish it, take it home and let everyone eat it together," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Okay, wait." Uncle Yi started to busy himself making Yunchen pastries. Halfway through, he suddenly thought of a question. "By the way, Xiaoxuan, how do you get to Jinghai City? Do you have a route map for me?" Uncle Yi asked while making pastries. He basically lived in a small town all his life, and would occasionally go to Yunhai City to visit his children. Naturally, He was very unfamiliar with the provincial capital, Jinghai City. Uncle Yi, we will send a special car to take you and other invited people in the town to the wedding venue. We will charter a car for round trip, Lin Xuan said with a smile. Won't that cost a lot of money? Uncle Yi said. It's okay. This will make it more convenient for the guests. They don't have to travel that much by taking public transportation, Lin Xuan said. Hearing this, Uncle Yi stopped what he was doing and said with emotion, Zaya Oxuan, you are such a thoughtful person. You are so thoughtful and even hired a car to pick us up. This is really considerate. Lin Xuan smiled and replied, Uncle Yi, this is all right. After all, everyone has come a long way to attend my wedding, and I can't let them suffer too much. And this can also ensure everyone's safety, killing two birds with one stone. Uncle Yi nodded and continued to work, muttering, Zaya Oxuan is a really good kid. Just for what you said, Uncle Yi will give you an extra portion of Yunshin cake, ha ha ha. After saying goodbye to Uncle Yi, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao continued to push Dabao forward. We met enthusiastic villagers along the way. Oh, is this Zaya Oxuan's child? So cute. I didn't expect our Zaya Oxuan also had a baby, ha ha ha. I watched you grow up, and now you have a child. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao responded to these enthusiastic villagers with smiles, feeling warm and kind in their hearts. As they walked, they felt the tranquility and beauty of the town. At this moment, Xiaobo at home finally opened his eyes in a daze. He blinked his big eyes and looked around, searching for his sister. Where is my sister? Is it on the other side? So Xiaobo tried hard to turn around and stared with his big eyes, but still couldn't see his sister. His brows furrowed and he began to think wildly. Did my parents run away with my sister? Did they not want me anymore? The more Xiaobo thought about it, the more aggrieved he felt. He pouted his lips and burst into tears. Lin Sissy, who was in the next room, soon heard Xiaobo's crying. She immediately put down the homework in her hands and hurried to the room. She gently pushed the door open and saw Xiaobo crying at a glance. Lin Sissy walked forward, gently picked up Xiaobo and coaxed him gently. Oh, Tilda, don't cry. Xiaobo, your aunt is here. Chapter 260. A man must learn to be independent. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao were still walking slowly on the road at this time, when suddenly, Lin Xuan's cell phone rang. He took out his cell phone and saw that it was a video call from his stupid sister. Sister, what's wrong? Lin Xuan asked. Brother, Xiaobo woke up and couldn't see you. He's crying now, and no matter how I comfort him, it doesn't work, Lin Sissy said. Ah, Xiaobo is crying? Li Menjiao asked anxiously. Yes, sister-in-law, where are you now? Look at Xiaobo. After saying that, Lin Sissy turned the camera on her phone to face Xiaobo, who was crying and looked very pitiful. We are on our way home. Li Menjiao was so distressed that she turned to Lin Xuan and said, Hubby, let's go back quickly. Okay, Lin Xuan nodded, and then the two of them quickened their pace and soon returned home. As soon as she entered the house, Li Menjiao saw Xiaobo crying and looking at the door. Oh, Tilda, mommy is back. Don't cry, don't cry. Li Menjiao ran over quickly and held Xiaobo in her arms. When Xiaobo saw his familiar father and mother, his emotions gradually calmed down and his crying gradually subsided until it disappeared. Xiaobo cried because he couldn't see you and his sister, so he mistakenly thought he was abandoned, Zhang Shulin explained. Mom knows I was wrong and will never let Xiaobo be alone at home again, okay? Li Menjiao gently stroked Xiaobo's cheek and said tenderly. Xiaobo felt his mother's love and a smile appeared on his face. His bright eyes stared at Li Menjiao. Okay, Xiaobo finally stopped crying. Son, go and prepare dinner, Zhang Shulin urged. Lin Xuan nodded, then turned and walked into the kitchen and continued to work. Time passed quickly and it was afternoon. Lin Xuan, who had no fishing mission today, lay on the bed with Li Menjiao. With nothing to do, Lin Xuan got up and carried Xiaobo to bed. As soon as Xiaobo saw his father's face, he immediately turned his head to look at his mother. Look, it's because you left Xiaobo alone at home that he is not close to you anymore. Li Menjiao couldn't help but laugh when she saw this scene. Why are you not close to your father anymore? Unconvinced, Lin Xuan gently turned Xiaobo's little head around and made him face him. Xiaobo gently kicked Lin Xuan with his short legs. It's all Dad's fault, Xiaobo, go and hit Dad. Li Menjiao fanned the flames. Lin Xuan smiled slightly and said to Xiaobo earnestly, A man must learn to be independent, otherwise how can you protect your sister and mother in the future? Li Menjiao smiled and said, Xiaobo is still a baby now and you're talking about independence. Isn't it too early? Lin Xuan lowered his head and gently kissed Xiaobo's cheek, then said softly, Xiaobo, Daddy still loves you very much. The whole family played happily with the babies on the bed. When they came out of the room, the sun was about to set. As the sun sets, The afterglow casts a shadow over the entire town, as if covering it with a layer of golden gauze, which is extremely beautiful. Li Menjiao stood at the door, looking at the charming scene outside, her heart filled with joy. Lin Xuan noticed her intoxicated eyes, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, and he asked softly, "Wife, how about we go to the rooftop together to watch the sunset over the town?" Okay, Tilda. Li Menjiao smiled, her face filled with happiness. So Lin Xuan took Li Menjiao's hand and went to the roof again, then lay down on the double lazy chair. Li Menjiao leaned quietly on Lin Xuan, her beautiful eyes looking into the distance, admiring the beautiful sunset in front of her. The setting sun, like a huge orange fireball, slowly sank towards the horizon. The clouds around it were dyed orange, purple, and golden, layer upon layer, like a dream. The breeze blows across my cheeks, bringing a hint of coolness and the fragrance of crops in the fields. The mountains in the distance are looming in the afterglow, like the hazy background in an ink painting. The tiles on the roof gleam with light, as if telling the story of the years. The streets of the town gradually became quiet and peaceful under the setting sun. People ended their busy day and began to enjoy this moment of tranquility. The children's laughter came from afar, adding a bit of vitality to this beautiful evening. Lin Xuan held Li Menjiao in his arms, looking at the gradually disappearing sunset, feeling an inexplicable emotion in his heart. On the rooftop of this small town, he seemed to see the flow of time and the true meaning of life. Although the sunset is beautiful, its departure also heralds a new life tomorrow. Just like this small town, it has always maintained its warmth and tenacity as time goes by. After a long time, "Honey, what is the name of that mountain?" Li Menjiao raised her arm and pointed to the towering mountain in the distance. Her beautiful eyes sparkled with curiosity. Lin Xuan looked in the direction of her finger with a proud smile on his face. "That is the highest and most famous mountain in our Yunchen town. It's called Yunchen." Li Menjiao's eyes were attracted by Yunchen, and a feeling of yearning surged in her heart. She imagined standing on the top of the mountain and overlooking the magnificent view of the entire Yunchen town, and couldn't help but sigh. "I really want to go to the top of the mountain there to see the scenery. It must be beautiful." Lin Xuan looked at her tenderly, his eyes full of love. "Wife wants to go." Li Menjiao nodded vigorously, with anticipation glittering in her eyes. "Can we climb up?" Lin Xuan smiled and replied, "Of course, it has been developed into a tourist attraction with complete mountaineering facilities and trails. Let's go hiking tomorrow." "Okay." Li Menjiao felt warm and sweet in her heart and couldn't help but smile happily. The next morning, the sunlight poured into the room through the curtains, waking up Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao. They quickly got up and put on light and comfortable mountaineering clothes. Li Menjiao also wore a sun hat and applied sunscreen. When everything was ready, the two walked out of the room hand in hand. Just as Lin Xuan passed by Lin Sissy's room, he suddenly heard his sister's laughter. Chapter 261, Climbing Yunchen Mountain. So Lin Xuan gently pushed open the door, and what came into view was Lin Sissy lying on the soft, big bed, wearing a pair of exquisite headphones on her head, her eyes fixed intently on the screen of the mobile phone in her hand, and a smile appeared at the corner of her mouth from time to time. "Sister," Lin Xuan called softly. "Ah!" Lin Sissy suddenly came to her senses, quickly took off her headphones, turned her eyes to the door, and a surprised expression appeared on her face. When she saw the smirk on her brother Lin Xuan's face, she couldn't help but feel an ominous premonition in her heart. "You're playing with your phone in bed so early," Lin Xuan teased. "I can't sleep, I'll go to sleep now," Lin Sissy explained hurriedly, then quickly closed her eyes and pretended to fall asleep. Okay, stop pretending in front of me. Since you can't sleep, let's go hiking with me. It's a good way to relax," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Climb mountains." Hearing this, a scene from a TV series immediately emerged in Lin Sissy's mind. "Brother, you won't harm my lovely sister, will you?" Lin Sissy sighed helplessly. Lin Xuan held his forehead speechlessly, then reached out and tapped Lin Sissy lightly on the head. "What are you thinking about in your little head? It's just a simple trip to climb Yunchen Mountain," Lin Xuan said. Coming." Lin Sissy reluctantly got up from the bed and prepared to go out with Lin Xuan. When all preparations are completed, "Mom, we are going to climb the mountain. Please help take care of the babies at home," Lin Xuan said to Zhang Xulan. "Okay, be careful," Zhang Xulan said. "By the way, where is Dad?" Lin Xuan asked curiously. "He is still sleeping like a lazy pig," Zhang Xulan said. "That's perfect. I want to drive his car today." Having said that, Lin Xuan picked up the key to the BMW 8 Series and walked out of the house happily. After Li Menjiao and Lin Xuan got in the car, Lin Xuan skillfully started the engine, slowly drove out of the community, and headed towards the Yunqian scenic area. Time passed quickly, and only 20 minutes later, Lin Xuan drove the car smoothly to the foot of the Yunqian scenic area. After they parked the car, the three of them got out together. "Sissy, have you applied sunscreen?" Li Menjiao asked with concern. "Oh no, oops, I forgot," Lin Sissy replied with some annoyance. "It's okay, sister-in-law has already prepared it, and remember to wear this sun hat." Li Menjiao comforted her gently and quickly took out a bottle of sunscreen from her bag, carefully sprayed a layer of sunscreen spray on Lin Sissy from head to toe, then took out a white sun hat and gently put it on Lin Sissy's head. "Thank you, sister-in-law," Lin Sissy said sweetly. "Okay, let's go have some breakfast," Lin Xuan said with a smile. Then the three of them came to a shop called Yunqian Rice Noodle Rolls. They each ordered a bowl of the special Yunqian Rice Noodle Roll to fill their stomachs. Then the three of them came to the Yunqian Ticket Hall, where there were already quite a few people queuing up. After all, it was the May Day holiday, so there were quite a few people coming to climb the mountain. After a long wait, it was finally the turn of Lin Xuan and the other two. "Welcome, are you three?" the ticket seller asked enthusiastically. "Yes, please give us 2 adult tickets and 1 student ticket, thank you," Lin Xuan replied politely. "Okay, here are the tickets for 3 people. Please go in on the left." The ticket seller handed the tickets to Lin Xuan with a smile. So Lin Xuan walked in front to lead the way, while Lin Sissy held Li Menjiao's hand and chatted happily like a close sister. Soon, the three arrived at the starting point of Yunqian Qingfeng Pavilion. "This is the starting point of climbing the mountain," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Wow, it looks so high." Li Menjiao raised her head and looked at the top of the mountain, her heart full of anticipation and excitement. "Honey, how high do we have to climb?" Then she turned her head and asked Lin Xuan curiously. "It will probably take 3 hours." Lin Xuan looked up at the sky, estimated the time, then turned to Li Menjiao and said, "Then let's go." Li Menjiao clapped her hands excitedly, with an expectant smile on her face. They started from Qingfeng Pavilion and stepped onto the steps paved with large blue stones. On both sides are lush green bamboos, like a green ocean. As the breeze blows, the green bamboo sways gently, making a rustling sound, as if performing a natural concert. At this time, the sunlight shines through the gaps in the bamboo leaves, casting golden spots on the steps, like a beautiful painting. After walking along the bluestone steps for about 20 minutes, they entered the bamboo forest path. The path is narrow and can only accommodate 2 people walking side by side. The ground was covered with fallen bamboo leaves, which felt soft and springy to walk on, like walking on marshmallows. The bamboo forest is filled with fresh bamboo fragrance, which makes people feel relaxed and happy. Along the way, you can also see some small bamboo shoots emerging from the ground, adding a bit of vitality and vigor to this quiet bamboo forest. After leaving the bamboo forest path, the sound of a gurgling stream came to my ears. They looked in the direction of the sound and saw a clear stream flowing happily beside the mountain road. The stream rushed down, splashing white waves that scattered like pearls. In the stream, small fish swim by from time to time, lively and agile, giving people a vibrant feeling. "There is a stream here." Li Menjiao walked forward happily and gently put her hand into the stream. The stream water was so cool that it gave her a sense of surprise and pleasure. "It's icy cold," said Li Menjiao. "The mountains and waters here are unpolluted, so they look crystal clear," Lin Xuan said with a smile. Then the three of them continued to move forward. Walking along the path beside the stream, you will see wild flowers flourishing on the roadside. The colorful flowers compete with each other in beauty and emit charming fragrance. Occasionally, you can see a few butterflies dancing among the flowers. After walking along the section of road that flows along the stream, a steep stone staircase appears in front of you. The stone steps extend upward at almost a 45-degree angle, and each step is about 20 centimeters high. You need to hold on to the iron chain on the side of the road and climb carefully step by step. After a while, Lin Xuan heard a panting sound behind him. He turned around and saw Li Menjiao and Lin Sissy climbing the stone steps with some difficulty. "Wife Sissy, are you tired?" Lin Xuan asked with concern. "A little bit," Li Menjiao replied with a hint of fatigue on her face, but she still walked forward firmly. "Hold on a little longer, there is a rest pavilion ahead," Lin Xuan encouraged. Chapter 262, Glass Plank Road. "Okay," Li Menjiao smiled slightly. Finally, after climbing for a while, the three finally arrived at a rest pavilion. Li Menjiao first took out 2 tissues, handed one to Lin Sissy, and held the other in her hand to gently wipe Lin Xuan's sweat. Lin Xuan looked at Li Menjiao's gentle movements and was deeply moved. He whispered, "Wife, you're sweating too." As he spoke, Lin Xuan also took a tissue and gently wiped the sweat off Li Menjiao's face. The two smiled at each other, their eyes full of love. Lin Sissy, who was standing aside, was silently eating this dog food, but she's gradually gotten used to it. After resting for a while, the three of them continued their journey. After climbing the steep stone steps, we entered a dense pine forest. The pine needles cover the ground like a thick carpet and feel very soft to walk on. The pine forest is filled with the aroma of pine resin, which makes people feel refreshed. The sunlight shines through the gaps between the pine branches, casting golden rays like a spotlight on a stage, illuminating the entire pine forest. They walked deeper into the pine forest and came to several wooden observation decks. "Wife, this is halfway up the mountain. You can also see charming scenery from this observation deck," Lin Xuan said with a smile. Holding Li Menjiao and Lin Sissy's hands, we went up to the observation deck together. "Looking from here, you can see the rolling mountains in the distance, with clouds and mist lingering among them like a beautiful painting. The city at the foot of the mountain sparkles in the sunlight, and the busy streets and bustling crowds are in full view." Lin Xuan took a deep breath, feeling the breath of nature, and felt particularly relaxed. He turned to look at Li Menjiao and found that she was immersed in the beautiful scenery with a happy smile on her face. "The middle of the mountain is so beautiful. What kind of scenery will there be at the top of the mountain?" Li Menjiao said with a smile. They had been climbing for over an hour by this time. "Sissy, do you want to eat some chocolate to replenish your energy?" Li Menjiao took out a few pieces of chocolate from her bag and handed them to Lin Sissy with a smile. I want it." Lin Sissy happily took the chocolate and couldn't wait to take a bite, enjoying the sweet taste. Then Li Menjiao handed Lin Xuan a few more pieces of chocolate. The three of them took a brief rest, replenished their energy, and then set out again on the journey up the mountain. They passed through the pine forest and came to a fork in the road. On the left is the cliff plank road, and on the right is the glass plank road. "Honey, which one should we go?" Li Menjiao looked at Lin Xuan hesitantly. The cliff plank road is built along the cliff, with a steep cliff on one side and a bottomless valley on the other. The glass plank road is built by the developer of the scenic spot and leads directly to the other side, Lin Xuan explained with a smile. After hearing Lin Xuan's introduction, Li Menjiao felt a little confused. At this time, Lin Sissy said, "Sister-in-law, trust me, take the glass plank road." "Why?" Li Menjiao asked curiously. "Last time my brother persuaded me that the cliff path was very fun, but it turned out to only have a safety rope and a simple wooden board under my feet. I couldn't even stand straight on my legs," Lin Sissy recalled painfully. "Ha ha ha, it's quite exciting. I remember my sister was scared to tears that time." Lin Xuan couldn't help laughing out loud. "What a bullshit. Sister-in-law, let's go to the glass plank road. Brother, if you want to go to the cliff plank road, go by yourself." Lin Sissy pouted and pulled Li Menjiao to the right. Lin Xuan shook his head helplessly and followed them. Soon, the three of them arrived at the entrance of the glass plank road. Li Menjiao looked at the abyss under the glass. Her heart ached with panic, and her body unconsciously leaned towards Lin Xuan. "Honey, I'm afraid of heights." Li Menjiao's voice trembled a little. Many people only realize they are afraid of heights when they are actually standing at a height. "Sister-in-law, it's okay. Just don't look down." Lin Sissy was not afraid at all. She jumped into the glass plank road. She had been here many times since she was a child and was very familiar with it, so she was not afraid. "Wife, I will hold your hand and walk slowly." Lin Xuan gently comforted his wife, holding her hand tightly, giving her a sense of security. "Yeah," Li Menjiao nodded. Then Lin Xuan held Li Menjiao's hand tightly, and the two of them held hands and walked slowly forward. At first, Li Menjiao tried hard to close her eyes and not look down, so she didn't feel anything. "Just let my husband lead me everywhere." But as time went on, she couldn't resist her curiosity and secretly opened her eyes and looked down unconsciously. "Wow, it's so high." Li Menjiao suddenly felt dizzy, her legs went weak, and she could hardly stand. She subconsciously hugged Lin Xuan and refused to let go. "Wife, just don't look down." Lin Xuan comforted softly. "Okay, I understand." Li Menjiao nodded, but her body was still shaking slightly. She tried hard to stand up again, but she couldn't do it even though she had used up all her strength. "Honey, I can't walk anymore," Li Menjiao said fearfully. "Then let me carry you," Lin Xuan said gently. "But if you carry me on your back, will we fall down due to the weight of both of us?" Li Menjiao asked worriedly, her heart filled with fear. When people are afraid, their brains will temporarily go offline. "Of course not, the glass's load-bearing capacity is not that fragile." Lin Xuan smiled slightly. He gently scratched Li Menjiao's pretty nose with his little hand, then said with a smile, "Come on, get up." After that, Lin Xuan squatted down and prepared to carry Li Menjiao on his back. Afterwards, Li Menjiao lay limply on Lin Xuan's back, with her arms tightly around his neck. Her body was pressed against Lin Xuan's back, feeling his body temperature. Lin Xuan carried Li Menjiao steadily on his back and walked forward step by step. She closed her eyes tightly, not daring to look at the road ahead, and whispered softly, "Husband, am I embarrassing myself?" The strong wind from the mountain howled past, and Li Menjiao's hair was blown up by the wind, gently brushing Lin Xuan's cheek. Lin Xuan replied gently, "What's there to be ashamed of? Your husband is here with you." Lin Sissy also turned around and comforted her. "Sister-in-law, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I didn't dare to walk the first time, but after walking more, I'm not afraid anymore." After a long glass plank road, they finally reached the platform at the top of the mountain. The mountaintop platform covers an area of about 200 square meters, with a flat and open ground. Standing on the platform, you can enjoy the vast view and the beautiful scenery around you. The rolling mountains in the distance blend with the blue sky and white clouds, like a magnificent painting. The villages, fields, and roads at the foot of the mountain are clearly visible, like a scaled-down sand table model. At this moment, the breeze gently blows on the face, bringing coolness, making people feel relaxed and happy, and all the fatigue disappears at this moment. Finally reached the summit, Li Menjiao shouted excitedly with a happy smile on her face. She stood on the top of the mountain, overlooking the magnificent scenery around her, her heart filled with a sense of accomplishment and joy. "Wife, this is not the highest point." Lin Xuan's mouth corners slightly raised, revealing a mysterious smile. "Isn't it yet?" Li Menjiao asked in surprise. "Yes, there are more here." Lin Xuan raised his hand and pointed to the other side of the platform on the top of the mountain. There stood a magnificent and majestic building, Lingyan Pavilion. Chapter 263, My Wife is So Domineering. Lingyan Pavilion is about 10 meters high, with 3 floors, flying eaves and brackets, and an antique style. The base of Lingyan Pavilion is made of solid bluestone, and each stone carries the vicissitudes and weight of time. Its walls are carved from flawless white jade, which is warm and smooth. Under the sunlight, they emit a soft and mysterious light, like a dreamland. The roof of the pavilion is octagonal, and the eaves are like a divine bird spreading its wings ready to fly, light and agile. The golden bells hanging on the eaves swayed gently in the breeze, making clear and pleasant sounds. The doors and windows of Lingyan Pavilion are decorated with exquisite wood carvings. The patterns are intricate and exquisite, including flowers, birds, fish, insects, myths, and legends. Every detail shows the ingenuity of the craftsmen. Standing in front of the pavilion, you can seem to feel the artistic atmosphere blowing towards you, making you intoxicated. "I didn't expect there was an attic on the top of the mountain," said Li Menjiao. "Let's go up and take a look," Lin Xuan said with a smile. He took Li Menjiao's hand and walked towards Lingyan Pavilion together. They walked up the stairs step by step, feeling the tranquility and solemnity brought by the ancient building. Climbing to the top floor of Lingyan Pavilion, Li Menjiao's beautiful eyes instantly widened, flashing with surprise and excitement. She couldn't wait to go to the guardrail and put her hands on it. In front of her was a vast sea of clouds. "Wow, the sea of clouds here is so beautiful," Li Menjiao couldn't help but exclaimed. The sea of clouds was like a surging white ocean, boundless and stretching to the horizon. The layers of cloud waves are surging and rushing, as if they have endless power. Sometimes it is as majestic as thousands of horses galloping. Sometimes it is as soft and light as a dancing gauze. Under the sunlight, the sea of clouds shines with golden light, dazzling and brilliant. At this moment, Li Menjiao felt that all her fatigue had disappeared, and her heart was filled with satisfaction. She felt that she had climbed up Yunshan Mountain with such difficulty, just for this beautiful view. At this moment, Lin Xuan took out his Nikon camera and pressed the shutter button towards Li Menjiao's beautiful face. When Li Menjiao heard the sound of the camera, she subconsciously turned around and looked at Lin Xuan. This beautiful moment of looking back was captured by Lin Xuan again in the camera. Her eyes were clear and bright, like 2 precious gems shining with charming light. Lin Xuan smiled slightly and said softly, "Wife, this shot is really beautiful." A blush appeared on Li Menjiao's face, and she smiled shyly. Then Li Menjiao called out to Lin Sissy gently, "Sissy, come over and take a photo with us." Lin Sissy ran over excitedly and responded loudly, "Come on, sister-in-law." Then Li Menjiao and Lin Sissy posed in a cute pose in tacit understanding, and Lin Xuan pressed the shutter without hesitation to record this beautiful moment. Finally, as a tool, Lin Sissy naturally had to take a photo with Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao. Lin Xuan hugged Li Menjiao tightly, and both of them had happy smiles on their faces. Lin Sissy quickly pressed the shutter button, capturing this heartwarming scene in the camera. On the other side, Lin Zhengguo received a call from a fellow villager, saying that they were planning to get together for lunch. When Lin Zhengguo heard this, he immediately became interested and walked towards the door of the villa happily. However, when he reached the door, he was suddenly dumbfounded. "Where's my car?" At this time, Zhang Xulin came out of the house holding Zaya Abo and said to him with a smile, "Your beloved car has been driven away by your precious son." "Then how do I go to the party?" Lin Zhengguo said. "Look, isn't there another one?" Zhang Xulin pointed to the Toyota Alpha next to her. So Lin Zhengguo drove the van that the villagers were talking about to go to the party. As the clock pointed to afternoon, the sun shone through the clouds, creating a golden color. Because Lin Sissy needed to return to school in the evening, Lin Xuan's family decided to say goodbye to her grandparents and set off on the journey back to Yunhai City. "My dear children, please remember to visit your great-grandfather and great-grandmother when you have free time in the future." Grandma looked at the babies tenderly, her eyes full of love. "Don't worry, Grandma, we will come back often." Lin Xuan responded with a smile, his tone firm and gentle. "By the way, old lady, did you forget to give red envelopes to the babies?" Grandpa suddenly remembered something important and said, slapping his forehead, "Oh, I was so happy to see the babies that I forgot about it in excitement. Xuaner, wait a moment." After saying that, Grandma hurried into the room. "Grandma, please slow down," Lin Xuan shouted with concern. Not long after, Grandma came out with 2 heavy red envelopes, one for Dabo and one for Zaya Abo. "Hurry up and thank your great-grandmother." Li Menjiao gently shook Zaya Abo's arm and said with a smile, "Okay, have a safe journey." Grandpa blessed kindly. "Mom and Dad will be leaving first." After saying goodbye to his parents, Lin Zhengguo turned and walked towards the car. Afterwards, everyone got in the cars, started the engines, and the 2 cars slowly drove out of Yunshan town and headed towards Yunhai City. After returning to Yunhai City, the family rested for a while at home. Lin Xuan drove Lin Sissy to school. The car drove smoothly on the road and soon arrived at the gate of Yunhai No. 1 Middle School. Lin Xuan stopped the car, turned to Lin Sissy and said, "Sister, don't embarrass me during the college entrance examination." Lin Sissy stuck out her tongue mischievously and replied, "Tusk, I won't. I will definitely break your college entrance examination record, brother." Lin Xuan shook his head helplessly and said with a smile, "You just know how to brag. Okay, go to school quickly and remember to review well." Lin Sissy nodded, then pushed open the car door and skipped into the school. When Lin Xuan saw Lin Sissy's lively appearance, a relieved smile appeared on his face. For the next period of time, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao stayed in Yunhai City. In the villa of Yunhai home, Lin Xuan teaches Li Menjiao how to swim and sing every day in preparation for the upcoming wedding. One night, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao were curled up in bed watching a TV series. Suddenly, the male and female protagonists in the TV series kissed each other for no apparent reason. Li Menjiao wanted to fast forward after seeing it. At this moment, she glanced and found that Lin Xuan was staring at the TV screen intently. Li Menjiao felt a little unhappy and thought, "Why is he so obsessed with it?" So she stretched out a little hand and gently covered Lin Xuan's eyes. "Hubby, why are you looking at this so seriously?" Li Menjiao said coquettishly. Lin Xuan smiled slightly and said, "I'm not a child, why can't I watch?" As he said that, he gently took away Li Menjiao's little hand. "No, my husband can only look at me." Li Menjiao stubbornly used her little face to block Lin Xuan's view. Lin Xuan smiled and said, "My wife is so domineering." Li Menjiao pouted cutely and said, "You only realized it now. Your husband must be regretting it. Since I won't show it to my husband, I can only experience it myself." Lin Xuan smiled wickedly. Li Menjiao was still thinking about what kind of personal experience she wanted to have when she was suddenly hugged tightly by Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan gently touched her forehead and kissed her tempting cherry lips. Chapter 264, Mom and Dad are the true love, and we are just an accident. The morning light poured into the room through the curtains. Lin Xuan slowly opened his eyes, and the first thing that caught his eye was Li Menjiao's quiet and sweet sleeping face. He lowered his head and gently kissed her forehead. This action caused Li Menjiao to react. She made a humming sound but did not wake up. Instead, she continued to snuggle in Lin Xuan's arms. Seeing his wife so cute, Lin Xuan couldn't help but lower his head again and pecked her cheek lightly. "Hey, husband, don't disturb my sleep." Li Menjiao frowned and muttered, her voice soft and with a hint of coquettishness. "Husband will go make breakfast for you." Lin Xuan said softly. No, hold me for a while longer, Tilda. Li Menjiao's small hands tightly wrapped around Lin Xuan's waist, refusing to let go. Lin Xuan smiled helplessly and had to continue lying on the bed holding his wife, enjoying the tranquility and warmth of the moment. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye an hour had passed. Lin Xuan walked into the kitchen and began to prepare a loving breakfast. Today we are going to make crab meat dumplings and black truffle pasta. The main focus is on the combination of Chinese and Western food. In a short while, Lin Xuan finished this sumptuous breakfast, which smelled delicious. Just as he was about to wake up the cute little lazy guy, the phone suddenly rang. Hello, Brother Xuan, are you up? Came QY's voice. I just made breakfast. By the way, have you gone to look for a store recently? Lin Xuan asked. Brother Xuan, I called you just to tell you this. I have a high school classmate who works as an account manager at Yunhai Commercial Plaza. She can take us to see the shops tonight, so I came to ask Brother Xuan, QY said. Okay, I'll go with you tonight, Lin Xuan answered without hesitation. Okay, then we can have dinner there at 7 o'clock tonight, QY suggested. No problem, Lin Xuan said. Then I won't bother Brother Xuan for now, QY said and hung up the phone. Lin Xuan put down his phone and went upstairs to the master bedroom. When I walked into the bedroom, I saw Li Menjiao still lying on the bed, sleeping soundly on her side. He walked to the bed and called softly, Wife, get up and have breakfast. Li Menjiao heard the voice, opened her eyes dazedly, stretched herself, and asked vaguely, What time is it now? It's past 9 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock, you little lazy bum. Lin Xuan gently pinched Li Menjiao's fair and soft cheeks and said with a smile, It's all because of you. Li Menjiao felt a little embarrassed and annoyed, and she slapped his troublesome hand away with a little force. Okay, it's all my fault. Your husband will carry you to wash up and have breakfast. After saying that, Lin Xuan carried Li Menjiao to the sink in the form of a koala. After washing up, Lin Xuan continued to carry Li Menjiao out of the master bedroom. Li Menjiao was a little embarrassed and said shyly, Hubby, put me down quickly, I can walk by myself. Lin Xuan shook his head and said, It's okay. Dad went out to work and Mom went out to play. We are the only ones left at home. Oh well, since her parents were not around, Li Menjiao happily accepted Lin Xuan's hug service. After having a full breakfast, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao lazily nestled in the soft sofa, enjoying the charming sea view in the distance through the huge floor-to-ceiling windows. At this time, Lin Xuan gently patted Li Menjiao's hand and said softly, Wife, I'm going out for dinner tonight. Hearing this, Li Menjiao turned around, blinked her beautiful eyes, and asked curiously, Huh, with whom? Lin Xuan smiled and replied, With my childhood friend Q Wise, I will go to check out the store with him tonight. Li Menjiao asked in confusion, Why do you suddenly want to visit the store? Because I want to open the Xuan Meng restaurant sign in Yunhai City, so that people in Yunhai City will know about our restaurant, Lin Xuan said with a smile. Li Menjiao smiled happily after hearing this, and then she tilted her head slightly to look at him. Then do you want to open one in Jingshui City as well? That's fine, we'll open it next time when we find a suitable candidate. Lin Xuan smiled gently and responded, My husband is so nice. Li Menjiao leaned against Lin Xuan, feeling his warm breath. At this moment, Dabao and Xiaoba were lying on the other side of the sofa, staring blankly at the crystal chandelier and the ceiling with wide eyes. The two little ones seemed to be thinking silently in their hearts, Mom and Dad are true love, and we are just an accident. When night fell, Lin Xuan changed into a simple casual outfit and walked out of the house. He glanced at the van parked at the door, a Toyota Alpha. I feel like there's no point in going out alone. So he shifted his attention to the small electric car parked nearby, thinking that the destination was only a dozen minutes away anyway. Then he got on his favorite electric bike and drove towards Yunhai Square, the most prosperous and lively place in Yunhai City. See you, I want to tell you that this client is very important. My childhood friend is quite rich now, Q Wise said. How rich is he? Yi Siu asked curiously. At this time, a petite young woman in professional attire was talking to Q Wise. She is Q Wise's high school classmate and also the account manager of Yunhai Plaza. He lives in Yunhai Home, the top villa community in Yunhai City, and drives a Maybach luxury car worth more than 3 million yuan, Q Wise replied. Wow, he's so rich, Yi Siu exclaimed. Yes, he plans to buy a shop here to open a restaurant, Q Wise continued. Don't worry, I will serve you well, the customer is God, Yi Siu said. At this time, Q Wise looked at the time on his mobile phone, estimated the time in his mind, and felt that it should be about time. He said he should be here by now. When Yi Siyu heard this, she immediately became excited and said eagerly, "What are we waiting for? Let's go to the door to greet them. Business, business. I have a big order tonight." Afterwards, Qiu Wise and Yi Siyu came to the entrance of Yunhai Square together, their eyes fixed on the vehicles coming and going, looking forward to Lin Xuan's appearance. Their eyes were fixed on the vehicles coming and going. After a while, a familiar voice came into Qiu Wise's ears. "Sorry to have kept you waiting. There was a traffic jam just now." They looked in the direction of the sound and saw Lin Xuan riding an electric bike, slowly driving out from the bicycle lane. Chapter 265, Low-Key Travel. Is this the big client that Qiu Wise mentioned? Yi Siyu found it a little unbelievable. "Brother Xuan, please keep a low profile when traveling." Qiu Wise walked up, put his hand on Lin Xuan's shoulder and said with a smile, "It's not bad to ride a small electric bike occasionally." Lin Xuan responded with a smile. "Siyu, this is the big boss I mentioned before, Lin Xuan." Qiu Wise introduced to Yi Siyu. "Brother Xuan, this beautiful lady is my high school classmate and also the account manager of Yunhai Plaza, Yi Siyu." Qiu Wise continued to introduce. "Hello," Lin Xuan greeted politely. "Hello," Yi Siyu responded softly, still having some doubts about Lin Xuan's identity in her heart. "Let's go in quickly, have a meal first, and then look around the shops," Yi Siyu suggested. She thought about it carefully and thought that maybe some rich people are just more low-key and have more individuality. Then the three of them walked into Yunhai Square together. Yunhai Square is built not far from the sea, covering a vast area. It is bustling with people, traffic, shops, and bright lights, showing the charm of prosperity everywhere. There are various brand stores, restaurants, cafes, etc. here, attracting many consumers to come for shopping, entertainment, and leisure. Is there any fish restaurant with a good reputation here? Lin Xuan turned his head to look at Yi Siyu beside him and asked casually. Yi Siyu was slightly startled, then she laughed. "Yes, there is a very good grilled fish restaurant. It's a national chain store." As she spoke, she pointed to the restaurant area a short distance upstairs. "Then let's go to this grilled fish restaurant," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "If you want to open a Xuanmeng restaurant here, you naturally have to find out about the competitors here." Afterwards, the three of them came to the grilled fish restaurant. The store's interior decoration is simple and stylish, and business is very prosperous. They found an empty seat, sat down, and ordered 2 different flavors of the signature grilled fish. After Lin Xuan took a few bites, he roughly understood the level of the chefs here. The quality of the fish was good, but the control of the heat when grilling was not very precise, resulting in some parts of the fish being overcooked and some parts not being tasty enough. Although the taste is very good, it is still incomparable to the Xuanmeng restaurant I opened myself. If Xuanmeng restaurant were opened here, it would definitely be a hit. "Boss Lin, I heard that you are planning to open a restaurant." Yi Siyu looked at Lin Xuan and asked curiously. Lin Xuan smiled and nodded. "Yeah, is there any bigger shop here? By the way, you don't have to call me boss, just call me by my name. Since Wise has always called you Brother Xuan, then I'll call you Brother Xuan too," Yi Siyu said with a sweet smile. "We happen to have the largest shop here that is still vacant. The previous owner has transferred it, and now several people are negotiating with it to take over this shop," she continued. "Oh, then let's go and take a look after we finish eating," Lin Xuan replied with a smile. So after the three of them quickly finished their meal, they got down to business and came to this store, which was located in the best spot on the floor. "This is it. It used to be a barbecue restaurant, but it went bankrupt due to poor management." Yi Siyu pointed at the store and introduced it. "How many square meters is this place?" Lin Xuan asked while observing the surrounding environment. "The usable area is about 280 square meters, which is the largest in our restaurant area," Yi Siyu answered in detail. Lin Xuan took a careful look around and was very satisfied with the shop. "So how much does this shop cost now?" Lin Xuan asked again. "The current selling price is 2 million, and it needs to be paid in one lump sum," Yi Siyu told the truth. Lin Xuan thought about it and decided it wasn't that expensive. "Didn't you say that several people were talking?" Lin Xuan asked curiously. "Yes, but they can't come up with 2 million at once, so they are bargaining," Yi Siyu said. "You can tell them there is no need to bargain. I will buy this shop." Lin Xuan's mouth corners slightly raised, revealing a faint smile. "Huh, so straightforward. 2 million without blinking an eye." After hearing this, Yi Siyu showed a hint of surprise on her face. She originally thought that Lin Xuan would be like other buyers and would need to bargain before reaching a deal, but she didn't expect him to be so decisive. "Manager Yi, you can go prepare the contract." Lin Xuan looked at Yi Siyu and said calmly. "Okay, I'll get ready now." Yi Siyu quickly nodded in agreement, then turned and left the meeting room, returning to her office to begin preparing the sales contract. Brother Xuan, did you buy it so quickly? Q Wise asked Lin Xuan. This shop is good in every aspect. It will definitely be a hit when it opens, Lin Xuan said with a smile. What should I do next? Q Wise continued to ask. Next, you should quit your job, come to Jinghai City, learn about the various matters related to Xuanmeng Restaurant, and then come back to open it, Lin Xuan explained patiently. Okay, thank you, Brother Xuan, Q Wise said gratefully. What's there to thank me for? It's what brothers should do, but let me be frank with you, we can't mess it up, Lin Xuan said with a serious expression. Don't worry, I will definitely do my best. Q Wise's eyes were firm and his tone was serious. Lin Xuan patted his shoulder, and a relieved smile appeared on his face. Just then, Yi Siyu hurried over with a contract in her hand. Boss Lin, sorry for keeping you waiting. This is the contract. Please take a look. Yi Siyu handed the contract to Lin Xuan respectfully. You should just call me Brother Xuan. Lin Xuan felt like he looked old when he was called boss again and again. Okay, Boss Lin. Yi Siyu nodded obediently. Lin Xuan. After everything was done, Lin Xuan rode away on his electric scooter. He was thinking about things while riding his bike. Now Q Wise has also come to work for him. As for the contract, it's just as good as Joe Kwan's. He just needs to sit at home and wait to get paid. The night was as dark as ink, and Lin Xuan rode his bicycle slowly to the Yunhai home villa. He gently pushed the door open, and a warm breath blew in. A soft body suddenly threw itself into his arms. Welcome home, husband Tilda. Li Menjiao raised her head, smiled sweetly, with happiness shining in her eyes. She closed her eyes gently and took a deep breath, as if she wanted to absorb all of Lin Xuan's breath into her body. Wife, what are you smelling? Lin Xuan asked gently, with the corners of his mouth slightly raised. You smell like grilled fish. Li Menjiao lowered her eyes and thought for a moment, then said softly, Wife, do you want to eat grilled fish? Lin Xuan asked with a smile. I do. Li Menjiao smiled, beautiful and moving. Then your husband will make you a midnight snack now. Then the two of them were like caterpillars. Lin Xuan walked in front, and Li Menjiao followed closely behind him. After a while, the aroma of grilled fish filled the entire hall. Lin Xuan brought the grilled fish to the table, and Li Menjiao couldn't wait to pick up the chopsticks and taste the delicious grilled fish. Chapter 266 Wife, today is your holiday too. My husband is going to take a shower first. He smells like grilled fish. As Lin Xuan spoke, he stood up and kissed Li Menjiao gently on the lips. Well, you also think there's too much oil. Li Menjiao rolled her eyes at Lin Xuan and said coquettishly. She had just eaten grilled fish, and there was some oil on her mouth. Ha, my husband doesn't mind. Lin Xuan smiled, then walked towards the stairs and went upstairs. He came to the bathroom in the master bedroom and started taking a shower. When Lin Xuan came out after taking a shower, he found Li Menjiao already standing beside the crib, preparing to change the baby's diaper. Come here, husband. Lin Xuan gently hugged Li Menjiao from behind and said in a gentle voice, Then I'll go take a shower first. Li Menjiao turned around, kissed Lin Xuan on the mouth with a smack sound, then picked up her pajamas and walked into the bathroom. Xiaobao is pooping again, right? Lin Xuan said with a smile as he looked at Xiaobao's cute appearance. Then he skillfully changed Xiaobao's diaper. Just when Lin Xuan had just finished changing Xiaobao's diaper, he suddenly heard some noise coming from Dabao's side. You siblings have quite a good understanding with each other, Lin Xuan said with a smile. Then she changed Dabao's diaper skillfully. After changing the diaper, Lin Xuan lay back on the bed easily, turned on the TV, and began to enjoy his leisure time. After a while, Li Menjiao came out of the bathroom. Her skin was as white as snow and so smooth that it seemed like moonlight would splash down on it, and it exuded a faint fragrance. Li Menjiao came to the dressing table and was about to pick up the hair dryer to blow dry her hair, but Lin Xuan got there first. Wife, let me help you blow dry your hair, Lin Xuan said gently. Okay, Tilda. Li Menjiao smiled sweetly, her heart filled with happiness. Then she sat in front of the dressing table, elegantly and straight, her eyes looking ahead quietly, enjoying Lin Xuan's service. Lin Xuan placed his hand gently on Li Menjiao's hair, feeling the silky touch, while in his other hand he held the hair dryer, carefully drying each strand of hair. Li Menjiao sat quietly, looking at her husband carefully in the mirror. People often say that most men gain weight after getting married, but her husband still maintains a handsome appearance. Thinking of this, Li Menjiao couldn't help but let out a sweet laugh. Wife, what are you laughing at? Lin Xuan asked softly with a slight smile on his face. Nothing, Li Menjiao answered shyly with her cheeks slightly red and her eyes flickering. Are you smiling secretly because your husband is so handsome? Lin Xuan saw through his wife's thoughts at a glance. "Stop being so conceited," Li Menjiao said coquettishly, but her face was still filled with a happy smile. After a while, Lin Xuan gently blew dry Li Menjiao's hair. Li Menjiao carefully examined her hairstyle in the mirror, nodded with satisfaction, then turned back to look at Lin Xuan and praised, "Hubby, you have good skills." "Of course, is there a reward?" Lin Xuan raised the corner of his mouth and looked at her expectantly. However, just as Li Menjiao was about to say there was no reward, her beautiful eyes suddenly noticed that Lin Xuan's eyebrows seemed a little messy. "There's a reward, husband. Sit down first." Li Menjiao asked Lin Xuan to sit on the chair at the dressing table, and then quickly took out an eyebrow trimmer. "Wife, what do you want to do? I don't want a reward." When Lin Xuan saw the eyebrow trimmer, his face instantly became nervous and he spoke hurriedly. "Hey, don't move, honey. Your eyebrows are a little messy. Let me trim them for you." Li Menjiao straddled her long and beautiful legs and sat directly on Lin Xuan's thighs. Then she picked up the eyebrow trimmer in her hand and began to gently scrape Lin Xuan's eyebrows. "Wife, be careful." Lin Xuan closed his eyes and said in panic, "Be good and don't move. Don't blame me if it breaks," Li Menjiao said gently. At this moment, Lin Xuan didn't dare to make any other movements. He could only feel something gently scratching his eyebrows. Suddenly, Li Menjiao shouted softly, "It's broken." "What's wrong?" Lin Xuan asked nervously. "I accidentally trimmed your eyebrows and left a small hole," Li Menjiao said apologetically. "No way, my eyebrows." Lin Xuan quickly opened his eyes, walked around Li Menjiao's body, and looked at the mirror carefully. "Hey, it wasn't damaged, and it looks neater now." At this time, Lin Xuan heard Li Menjiao's cheerful laughter. "Ha ha ha, my husband was deceived by me again." Lin Xuan then realized that Li Menjiao was teasing him on purpose. He shook his head helplessly and said with a smile, "Okay, wife, you are playing tricks on me again." As he spoke, Lin Xuan gently took the eyebrow razor from Li Menjiao's hand and then hugged her. At this time, Li Menjiao had already realized the danger. "Honey, I know I was wrong. Can you let me go first?" Li Menjiao said tenderly. "What do you think?" Lin Xuan gave a wicked smile. Then he picked up Li Menjiao, and they both fell on the bed. In the blink of an eye, several days have passed and Mother's Day has quietly arrived. This morning, Zhang Xulan accidentally discovered that Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao had been staying in the kitchen, not knowing what they were busy with. She walked into the kitchen curiously, but was gently pushed out by her daughter-in-law Li Menjiao. "What are you doing?" Zhang Xulan asked with concern. "Nothing, we are preparing lunch." Li Menjiao answered softly, but she was not good at lying, and the flaws in her words were easily seen through by Zhang Xulan. "Are you making a cake?" Zhang Xulan noticed that there was flour left on Li Menjiao's hands, and she immediately understood. Li Menjiao lowered her head, clenched her hands tightly, and remained silent. "Do you need Mom to come in and help?" Zhang Xulan asked gently. "No need, Mom, we can handle it. You should go and help take care of the children," Li Menjiao said in a low voice. "Okay then." Zhang Xulan showed a relieved smile on her face and turned to leave. As the sun sets and night falls, Lin Zhenguo returns home after a day's work. Holding a large bouquet of bright carnations in his hand, he gently pushed open the door. His eyes fell directly on his wife Zhang Xulan. Then he walked towards her and handed her the bouquet of beautiful flowers. "Happy holidays, wife." "Thank you." Zhang Xulan took the flowers and smiled happily. She sniffed the flowers gently, feeling her husband's love and care. Over the years, on every important holiday, Lin Zhenguo would always carefully prepare a small gift for Zhang Xulan, which made their relationship more harmonious, and they supported each other more. Lin Xuan has lived in such a harmonious and warm family environment since he was a child, and has hardly ever heard any fierce quarrels between his parents. At this moment, Li Menjiao stood quietly at the kitchen door, secretly watching the scene in the living room, her heart full of envy. She thought of her deceased father. If he were still alive, he and his mother would be so loving. Just then, she felt a light tap on her shoulder. Li Menjiao looked back and saw Lin Xuan also holding a huge bouquet of carnations, handing it to her with a smile. "Wife, today is also your holiday. Happy holidays," he said softly, his eyes revealing endless love. Chapter 267, Husband. "Are you afraid that I will leave you and go back to my parents' home?" Li Menjiao gently took the carnation, and her heart seemed to be wrapped by a warm current, and a sweet feeling surged in her heart. Yes, she is now a mother of 2 babies. Li Menjiao approached Lin Xuan, stood on tiptoe, holding the flowers in one hand and hugged his neck with the other hand, kissing his lips affectionately. Lin Xuan felt his wife's enthusiasm and love, and his heart was filled with warmth. My husband is really good at creating surprises. Li Menjiao's face was filled with ripples of emotion and tears glistened in her eyes. Today is my wife's first Mother's Day, so of course I have to prepare a surprise for you. Lin Xuan gently hugged Li Menjiao and said with a smile. What about next? Li Menjiao raised her eyebrows, then rubbed Lin Xuan's face repeatedly and asked mischievously. She thought of the surprise Lin Zhengguo had just given Zhang Xulan and couldn't help looking forward to her future life. When we get old, will my husband still love me as much as he does now? It will happen every year in the future. Lin Xuan lifted Li Menjiao's chin and kissed her forehead affectionately. I believe you. Li Menjiao hugged Lin Xuan tightly and smiled sweetly. The two of them stayed in the kitchen for a while. Wife, I think my parents are almost ready. Let's get ready for dinner, Lin Xuan said gently. Okay, Tilda, Li Menjiao nodded obediently. She was a little hungry. Then Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao brought the carefully prepared dishes to the table one by one. It's time to eat, Lin Xuan shouted. A sumptuous dinner was placed on the table, exuding an enticing aroma. There are fragrant braised spare ribs, tender and delicious stir-fried lamb with green onions, crispy and golden crispy chicken, rich and delicious cheese-baked lobster, fragrant Yangzhou fried rice and nutritious angelica, and red date black chicken soup. The family sat around the dining table and began to enjoy this warm dinner with laughter. After dinner, Lin Xuan took out a piece of exquisite carnation cream cake from the refrigerator and placed it on the dining table. This cake is like a fine work of art. The surface of the cake is covered with a layer of delicate and silky light pink cream. On this pink canvas, gorgeous carnations bloom vividly. These carnations are either in bud or in full bloom, and each petal is carefully carved to present a natural and lifelike posture. The edge of the sea of carnations was dotted with crystal-clear pearl sugars, and on the top of the cake, the words, Happy Mother's Day, were written in golden icing. At the same time, two cute little dolls are inserted on both sides of the cake. The left one is a gentle and kind mother doll, and the right one is a young and lively girl doll. The little queen mother doll represents Zhang Xulan, whose face is filled with a happy smile. The little girl doll represents Li Menjiao. Her eyes are full of expectations for the future. Then Lin Xuan cut the cake evenly, and everyone sat around the dining table, happily savoring the delicious cake while watching the TV program on the big screen. 2 hours later, Li Menjiao returned to the master bedroom alone. She closed the door gently, walked to the bed and sat down, picked up her phone and made a video call. The call was quickly connected, and a familiar face appeared on the screen, Huang Shifeng. Hello, Mom, happy holidays. Have the flowers I ordered for you arrived? Li Menjiao asked with concern. Received it, thank you, Yayo, happy holidays. Huang Shifeng replied with a smile. Mom, how are you doing at home alone? Li Menjiao asked with some concern. She knew her mother might feel lonely at home alone, especially during this special holiday. Mom is living very well here. She just went out to eat with Aunt Zhang, Aunt Huang, and others tonight, Huang Shifeng said with a smile. That's good, as long as Mom is happy. Li Menjiao felt more at ease when she heard that her mother was accompanied by many sisters. Yayo, are you doing well there? Huang Shifeng asked with concern. It's very good, Li Menjiao replied with a smile. Where are the babies? Let me see them quickly, Huang Shifeng said. They're sleeping, little ones. Li Menjiao pointed her phone at Dabao and Zaya Abo, who were still lying in the crib. They were sleeping soundly. Their little faces were rosy and very cute. The babies seemed to have grown up a bit. Huang Shifeng looked at the cute babies with tenderness and love in her eyes. Yes, they are growing every day, Li Menjiao said with emotion. Wait for Grandma, I'll come to see you in a week, Huang Shifeng said gently. In 1 week, it will be my daughter's wedding. Mom, have you given the wedding invitations to our relatives? Li Menjiao asked. Since everything has been given to them, do they really not need to take the bus themselves? Huang Shifeng asked. No need. Everyone who receives a wedding invitation will be picked up by a special car, Li Menjiao explained. Well, it's getting late. Mom should get ready for bed, Huang Shifeng said, glancing at the clock on the wall. Yeah, Li Menjiao nodded obediently and hung up the video call. Suddenly, she felt a pair of warm hands hugging her gently from behind. A familiar scent blew over her, making her heart melt instantly. She turned around and saw that familiar face with a bright smile on his face. Husband, you eavesdropped on my conversation, Li Menjiao said coquettishly. Wife, do you miss your parents' home? Lin Xuan said gently. Li Menjiao raised her head slightly, looked at Lin Xuan, and raised the corners of her mouth, revealing a sweet smile. Honey, I'm very happy here, but it suddenly occurred to me that today is Mother's Day, and Mom might feel a little lonely being alone in Jingshui City. After saying that, she gently hugged Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan felt his wife's embrace and a warm feeling surged in his heart. Then we can go over there tomorrow. It's not far. However, Li Menjiao shook her head gently. No, when I was talking to my mother on the phone just now, she said that she had a good sister to accompany her. She noticed that Lin Xuan was in a low mood. Li Menjiao noticed that Lin Xuan was a little depressed. She blinked and asked playfully, "Husband, are you afraid that I will leave you and go back to my parents' home?" Lin Xuan nodded, a helpless smile appeared on his face and replied, "Of course I'm afraid." He was thinking, what should he do if his wife got angry and took the children back to her hometown? Hearing Lin Xuan's answer, Li Menjiao laughed softly. There was a hint of pride and tenderness in her eyes as she continued to ask, "Then do you still dare to bully me?" Lin Xuan looked into Li Menjiao's eyes, raised the corners of his mouth slightly, and said with a smile, "When did I bully you?" Li Menjiao blushed and said coquettishly, "Yesterday." Lin Xuan frowned and asked in confusion, "Not yesterday? Why don't I remember it?" He pretended to have amnesia on purpose, trying to tease Li Menjiao. Seeing this, Li Menjiao pouted and said angrily, "Shameless husband." After saying that, Li Menjiao stretched out her little hand and tickled Lin Xuan's waist. The room was filled with the sound of their cheerful playfulness. Chapter 268, Golden Phoenix. Time quietly passed until the next morning, and Lin Xuan was the first to wake up from his sleep. Li Menjiao in his arms was still immersed in a sweet dream. Lin Xuan got up carefully, trying not to wake her up. Then, as usual, he first walked to the cribs and checked on the babies with concern. Why are the little ones up so early today? He was surprised to find that Dabo and Xiaobo had raised their heads and were staring at him with their big round eyes. Then Lin Xuan changed their diapers skillfully. After changing the diaper, Xiaobo tried hard to turn his body, waved his little arms, and gently placed them on his sister's cheek. Dabo noticed it immediately and also tried to turn over, stretching out his little hand to scratch his brother's face. Soon, the two adorable babies began a funny interaction. Their limbs intertwined as if they were fighting. "Ha ha ha, why are you fighting again? Let Daddy see who is stronger." Lin Xuan stood aside and watched this heartwarming farce with interest. Obviously, Dabo has the upper hand. When Lin Xuan noticed that Xiaobo was about to cry because of his defeat, he hurried forward to separate the two. Okay, Shiken, stop bullying your brother," Lin Xuan said with a gentle smile. Dabo waved his limbs, as if to say it was his younger brother who started it first. "Isn't your brother playing with you? Okay, lie down first and Daddy will make you some milk powder." Then Lin Xuan went to prepare the milk powder. While Lin Xuan was busy, suddenly, the system's voice sounded again. "Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for completing the 4th month of accompanying the babies. The reward is a set of gold jewelry worth 5 million, including the Golden Edge Ruifeng. It will be delivered to your door in an hour. Please check it." Gold jewelry. Lin Xuan was just about to buy gold for the wedding, but he didn't expect the system to be so generous and give it to him directly. Next, after Lin Xuan finished feeding Dabo and Xiaobo, he went to the living room downstairs, sat on the sofa, played with his mobile phone while waiting for the system to deliver the goods to his door. Ding dong! Finally, the doorbell of the villa rang. Lin Xuan immediately stood up from the sofa, walked quickly to the door, opened it, and saw a young courier boy standing in front of him. The courier boy asked with a smile, "Excuse me, are you Mr. Lin?" Lin Xuan nodded and replied, "Yes." The courier handed over an exquisite box and said, "This is your package, please sign for it." "Thank you." Lin Xuan took the box and couldn't wait to unpack it. A beautiful box was revealed inside. The entire box is made of high-quality walnut wood, which is hard and has beautiful texture, exuding a natural and mellow scent. Its color is a deep and lustrous dark red, just like mellow red wine, giving people a noble and mysterious feeling. Right above the box, there is a golden metal nameplate engraved with delicate patterns, and the words, "Golden Edge Ruifeng." Lin Xuan held the exquisite box in his hand, with the corners of his mouth slightly raised. He immediately returned to the master bedroom, opened the door and walked in, only to find that his wife was no longer in bed. "Hey, where's my wife?" Lin Xuan muttered to himself in confusion. At this moment, a sweet and familiar voice came. "I'm here, Tilda." Li Menjiao poked her head out of the bathroom, holding a buzzing electric toothbrush in her hand. "Honey, I have something good to show you." Lin Xuan excitedly placed Jin Yuan Ruifeng gently on the dressing table, with a happy smile on his face. "Wait until I finish washing up before watching." Then Li Menjiao retracted her little head and continued brushing her teeth. After a while, she finished washing up, walked lightly to Lin Xuan and asked curiously, "What do you want to show me?" Lin Xuan gently picked up Li Menjiao and let her sit sideways on his lap. Then he pointed at the genuine Ruifeng in front of him and said with a smile, "This is it." Li Menjiao looked at this exquisite box and knew it must be worth a lot of money. She asked curiously, "Honey, what expensive things did you buy again?" Lin Xuan smiled mysteriously and said, "You will know when you open it." So Li Menjiao carefully stretched out her hands and gently opened the box. In an instant, a dazzling golden light shot out from the box, causing her to squint her eyes. After getting used to the light, she was surprised to find that the box contained 4 kinds of gold jewelry, including a gold wedding ring, a gold necklace, a gold bracelet, and gold ear chains, neatly arranged. They emit brilliant light, as if telling of endless luxury and beauty. Lin Xuan smiled gently. "Wife, these are what we will need when we pick up the bride." Li Menjiao was already shocked by the luxurious scene before her. "It's going to blind me. Do you want me to put on sunglasses?" Lin Xuan asked jokingly. "No need." Li Menjiao gave Lin Xuan a hard kiss on the face. "Pick it up and try it," Lin Xuan said with a smile. So Li Menjiao first gently picked up the gold wedding ring. This pair of wedding rings are carefully crafted from 999.9 pure gold. The face of the men's ring is engraved with a majestic dragon pattern, and the dragon's eyes are inlaid with precious black diamonds, showing grandeur and power. The face of the women's ring is engraved with a graceful phoenix pattern, and the phoenix's head is inlaid with sparkling pink diamonds, symbolizing auspiciousness and nobility. The inside of the ring is carefully engraved with the couple's initials and wedding anniversary. Then she picked up the gold necklace. This necklace is made up of 8 thick pure gold links and adopts a gorgeous phoenix tail chain design, which is smart and luxurious. The pendant is in the shape of a dragon and phoenix playing with a pearl, with a diameter of about 5 cm. The edges of the dragon and phoenix's bodies are inlaid with a circle of top-quality sapphires, and the pearl is made of an 8-carat pink diamond. Then Li Menjiao turned her attention to the gold bracelet. This bracelet is mainly made of pure gold. The chain links are about 6 thick, and a round pearl is inlaid between each link. The bracelet's clasp is designed in the shape of an exquisite phoenix head, with yellow and pink diamonds inlaid around its neck. Finally, the gold earrings. The hook part of the earring is made of solid gold, smooth and sturdy. The pendant is in the shape of 2 intertwined dragons and phoenixes, about 3.5 cm long. The surface is finely textured using traditional engraving techniques and is inlaid with rubies and emeralds. After Li Menjiao looked at all of genuine Ruifeng's gold jewelry, she carefully put them back in place. "Wife, don't you like it?" Lin Xuan asked. "I like it. It's because I like it so much that I want to put it away." Li Menjiao curved her eyes, her heart feeling as if it were filled with honey. Chapter 269, Kissing is a Way to Express Love. "Try it on, your husband wants to see it." Lin Xuan looked at Li Menjiao gently, his eyes full of pampering and expectation. Li Menjiao blinked her beautiful eyes slightly, then stretched out her little hand to pick up the gold bracelet. When she was about to put it on, Lin Xuan snatched it away. "Your husband will wear it for you," Lin Xuan said gently. He gently picked up Li Menjiao's left hand and carefully strung the gold bracelet together. Li Menjiao's fingers are slender, as white and flawless as white jade, soft and tender. Lin Xuan couldn't help but lower his head and gently kissed the back of her hand, feeling the warmth of her skin. Then he picked up the pair of gold earrings and slowly approached Li Menjiao's cheek. The two looked into each other's eyes, their faces very close to each other, their breath hitting each other's faces, bringing a strange warmth. Lin Xuan first put the gold earring on Li Menjiao's left earlobe, and then on her right earlobe. Every movement is so gentle and careful. After putting it on, Lin Xuan did not forget to give her a gentle kiss on the ear. "Ha ha ha, hubby, it's so itchy." Li Menjiao squinted her beautiful eyes and said with a smile. Lin Xuan didn't care about all that. He picked up the gold necklace again and gently placed it against Li Menjiao's forehead. He carefully put the necklace around her slender white neck and fastened it gently. Li Menjiao's neck is as crystal clear as white jade, slender and elegant, and with her delicate collarbone, she looks even more charming. At this time, Li Menjiao was still thinking in her little head that every time her husband put a piece of jewelry on her, he would kiss the corresponding part of her body. So the smart girl quickly protected her neck with both hands. But Lin Xuan did not play according to common sense. The corners of his mouth rose slightly, revealing a wicked smile, and he kissed Li Menjiao's tender and tempting lips deeply. This sudden action caught Li Menjiao off guard. She said shyly, "Why do you want to kiss me even when I'm wearing jewelry?" Lin Xuan smiled and replied, "Kissing is a way to express love. It means that your husband really loves you." Hearing this, Li Menjiao blushed with shame, but she couldn't help but retorted, "Humph, every time you say something, it makes sense." Lin Xuan couldn't help laughing when he saw her cute appearance. Then he reminded, "We haven't put on our gold wedding rings yet. Honey, let me put it on for you." Li Menjiao reached out and picked up the exquisite gold men's ring. When she was about to put it on Lin Xuan, he got there first. Lin Xuan said lovingly, "It doesn't make sense for a girl to put a ring on a boy's finger first. Let your husband put it on you first." After saying that, he picked up the gold women's ring, gently took Li Menjiao's left hand again, and gently put the ring on her slender ring finger. Immediately afterwards, Li Menjiao happily took Lin Xuan's left hand and put the gold men's ring on his ring finger. The two of them raised their hands with rings on them in tacit understanding and gestured, their eyes filled with smiles of happiness and satisfaction. Then they stood side by side in front of the mirror and looked at each other carefully. "My wife is so beautiful," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "My husband is also very handsome," Li Menjiao responded sweetly. After saying that, she raised her hands, gently patted Lin Xuan's cheeks, and then gently kneaded them. Seeing this, Lin Xuan simply grabbed Li Menjiao's forehead and kissed her tender lips passionately. The two of them kissed passionately, and before they knew it, the hands wearing rings were tightly clasped together. Time quietly passed to evening, and the young couple Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao walked leisurely towards the beach in front of the villa as usual. As the sun sets, the golden afterglow shines on the sea, creating ripples. Lin Xuan held Li Menjiao's hand tightly and strolled leisurely on the beach, facing the gentle sea breeze. At this time, two innocent children, who looked only 3 or 4 years old, ran past them laughing and playing. Seeing the carefree appearance of the children, Li Menjiao couldn't help but sigh. "Husband, in the future our children will be able to play and have fun on this beach like them." Lin Xuan smiled and responded gently, "Of course." Just as the two were immersed in beautiful visions, an abrupt phone call broke the tranquility. Lin Xuan took out his cell phone and pressed the answer button. "Hello, who is this?" "Good afternoon, Mr. Lin. I am Chen Bin from Eternal Love Song Wedding Planner." The other party introduced himself. "Oh, Tilda, it turns out to be Manager Chen." Lin Xuan suddenly realized. "Well, your wedding is ready. When will you be free for pre-wedding photo shoot?" Chen Bin asked politely. "We are still in our hometown now. How about the day after tomorrow?" Lin Xuan thought for a while and answered. "Of course, no problem. We'll wait for you." Chen Bin responded immediately. Lin Xuan nodded and said with satisfaction, "Okay, that's settled." After saying that, he hung up the phone. Li Menjiao, who was standing by, saw Lin Xuan put down his phone and asked curiously, "Honey, is there something going on at the company?" Lin Xuan shook his head and said with a smile, "No, our wedding is ready. Manager Chen wants us to shoot a wedding documentary in advance." After hearing this, Li Menjiao smiled happily, with anticipation glittering in her eyes. "Then let's get ready to go back." Lin Xuan looked at her beautiful face and said, "Okay." The sun is shining, the breeze is blowing, and a new day has begun. After a hearty breakfast, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao took their lovely Dabao and Zaya Abao out of the luxurious villa of Yunhai home. They came to the Toyota Alpha and prepared to return to Jinghai City. "Mom, have you packed everything?" Lin Xuan asked with concern. "Everything is packed, let's get ready to go," Zhang Xiulan replied with a smile. She sat in the back seat first, then took Dabao and held him carefully in her arms. Li Menjiao also sat in the back seat and gently placed Zaya Abao beside her. After Lin Xuan confirmed that everything was ready, he sat in the driver's seat and prepared to start the car. At this moment, Lin Zhengyuo walked to the car window and looked at his family in the car with reluctance in his eyes. "Good kids, wait for Grandpa. I will come to see you next week," Lin Zhengyuo said softly. "Okay, Dabao, say bye to Grandpa." Zhang Xiulan lifted Dabao's little hand and waved gently. "Dad, let's go back," Lin Xuan said. "Okay, be careful on the road and drive slowly," Lin Zhengyuo instructed. Lin Xuan nodded, started the car, slowly drove out of the gate of Yunhai House, and headed towards Jinghai City. Chapter 270, Becoming a Mother at Such a Young Age. 3 hours later, Lin Xuan drove a Toyota Alpha slowly into the Haitian Yijing Villa. As soon as she entered the door, Li Menjiao made a surprised sound. "Wow, this is so beautiful, Tilda. The Haitian Yijing before us has been completely renovated. After the careful construction of Yang Heng Love Song Wedding Studio, the front and back gardens are as beautiful as a dream. At the entrance, there is a romantic arch woven with flowers and green leaves. Next to it are 2 huge dolphin sculptures. They are happily spraying water, and the crystal clear water droplets are sparkling charmingly in the air. The road leading to the villa is lined with a sea of blue and white flowers, just like the vast ocean and the vast sky blending together. On the private beach, a transparent glass stage stands tall, and the ground beneath the stage is covered with blue crystal stones and colorful shells, making people feel as if they are in a mysterious underwater world. It is also surrounded by large jellyfish-shaped lamps and coral-shaped decorations, emitting soft and warm light, creating a mysterious ocean atmosphere. In the garden, there are several exquisite rest areas with comfortable sofas and parasols, and curtains made of pearls as partitions, giving people a tranquil and elegant feeling. Zhang Xuelin looked at all this and couldn't help but sigh. It's worthy of being a big city design, it's really creative. She was very satisfied with this arrangement, her eyes full of admiration. Then Lin Xuan slowly parked the car in front of the villa, opened the door and got out. Daughter-in-law, you and Lin Xuan go for a walk around the villa garden. I'll take care of the babies, Zhang Xuelin said kindly. Okay, Lin Xuan said with a smile. Lin Xuan smiled and took Li Menjiao's hand, and they walked towards the garden of the villa together. The sunlight shone into the room from the window and sprinkled on Li Menjiao's beautiful face. She slowly opened her eyes, stretched, then looked at her phone and found two unread messages, one from Li Huaru and one from Zheng Kiki. They made an appointment to go out for dinner together in the evening to celebrate their successful admission into the teacher program at Shanghai Tian District, No. 1 Primary School. Honey, I'm going out to eat tonight. Li Menjiao pinched Lin Xuan's nose gently and said tenderly. With whom? Lin Xuan asked casually while concentrating on the game in his hand. Li Huaru and Zheng Kiki are two good friends we met when we studied together in the interview training class last time, Li Menjiao explained. Oh, did they pass the exam too? Lin Xuan continued to ask. Yeah, so they said they wanted to celebrate tonight, Li Menjiao replied with a smile. Then your husband will take you there. Lin Xuan put down the game in his hand and said with a smile. No need, I can drive there myself, Li Menjiao said with a smile. Okay then, have fun and come back early. Lin Xuan kissed Li Menjiao on the forehead. Okay, Tilda. Li Menjiao nodded and smiled. At night, the streets of Jinghai City are brightly lit, and a popular barbecue restaurant called Delicious Barbecue is bustling with people. Li Menjiao sat at the dining table, her beautiful eyes fixed on the pork belly sizzling and emitting fragrance on the charcoal fire in front of her. Come, Menjiao, the barbecue here is especially delicious. Li Huaru enthusiastically picked up a piece of roasted pork belly and gently placed it in Li Menjiao's bowl. Thank you. Li Menjiao happily took the piece of pork belly, put it in fresh lettuce leaves, and then added some refreshing side dishes and a little minced garlic. Finally, she wrapped the ingredients and took a light bite. Instantly, the rich aroma of meat and unique flavor of seasoning fills the entire mouth, leaving a long-lasting aftertaste. At this time, Zheng Kiki was also tasting the barbecue and exclaimed, Yayo, you are so good at the interview. You can get such a high score. Hearing this, Li Menjiao smiled slightly, revealing a shy smile. She replied softly, thanks to the two sisters' temporary advice. It just so happened that the interviewer asked a similar question. Li Huaru smiled and waved her hands, saying, Don't be modest. We have been taking the exam for 2 years and finally passed this year. Zheng Kiki then added, Yes, Yayo, you are really amazing. Anyway, the three of us have passed the exam, so we will be colleagues in the future, Li Huaru announced excitedly. Yes, we should take care of each other in the future. Come on, cheers, Zheng Kiki said with a gentle smile. Cheers, Tilda. Then the three of them raised the juice in their hands and clinked their glasses lightly. Then the three of them started chatting happily again. What, Menjiao, you have already given birth to a child? Li Huaru looked at Li Menjiao in surprise. Or two, Zheng Kiki also exclaimed, her eyes wide open. Well, yes, Li Menjiao nodded, a happy smile on her face. Wow, she's a mother at such a young age. Yayo is so amazing, Li Huaru praised sincerely. Are there any photos? Show them to us, Zheng Kiki asked impatiently. Afterwards, Li Menjiao took out her mobile phone, found the cute photos she took of Dabao and Xiaobo, and showed them to them. Wow, what a cute baby, the two exclaimed in unison after seeing the photo. They are still very young. Li Menjiao looked at the baby in the photo, her eyes full of love and warmth. When will you take us to see it? Li Huaru said with anticipation. Yes, I want to hug this. It looks very spoiled. Zheng Kiki looked at Xiaobo with love in her eyes. Li Menjiao hesitated for a moment but finally mustered up the courage to speak. Then, are you willing to attend my wedding? There was a hint of anticipation and nervousness in her voice, as if she was worried about being rejected, because she thinks Li Huaru and Zheng Kiki are both very good people. Li Huaru and Zheng Kiki looked at each other, then smiled and replied, Of course I do. The time is next week, May 20th, Li Menjiao said with a smile. After saying that, she took out her bag, took out two carefully crafted wedding invitations, and handed them to Li Huaru and Zheng Kiki respectively. "This is the wedding invitation. Just come directly when the time comes," Li Menjiao said happily. After receiving the invitation, Zheng Kiki couldn't help but exclaimed, "It's so beautiful. This is the most exquisite wedding invitation I have ever seen." Li Huaru, who was standing by, also nodded in praise and cast her eyes towards the photo on the invitation, saying enviously, "Yiyao, your wedding photos are so beautiful." Afterwards, the three of them were once again immersed in the cheerful chat atmosphere, sharing every bit of each other's lives, with laughter rising and falling. Chapter 271, The Boss Gave It to Me. After the party, Li Menjiao drove a Bentley Continental to her villa. She was in a good mood, humming a cheerful song while driving the vehicle with ease. Suddenly, Li Menjiao caught a glimpse of a bustling food street, with people coming and going out of the corner of her eye. She thought about how she had only eaten meat at the party, and felt like she was not full yet. Besides, maybe my husband would like to have a midnight snack too. Yes, that's it. Thinking of this, Li Menjiao turned on the turn signal without hesitation and slowly parked the car in a roadside parking space near the food street. Then she got off the car happily and walked into the food court. As soon as you enter the food street, the aroma of various delicacies hits your nose. Li Menjiao was shopping excitedly. She first bought a portion of golden, crispy, and fragrant fried chicken, and then bought 2 skewers of delicious roasted chicken legs. When she felt she had bought almost everything and was about to go back, she suddenly noticed a long line in front of her. Li Menjiao looked forward curiously and found that it was a small stall selling cakes. Just as she was hesitating whether to buy some cupcakes to take back, a girl who had already bought some passed by and kept muttering, "Let me tell you, this cake is delicious." This one sentence made Li Menjiao determined to stay and queue. She stood in the line, looking at the slowly moving crowd in front of her, her heart full of anticipation. As time passed, her patience wore thin and she began to feel impatient. After a long wait, it was finally Li Menjiao's turn. But when she thought about tasting the delicious cake, she cheered herself up and continued to persevere. I saw a petite girl busying around her stall filled with exquisite cakes, with a bright smile on her face, as warm as the spring sun. Her eyes were focused and serious, as if every cake was her most precious treasure. "He looks young, probably just reached adulthood, still a bit green and innocent." "Hello, what kind of cake do you need?" The little girl selling the cake smiled sweetly and asked softly, "Do you have any recommendations?" Li Menjiao asked hesitantly as she looked at the dazzling array of cakes in front of her. "Our tiramisu and Black Forest cake are our signature dishes, but unfortunately the Black Forest cake is sold out. However, we also have a puff cake with a delicate and sweet taste, which is very popular. You may want to try it." The little girl selling cakes introduced her products enthusiastically. "Then give me 1 tiramisu and 1 puff cake." Li Menjiao decided to give it a try. "Okay, please wait a moment." The little girl selling cakes quickly and carefully packed a piece of exquisite tiramisu and a piece of puff cake filled with cream, and then handed them to Li Menjiao with a smile. "Welcome back next time," the little girl said enthusiastically. "Thanks." After taking the cake, Li Menjiao happily returned to the Bentley Continental, then started the car and left. The time came to 10 o'clock in the evening. "Honey, I'm back." With a clear and pleasant voice, Li Menjiao gently pushed open the door of the Haitian Yajing villa with a bright smile on her face. "Why are you back so late?" Lin Xuan, who was sitting on the sofa in the hall waiting, stood up and walked towards Li Menjiao. Li Menjiao stuck out her tongue mischievously, and while changing her shoes, she explained, "Oh, I went to buy some midnight snacks, because I was afraid that my husband would be hungry at night and want to eat." When Li Menjiao changed her shoes, Lin Xuan immediately went forward to hug her, gently lifted her chin, and kissed her affectionately. Li Menjiao hummed. Lin Xuan opened his lips and teased softly, "It's obviously you, the wife, who is greedy. Why are you putting the blame on your husband? HMPH, do you want to eat it or not?" Li Menjiao shook the bag in her hand and said with a pout, "Eat," Lin Xuan said. After saying that, he took the bag, opened it, and saw that it was filled with various delicacies, including fried chicken, barbecue, and cake. "Honey, come and try the cake I bought. I heard from everyone who bought it that it's delicious." Li Menjiao excitedly pulled Lin Xuan to the living room and sat down, then placed the food on the dining table. She picked up a piece of cake, handed it to Lin Xuan, and looked at him expectantly. "Honey, come and try the cake I bought. I heard it tastes really good." "Wife, you eat first and give me the rest," Lin Xuan said lovingly. "Hee." Li Menjiao kissed Lin Xuan on the cheek, then picked up the fork and started eating the cake. "It's so delicious." Li Menjiao took a bite and was instantly stunned. Seeing her reaction, Lin Xuan asked with a smile, "Is the cake made by your husband delicious?" Li Menjiao frowned slightly, as if she was thinking seriously about how to answer this question. Finally, she raised her little hand, gestured with her fingers, and said, "Well, a little worse than my husband's." "How is that possible? Let me try it." Lin Xuan found it unbelievable. He relied on the level of a five-star chef rewarded by the system to achieve, and he didn't believe that anyone could make a cake as delicious as his. Lin Xuan also picked up the fork, cut a piece of cake, and put it into his mouth. In an instant, Lin Xuan was also stunned. The moment you take a bite of the cake, the rich milky aroma and mellow sweetness are intertwined. The cake has a rich and delicate texture. Each layer hides a surprise, and every bite is full of happiness. "Indeed, not bad," Lin Xuan exclaimed. "I have to admit that the taste of this cake is very close to my own standard." "Really? So sometimes roadside stalls can make pretty delicious food," Li Menjiao said with a smile. "And it's made from a roadside stall?" Lin Xuan asked in surprise. As Li Menjiao continued to enjoy her cake, she explained, "Yes, I waited in line for a long time before I bought it, so I came back a little late. It was a very cute little girl who was setting up the stall. She looked like she had just come of age." "That's really amazing," Lin Xuan exclaimed. At this time, Li Menjiao gently pointed to another box on the table with her little hand and said, "Honey, there are fried chicken and barbecue here." "Wife," Lin Xuan looked at the barbecue in the box and was silent for a while. Li Menjiao raised her head and looked at Lin Xuan in confusion. "What's the meaning of having 2 skewers of roasted kidney in the barbecue?" Lin Xuan looked at Li Menjiao with a smirk. Li Menjiao's face flushed instantly. She lowered her head shyly and answered in a low voice, "Yes, it was given by the boss." Chapter 272, Wedding Eve. By the early morning of the next day, the internationally renowned wedding photography team had arrived. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao started a 3-day pre-wedding photo shoot. The photography team carefully planned 5 different scenes, each full of unique charm and emotion. The first scene is at sunrise on a private beach, where Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao are walking hand in hand on the soft sand. The waves gently lapped against their feet, as if playing a beautiful music for them. The golden light of the rising sun shines on them, as if covering them with a mysterious veil, making the whole picture full of poetry and romance. The second scene is in the villa garden. Li Menjiao sits elegantly on the swing in the garden and looks at Lin Xuan affectionately. Surrounded by a colorful sea of flowers, petals fluttering down like a beautiful flower rain. In this sea of flowers, the love between the two is perfectly interpreted, making people intoxicated. The third scene is on the balcony of the villa, where Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao snuggle together, leaning on the railing, overlooking the beautiful sea view. The breeze gently blew through their hair, bringing the scent of the sea. Their eyes met, full of anticipation and yearning for future life. The fourth scene was shot underwater. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao, wearing gorgeous wedding dresses, dived into the clear and transparent sea water, enjoying each other's hugs and kisses. Surrounded by colorful corals and schools of fish, they seemed to be infected by the deep love and surrounded the two to witness the beauty of this moment together. The final shooting location was chosen at Jinghai University, which carries the beautiful memories of Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao. The photography team carefully captured the moment when they were searching for books among the bookshelves. Their fingers accidentally touched the same book, their eyes met, and they showed surprise, which represented the fate when they first met. Then the camera recorded them sitting side by side at the desk, reading a favorite book together, occasionally talking in a low voice, with happy smiles on their faces, which symbolized the gradually growing feelings and mutual love between them. Finally, with the bookshelf as the background, they gently hugged each other, surrounded by books, as if the whole world was immersed in their love. This scene represents that they have fallen deeply in love and cannot extricate themselves. Time flies, and in a blink of an eye it is May 19, 2025, which is the eve of the wedding at noon. Lin Zhengguo brought Lin Sissy, who had already taken leave, to the Haitian Yijing villa. As soon as she entered the villa, Lin Sissy screamed excitedly, "Ah, this villa is so big." She ran around the villa like a happy little bird, with a surprised smile on her face. "Brother, when did you buy this villa? You didn't even tell me." Lin Sissy looked at Lin Xuan with a reproachful look on her face. Lin Xuan smiled and replied, "Why should I tell you? It's fun just to surprise you." At this moment, Lin Sissy had no time to argue with her brother. She couldn't wait to start choosing the room she liked, but every room looked good. Time soon came to evening, and all the invited guests were picked up and taken to a luxurious 5-star hotel near Haitian Yijing Villa to enjoy a carefully prepared welcome dinner. Each guest is assigned a dedicated private butler to cater to their every need throughout the wedding. On the night before the wedding, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao were separated for a short time, one in Haitian Yijing and the other in Jinwen Mansion. At this moment, in a magnificent conference room in the Haitian Yijing Villa, four people with serious expressions were sitting. That's right, it was Lin Xuan and his groomsmen, Zhou Quan, Zhang Zesheng, and Chen Jingming. Everyone, let's discuss how to successfully break through the door tomorrow. Lin Xuan spoke first. Zhou Quan then expressed his opinion. I think we should first prepare more red envelopes, treat people with courtesy, and then take action. Red envelopes are of course indispensable, but this alone may not be enough. We need to formulate a more comprehensive strategy. Chen Jingming expressed his opinion. What kind of strategy? Lin Xuan asked curiously. According to my guess, the bridesmaids will probably ask some intellectual questions, such as brain teasers, Chen Jingming explained. What should we do then? Lin Xuan asked. Don't worry, with my many years of experience attending weddings, I already have a strategy for dealing with this, Chen Jingming said with a smile. Tell me quickly, Zhang Zesheng urged. Chen Jingming cleared his throat and began to arrange the tasks in an orderly manner. Let's divide the work. Zhou Quan, you are a bit stupid, so just keep stuffing the red envelopes in the crack of the door. Don't stop. At this moment, Zhou Quan didn't know whether to say it or not. Then Chen Jingming turned to Zhang Zesheng and said, Zesheng, you are responsible for taking out your mobile phone and searching for answers at any time. Zhang Zesheng readily agreed. No problem. Then Chen Jingming patted his chest and said confidently, As I am bigger, I will stick to the door, and when the door is loose, I will break in immediately. Okay, let's do this tomorrow. Everyone shout out our slogan. Lin Xuan raised his fist excitedly, and the other three followed suit, shouting in unison. The four kings of the dormitory, happy and arrogant. At this moment, Zhang Zesheng suddenly thought of an important question. Oh, right, there is also the step of finding shoes. If I search online, where are the wedding shoes usually placed? After he finished speaking, he picked up his phone to look for relevant information. However, Lin Xuan smiled and waved his hand, saying confidently, No need for that. I know all the places my wife likes to hide. On the other side, in Jinwen Mansion in Jinwen District, Jinghai City, there was a bustling scene. At this moment, Li Menjiao and the bridesmaids were lying lazily on the sofa, enjoying delicious snacks. Sisters, let's discuss how to block the door tomorrow, Chen Manman suggested excitedly. Well, first of all, we have to ask them to give enough red envelopes, otherwise they won't be allowed in, Yang Lin agreed. Of course, but we also need to prepare some tricky questions, such as brain teasers, so as to test the wisdom of the grooms, Liu Yuxin said with a smile. Oh yes, I also specially prepared a mace and a sledgehammer made of balloons. Let's see if they dare to be dishonest. Chen Manman proudly showed off her masterpiece. Haha, I also prepared an acupressure board. If they answer wrong, I will make them suffer. Liu Yuxin blinked mischievously. At this time, Li Menjiao was sitting obediently on the sofa, holding a cute sofa pillow tightly in her arms. When my husband gets the answer wrong and has to step on the acupressure mat, I will feel very distressed. She murmured quietly, Aren't these ideas of yours a little too difficult for them? However, the other three bridesmaids shouted in unison, Yiaya, which side are you on? Chapter 273, I'm here to pick up the bride. In the early morning of May 20, 2025, the sun shines through the thin clouds and sprinkles on the earth like strands of golden threads. The whole world is illuminated by this soft light. The bride Li Menjiao got up early in the morning and sat quietly in front of the dressing table with a happy smile on her face. She looked out the window from time to time, looking forward to the upcoming wedding. Behind her, an internationally renowned makeup artist was concentrating on dressing her up. Every stroke and every line carries the pursuit of beauty and blessings for the newlyweds. At this time, Li Menjiao's roommates also got up early, changed into beautiful bridesmaids' dresses, and were busy in the living room, making final preparations for today's wedding. Sister, you are so pretty. You look beautiful without any makeup. The makeup artist couldn't help but admire. Hearing this, Li Menjiao blushed and replied with a smile, Thank you. An hour later, after finishing her makeup, Li Menjiao stood up and slowly walked out of the room wearing a gorgeous Fengrui Ziyu dress. Her appearance instantly attracted everyone's attention and amazed everyone present. What do you think? Li Menjiao asked shyly when she saw that no one was talking. Wow, Yiao, you are so beautiful. Chen Manman looked at Li Menjiao and exclaimed. As beautiful as a fairy, Yang Lin praised sincerely. I regret giving you to Lin Xuan. Can I snatch your marriage away, Yiao? Liu Yuxin said jokingly. No, Li Menjiao also joked. The four of them smiled at each other, and then focused their attention on Li Menjiao. At the same time, the groom Lin Xuan also got up early in the morning at Haitian Yijing and started to dress up with an internationally renowned makeup artist. When he came out wearing the Longxiang Ziyu suit, the groomsmen had already changed into their suits and were waiting at the door. "Brother Xuan, you're so handsome," Zhou Quan couldn't help but exclaimed. "He looks like the son of heaven." A hint of envy flashed in Zhang Zesheng's eyes. "Are everything ready?" Lin Xuan raised the corners of his mouth slightly, revealing a confident smile. "Everything is ready. We can set off at any time," Chen Jingming assured, patting his chest. "Then what are we waiting for? Let's go." Lin Xuan looked into the distance with a firm look in his eyes. Following his order, 9 cars slowly stopped at the entrance of Haitian Yijing Villa. The first car in the lineup is the Golden Sunflower Red Flag Goya. It has smooth body lines, and the red flag logo on the front of the car adds a bit of solemnity and majesty. The burgundy paintwork is very suitable as a wedding car. On the front of the car, a huge golden sunflower blooms brilliantly, surrounded by countless beautiful roses. On both sides of the car body, there is a snow-white veil hanging, fluttering gently in the wind. On the veil, small and exquisite crystals are inlaid in an orderly manner. A pink bow is tied on the door handle, and the soft ribbon is like the hands of a newlywed couple. At the rear of the car, a heart-shaped wreath woven with flowers symbolizes the perfection and eternity of love. The interior of the car was filled with rose petals, exuding a charming fragrance. On the seat backs are embroidered the names of the newlyweds and their vows of love. Behind the golden sunflower-shaped Honky Goya is a series of Honky H9 sedans, which are arranged in an orderly manner, like rows of loyal guards. Each car is equipped with a professional driver who is dressed in uniform, looks focused, and is ready to set off at any time. Lin Xuan gently opened the door of the Golden Sunflower Red Flag Goya car and got in. He felt the warmth and comfort inside the car, his heart filled with joy. Lin Xuan's groomsmen also got into the Honky H9 in the back. They were all in high spirits, with excited smiles on their faces. Afterwards, the wedding procession started slowly and drove towards Jinwen Prefecture in a mighty manner, attracting the attention of many passers-by along the way. The sunlight shines on the car windows, reflecting golden light, which contrasts with the golden sunflowers on the car body, making it particularly eye-catching. Half an hour later, Lin Xuan's wedding procession arrived downstairs of Jinwen Mansion in a grand manner. Lin Xuan and the groomsmen got out of the car excitedly and strode towards room 1601, Building A of the community. The photography team behind them followed closely to record this exciting moment. Soon they arrived at the door of room 1601, Building A, and the scene in front of them made Lin Xuan's heart warm. There was a big Chinese letter character pasted on the door, bright and eye-catching, as if announcing the arrival of joy to the world. Lin Xuan couldn't wait to push open the door and walked into the room. A strong smell of happiness hit him in the face. The whole house is carefully decorated with red satin and golden tassels, and every detail shows the owner's care and joy. The doors and windows are covered with exquisite wedding characters. Colorful balloons are hung from the ceiling. The walls are covered with romantic flower garlands, and the fragrant aroma permeates the air, making people intoxicated. With a nervous and expectant mood, Lin Xuan slowly walked to the door of the master bedroom and knocked gently. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Bridesmaid Liu Yuxin called mischievously through the door. "I'm here to pick up the bride." Lin Xuan's mouth corners slightly raised. "I've searched for her everywhere, so it's not too late to give her a red envelope. We have a telepathic connection, and without a red envelope, nothing can be said." Another bridesmaid, Chen Manman, shouted. Then Lin Xuan gave Zhou Quan a look. Zhou Quan understood what he meant and immediately bent down and stuffed the red envelopes through the crack in the door. "There's a red envelope, there's a red envelope." Liu Yuxin leaned over to receive the red envelope. The red envelope was bulging, and it seemed like there was quite a lot. "Now I have the red envelope, but I can't let you in easily." There was a smile on Yang Lin's lips and a cunning light in his eyes. "Then how can we be let in?" Lin Xuan asked. "Each of us will ask a brain teaser question. You can only enter if you answer it correctly. If you answer it wrong, you will be punished to stand where you are for 10 minutes. Yang Lin said slowly. "No problem, please ask the fairies for the questions." Lin Xuan took a deep breath and tried to keep himself calm. After that, the bridesmaid's silver bell-like laughter could be heard from inside. "You're quite sweet, but we won't show mercy. Please listen to the questions." Yang Lin cleared her throat and asked the first question. "Who is the one who always asks you to be responsible for her, but she is not responsible for you?" Lin Xuan and his groomsmen's brains suddenly went blank. Then Yang Lin's voice came from inside. You only have 1 minute to think. Please answer as soon as possible. Zesheng, quickly search for the answer on your phone. Lin Xuan whispered to Zhang Zesheng. Chapter 274, Bride. I'm here to pick you up. It will be there soon. Zhang Zesheng quickly took out his mobile phone and searched for the answer. However, he didn't know that his action had already been seen by the bridesmaids inside the master bedroom door. At this time, Chen Manman was staring intently at the laptop screen, which was connected to the camera in the living room. It turned out that the bridesmaids had installed a camera outside the day before so that they could observe the groom and the groomsmen at any time. The camera would be removed after the wedding. Look, they are cheating. They are actually searching for answers on their mobile phones, Chen Manman said in surprise. Humph, we had expected them to use this trick. Yang Lin smiled proudly. At the same time, outside the door, Zhang Zesheng shouted excitedly, Brother Xuan, I found it. SHH, keep your voice down. At this time, Chen Jingaming, who was lying on the door of the master bedroom, quickly made a gesture to Zhang Zesheng to keep quiet. There are only 10 seconds left, Yang Lin deliberately reminded from inside. At this time, Zhang Zesheng whispered the answer to Lin Xuan. The answer is the bank, Lin Xuan shouted at the door. That's right, Yang Lin announced happily. Yeah, there was a burst of cheers from outside the door. But you can't use your cell phone to cheat on the next question, Yang Lin reminded with a smile. Hearing this, Lin Xuan and the groomsmen looked at each other and asked in confusion, could it be that their cheating behavior using mobile phones just now has been discovered? We didn't cheat, sisters, Chen Jingaming explained hurriedly. However, Chen Manman sneered. Humph, we can see clearly everything you do outside. If you lie again, you will be punished. Faced with this situation, Lin Xuan and others realized that they could no longer conceal it and could only endure it. So Lin Xuan said softly, I understand. Please ask the fairies to ask questions again. Seeing Lin Xuan's cooperation, Chen Manman nodded with satisfaction and praised. Not bad, not bad. The groom is very conscious. Please listen to the next question. Then she asked the second question. What animal can be attached to the wall? Hearing this question, Zhou Quan and Zhang Zesheng could not wait to answer. New leather, gecko. However, Chen Manman shook her head, indicating that the answer was wrong. I'll give you one more chance. Lin Xuan pinched his chin and fell into deep thought. After a while, he finally figured out the answer and replied excitedly, It's a seal poster. Chen Manman smiled and announced, The answer is correct. Yeah, the cheers of the groom and the groomsmen were heard again from outside the door. Now I will ask the last question. Please listen to it, Liu Yuxin said with a smile. There is a word that makes everyone's heart flutter when they see it. What is it? Friendly reminder, this question was actually asked by your wife herself. I just read it out for her, Liu Yuxin continued. Money, life. The groomsmen were racking their brains. However, Lin Xuan shook his head slightly, indicating that these answers were all wrong. He took a deep breath and whispered, The word is love. I didn't expect my wife would ask such a question. Correct answer. At this moment, excited cheers from the groom and groomsmen were heard outside the door. When Li Menjiao heard the cheers, the corners of her mouth slightly raised, revealing a sweet smile. At this time, the bridesmaids gently opened the door a crack. Seeing this, the groom and the groomsmen immediately rushed forward and rushed into the room impatiently. Then the bridesmaids, holding maces and sledgehammers made from balloons, gently hit the groomsmen. The groomsmen also worked very well together to block all attacks for the groom and protect him from harm. Finally, Lin Xuan walked into the room, and his eyes were instantly attracted by that touch of surprise. The sunlight poured into the room through the window, illuminating the gorgeous Rockfeng Ziyu dress that Li Menjiao was wearing. This Ziyu dress is embroidered with exquisite patterns, and the auspicious design of dragon and phoenix symbolizes good luck and happiness. Her hair was dotted with sparkling pearls and jade, sparkling charmingly in the sun, as if bringing a touch of mystery to the entire room. Li Menjiao sat quietly in front of the bed, her hands lightly placed in front of her, her posture dignified and elegant, like a fairy walking out of a painting. Her beauty is so captivating, especially the rosy makeup which adds a touch of charm and beauty. Wife, Lin Xuan called softly, his voice full of tenderness and love. Hearing Lin Xuan's call, Li Menjiao raised her eyes slightly, with a happy and shy smile on her face. Their eyes met, as if time had stopped at this moment. However, just when Lin Xuan wanted to step forward, he was blocked by a group of bridesmaids. They smiled and said, Wait, the groom can't take the bride away now, said Chen Manman. Lin Xuan smiled and asked, What else do you want? Yang Lin continued, The groom needs to answer 3 more questions from us. Don't worry, these are not brain teasers. But if you answer wrong, you will be punished. Liu Yuxin smiled and pointed to the acupressure board next to her, with a cunning look in her eyes. Okay, go ahead and ask, Lin Xuan said with a smile. Then let me ask first, what is the bride's lunar birthday? Liu Yuxin asked first. The 6th day of the 7th lunar month, Lin Xuan answered without hesitation, his tone firm and confident. Okay, let me ask the next question. Groom, how long have you known the bride? Yang Lin asked. 409 days. Lin Xuan answered without hesitation. One last question. If the bride is unhappy in the future, what should the groom do? Chen Manman asked softly with a smile on her face. When Lin Xuan heard this question, he subconsciously looked at Li Menjiao gently, then smiled slightly and said slowly, "Kiss her." These two simple words are filled with deep love and pampering. After saying that, the best men and bridesmaids couldn't help but smile like aunties. When Li Menjiao heard these words, a shy blush instantly appeared on her face, like a ripe apple, which made her look particularly charming. She lowered her head slightly, a happy smile on her lips, and her heart was filled with sweetness. Yiao, has the groom passed all these questions? Liu Yuxin turned around and looked at Li Menjiao. Li Menjiao raised her head, smiled, and nodded. Yes, all the answers are correct. It seems that the acupressure mat I prepared will not be needed. Congratulations to the groom, Liu Yuxin said with a smile. She clapped her hands gently, signaling the bridesmaids to move aside. Then the bridesmaids finally gave up their seats, allowing Li Menjiao to appear completely in front of Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan walked forward slowly, knelt on one knee, and looked at Li Menjiao affectionately. Bride, I'm here to pick you up. Chapter 275, even if I have a baby, my wife is still my favorite. I've been waiting for you. Li Menjiao smiled, her lips raised, and a gentle light flowed in her eyes. Lin Xuan took Li Menjiao's hands, crossed their fingers and clasped them tightly, then turned around and looked at Zhou Quan. Zhou Quan nodded in understanding and handed over the box containing the genuine Ruifeng jewelry. Lin Xuan took the box, opened it carefully, took out the exquisite gold earring, and gently put it on Li Menjiao. Li Menjiao tilted her little head, her eyes focused and affectionate, watching Lin Xuan's actions, her eyes full of smiles. Lin Xuan took out the dazzling gold necklace again, moved close to Li Menjiao's cheek, put his forehead against hers, and felt each other's breath. He gently put the necklace on her finger, letting it fall around her slender neck, highlighting her fair skin and elegant temperament. The warm breath reached both parties' faces, creating an ambiguous atmosphere. Then Lin Xuan took out an exquisite gold bracelet, gently pulled up Li Menjiao's wrist, and wrapped the bracelet around her slender hand, adding a touch of delicacy and gorgeousness to her. Finally, Lin Xuan took out the shining gold women's ring, held Li Menjiao's left hand with one hand, picked up the ring with the other hand, and slowly put it on her left ring finger. Li Menjiao also took out the gold men's ring that she had prepared long ago from behind her back, gently lifted Lin Xuan's left hand, and put it on his ring finger in the same way. The two rings complement each other, symbolizing the eternity of their love. After all the gold jewelry was put on, the groomsmen and bridesmaids around them clapped happily. The next step is to find wedding shoes, groom. You need to think about this carefully, Liu Yuxin said with a smile. After hearing this, Lin Xuan's mouth corners slightly raised, and then he began to look around, looking for the hidden wedding shoes. Soon, he fixed his eyes on a large basket full of wedding candy on the table behind Li Menjiao. Then Lin Xuan smiled slightly, stood up, walked to the table at the back with firm steps, and gently pushed away the wedding candy on the surface, revealing a pair of exquisite Chinese wedding shoes. Groom, how did you find it so quickly? Yang Lin asked with a surprised smile. Lin Xuan smiled and replied, because of the bride's habit of hiding things, I already knew it clearly. After saying that, he walked back to Li Menjiao with the wedding shoes. Oh, Tilda, everyone cheered and applauded Lin Xuan's intelligence. Lin Xuan gently picked up Li Menjiao's ankle. The bride's feet were small and delicate, her instep was white and tender, and her ankles were slender and soft. At this moment, Li Menjiao seemed a little shy, her cheeks were red, and she looked as tempting as a ripe apple. Lin Xuan carefully put on the red Chinese wedding shoes on Li Menjiao's feet. After putting on the wedding shoes, Lin Xuan stretched out his arms to hug the beautiful bride, but the bridesmaid Chen Manman interrupted them again. She smiled and said, "Don't worry, groom, there is another important process, which is to read the letter of guarantee." Lin Xuan smiled and asked, "What letter of guarantee?" At this time, another bridesmaid, Yang Lin, stepped forward, cleared her throat, and said solemnly, "Next, let me read the wedding guarantee. The wife is always right. If she is wrong, please refer to the first half of the sentence. Don't lie, don't hide anything. Don't keep quarrels overnight and put an end to cold violence. Hug your wife every day and kiss her more. Warm reminder, the second half of the sentence was specially added by Yayo. Yang Lin winked mischievously. In the end, even if I have a baby, my wife is still the one I love the most. As Yang Lin finished reading the last sentence, there was warm applause and cheers from the audience. Lin Xuan looked at the lovely bride Li Menjiao in front of him, his heart filled with love. Give me a kiss, give me a kiss. Everyone started to cheer again. Lin Xuan smiled slightly and slowly approached Li Menjiao. He gently stroked her cheek, feeling her warmth. Then he slowly brought his lips closer to hers and kissed her gently. After the kiss, Lin Xuan picked up Princess Li Menjiao without hesitation, and then strode out the door. Groom, you haven't said you agree yet. Why are you so anxious? Ha ha ha, Chen Manman said from behind. Li Menjiao's face was also red at this time. She looked at Lin Xuan shyly, and then she wrapped her arms tightly around Lin Xuan's neck. After saying this, he looked down at Li Menjiao in his arms, his eyes full of tenderness. Li Menjiao's face was also red at this time, and her arms were tightly around Lin Xuan's neck. Soon the two came to the room where the bride's mother, Huang Shifeng, was. Lin Xuan gently put Li Menjiao down, and then knocked on the door. Please come in. Huang Shifeng's gentle voice came from the room. Lin Xuan gently pushed open the door, holding Li Menjiao's hand, and slowly walked into the room. At this time, Huang Shifeng was already sitting in a chair, smiling and looking at them gently. The next step is the tea ceremony. A staff member at the scene said this, and then handed Lin Xuan a cup of hot tea. Lin Xuan took the hot tea and walked to Huang Shifeng with Li Menjiao. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao each held a cup of steaming hot tea in one hand. They bent down slightly and said in unison, Mom, please have some tea. Good children, Mom is really happy to see you so happy. Huang Shifeng took the teacup with a smile on her face, but tears were glistening in her eyes. Mom, thank you for handing Menjiao over to me. We will definitely respect you well in the future, Lin Xuan said sincerely. I hope you and your wife can live in harmony, support each other, and live a better and better life, Huang Shifeng said hopefully. We definitely will, Li Menjiao said with tears in her eyes. Silly child, why are you crying? Huang Shifeng took out a tissue with heartache and gently wiped her daughter's tears. Happy, Li Menjiao said with a smile, her eyes full of happiness. Here, this is a red envelope for you. I wish you happiness. Huang Shifeng took out two carefully prepared big red envelopes from her arms and handed them to Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao took the red envelopes with both hands and shouted gratefully, Thank you, Mom. After completing the tea ceremony, Lin Xuan picked up the beautiful Li Menjiao again and walked downstairs step by step. When they walked out of the unit door, there were already staff waiting to greet them outside. As they appeared, a series of fireworks rang out instantly. Colorful fireworks bloomed in the air, and red petals fluttered down on Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao, as if covering them with a layer of romantic red gauze. Lin Xuan hugged Li Menjiao tightly and walked out with steady and firm steps. Beside him, staff members kept scattering flowers, making the whole scene more colorful. The groomsmen and bridesmaids followed closely behind, forming a happy team. Not long after, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao arrived at the gate of Jinwen Mansion. There were already rows of neatly parked red flag cars here, forming a spectacular wedding procession. Lin Xuan carried Li Menjiao to the front of the car, and the driver quickly opened the door. Then Lin Xuan carefully put her into the car, adjusted the seat considerately, and then sat next to her. The groomsmen and bridesmaids also got into the honky H9 sedan at the back one by one. With a command, the wedding convoy started slowly. The wheels rolled and drove towards Haitian Yajing with the happiness of Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao. There, a grand and warm wedding was waiting for them. Chapter 276, the wedding officially begins. The mighty red flag convoy drove like a giant dragon on the bustling streets of Jinghai City. The bright red color reflected by the sunlight made it particularly dazzling, especially the wedding car at the front, the one with the golden sunflower and red flag exuding a noble atmosphere, attracted the attention of countless passers-by. They all stopped to watch, with envy and amazement in their eyes. Honey, this car looks pretty good. Li Menjiao couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. Do you like it? Your husband will buy you one when the time comes. Lin Xuan looked at Li Menjiao gently and said lovingly, No need, we already have several luxury cars at home. Li Menjiao shook her head gently and smiled. If you like it, buy it. Don't worry about the money, wife. Lin Xuan gently stroked Li Menjiao's hand, his tone firm and affectionate. Li Menjiao felt warm in her heart, and she leaned her head gently on Lin Xuan's shoulder, smiling happily. Half an hour later, The red flag convoy slowly drove into the gate of Haitian Yijing. When the vehicle stopped, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao were once again pulled into the room by a team of internationally renowned makeup artists and began to make the final arrangements for the upcoming wedding. Time gradually passed to noon. The sun shone on the earth, and the guests arrived at Haitian Yijing one after another in their cars. They signed in enthusiastically at the entrance of the villa and received carefully prepared customized ocean-themed gifts. Each ocean-themed gift includes a three-piece set, a customized ocean crystal ball, a customized blue crystal bracelet, and an exquisite ocean-themed keychain. The ocean crystal ball is a miniature underwater world. Inside the crystal ball, an exquisite underwater castle stands, surrounded by swimming tropical fish and dancing seaweed. Gently shake it, and the colorful sequins are like sparkling bubbles, creating a dreamlike atmosphere. In addition, this crystal ball also has the function of playing music. The blue crystal bracelet is made of blue crystal beads, dotted with a few silver starfish and shell-shaped pendants. It is simple and elegant. The wearer seems to wear the mystery and tranquility of the sea on his wrist, exuding a unique charm in every gesture. Finally, the ocean element keychain features a cute little dolphin as the main body, with rhinestones inlaid on the surface, shining charmingly in the sun. At this time, the guests were communicating freely in the garden, enjoying exquisite snacks and drinks while admiring the beautiful sea view. These refreshments and drinks are carefully prepared by a world-renowned team of chefs, combining the essence of cuisines from all over the world to give guests an unprecedented taste experience. Wow, this ocean-themed keychain is so pretty. Li Huaru held the gift in her hand and looked at it carefully, with a gleam of surprise in her eyes. She gently stroked the ocean pattern on the keychain, as if she could feel the sound of the waves. Yes, this ocean crystal ball is also exquisite, and so is this blue crystal bracelet. Zheng Kiki also praised it. She picked up the crystal ball and saw the lifelike marine creatures inside through the light. On the other side, Huang Xingkai and Qiu Wise also came to Haitian Yijing. They were shocked by the magnificent scene before them. I knew Brother Xuan was rich, but I didn't expect him to be so rich. Huang Xingkai sighed. He looked around and saw the luxurious decorations and facilities and couldn't help feeling a little envious. Yes, the price of this big villa is astronomical, Qiu Wise also echoed. At the same time, Lin Wongking was happily eating blueberry cheese puffs in one hand and mango coconut milk smoothie in the other. She enjoyed the food with satisfaction, a happy smile on her face. This is so delicious. Wongking, pay attention to your image. You just came in and only knew how to eat. Seeing his daughter's look, Lin Yaowen couldn't help but remind her. He felt that he should remain elegant in such occasions. But Lin Wongking disagreed and continued to enjoy the happiness brought by the food. Dad, it's really delicious. As Lin Wongking spoke, she put the ocean heart mousse cake in her hand into her mouth. The delicious taste made her squint her eyes. However, when she reached out to take a piece of cake again, she suddenly felt her hand touching another soft and tender little hand. She looked back in surprise and found that it was Lin Sissy standing behind her. Sister Wongking. Lin Sissy immediately showed a happy smile on her face and shouted loudly, "Sissy, come and have some tea too." Lin Wongking responded with a smile. "Yeah, these are all delicious." Lin Sissy nodded excitedly with a satisfied look in her eyes. Afterwards, the two foodies began to communicate enthusiastically, sharing their preferences and comments on different snacks. Lin Yaowen, who was sitting nearby, looked at the scene and held his forehead helplessly. It was around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun was high in the sky, casting soft rays of light, accompanied by a gentle sea breeze, making people feel very pleasant and comfortable. As the music slowly sounded, the wedding officially began. The host was wearing an elegant navy blue dress and standing tall on the transparent glass stage. He had a warm and friendly smile on his face, and his voice was clear and infectious. Dear guests, in this beautiful moment with the sea breeze blowing and the waves whispering, we gather here to witness a love as deep and eternal as the ocean. As soon as he finished speaking, there was warm applause from the audience. Then the host continued with a smile and an excited voice. Next, let's welcome today's leading man, the groom. Chapter 277, Sing Me to You. The atmosphere on the scene was ignited again. The music slowly sounded. Lin Xuan was wearing a snow-white dress with an exquisite blue ocean-style brooch on his shirt pocket, which contrasted with the white bow tie, making him look elegant and dignified. His steps were steady and powerful, and every step was full of confidence and determination. Lin Xuan walked to the side of the wedding stage gracefully. The corners of his mouth rose slightly, and his eyes sparkled brightly. Then our heroine of today, the bride, will appear, the host shouted excitedly. The people at the scene applauded and cheered again. As the music started, Li Menjiao walked out slowly in her dreamy wedding dress that looked like the ocean. The wedding dress is dotted with pearls and crystals, like stars in the waves. The skirt is light and flowing, like waves dancing in the wind. Accompanied by her uncle Luo Qingquan, Li Menjiao walked with graceful steps through a colorful sea of flowers, like a goddess of flowers. Her beauty and the sea of flowers complement each other, making people intoxicated. As she walked, petals fell one after another, forming a dreamy rain of flowers that surrounded her. Finally, she slowly came to the other side of the wedding stage, stood in the position that belonged to her, and looked at Lin Xuan tenderly. At this moment, everyone at the scene was surprised to find that Li Menjiao had been holding a microphone in her hand. Then, the world's top music team and the installed top sound system started up at the same time, playing a wonderful melody together. The melodious notes spread in every corner like a spring breeze. As the music melody slowly progressed, Li Menjiao gently picked up the microphone, gazed at Lin Xuan affectionately, and sang softly in her sweet and moving voice. I want to sing me to you. While we are still young, let the flowers bloom freely. Decorate your years with my branches. Lin Xuan's mouth corners slightly raised, with a gentle light flashing in his eyes. He also picked up the microphone, looked at Li Menjiao affectionately, and responded. Who can replace you? Love while you are young. Li Menjiao had a sweet smile on her face, holding the microphone with both hands, and continued to sing affectionately. My dearest one, the road is long, let's stay together. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao began to sing. I'll sing myself to you. Lin Xuan sang while walking slowly towards Li Menjiao. His steps were steady and elegant, and every step was full of confidence and charm. Li Menjiao was also singing, while walking gently towards Lin Xuan. Her steps are light and graceful, like a dancing butterfly. As they walked, they smiled and nodded to the guests at the scene. Their eyes met, revealing their deep love and tacit understanding. The guests applauded and cheered, giving their most sincere blessings to the newlyweds. Lin Xuan's singing became more passionate. His eyes were fixed on Li Menjiao, full of affection. Li Menjiao smiled slightly and responded to Lin Xuan's gaze. Give me your innocent smile. We should have happy sunny days. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao met in the center of the stage. They held each other's hands and looked at each other affectionately. The two voices intertwined to form a beautiful harmony. I'll sing myself to you. Can I move you with my passionate feelings? The years are worth it. Nostalgic and lingering. Shy red. Let's just be together. Finish singing the last sentence. When they finished singing the last sentence, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao smiled, looked at the guests at the scene tenderly, and bowed gently. At this moment, the guests on the scene seemed to be immersed in the soulful duet, and after a long time, warm applause rang out like thunder. After a long time, warm applause broke out. Wow, you sing so beautifully. She is beautiful and has such a moving voice. She is simply perfect. This singing level is definitely worthy of being on TV. What a pity that I didn't record it with my phone. The guests were amazed. Yiao, you are awesome. When Li Menjiao heard the voice, she looked back and saw her bridesmaids smiling and giving her a thumbs up. Wife, are you still nervous now? Lin Xuan gently pinched Li Menjiao's little hand and asked with concern. I'm so nervous. Honey, how was my singing just now? Li Menjiao lowered her eyes nervously, her eyelashes trembling slightly. No one can sing better than you, Lin Xuan said affirmatively. After hearing this, Li Menjiao narrowed her eyes, and her heart felt like it was filled with honey. Then the host, dressed in gorgeous attire, slowly walked from the backstage to the center of the stage. With a smile on his face, he said in a loud voice, Thanks to the bride and groom for their affectionate duet. This song, Sing Me to You, made us deeply feel their love. Then he turned to the guests and asked loudly, Do you like this song? The guests in the audience responded in unison, I like it. At this time, the host solemnly and seriously announced, Then next, between this vast sky and earth, in the embrace of this vast and deep ocean, the two newlyweds will make an eternal vow here. As soon as he finished speaking, a unique sound suddenly came from the sky, attracting everyone's attention. Everyone raised their heads and looked towards the sky, only to see an elaborately decorated drone, surrounded by dreamy blue light bands, carrying two gorgeous diamond ring boxes, gracefully flying over the stage. Its appearance is like a messenger from heaven, bringing happiness and good wishes. The drone slowly flew over Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao and landed gently, like an elf in the ocean, accurately delivering this token of eternal love to them. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao took the boxes containing the Ocean Lord and Ocean Star diamond rings from the drone, and then looked at each other affectionately. Their eyes were filled with determination and affection, and the guests at the scene cheered and applauded this creative and romantic moment. Chapter 278, I Will Always Love You. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao looked at each other and opened the boxes in their hands at the same time. Suddenly, a dazzling light emanated from the box, and two dazzling diamond rings appeared before everyone. One is called Ocean King, and the other is called Ocean Star. They are both top-level diamond rings worth up to 12 million. Wow, what a beautiful diamond ring. Such a big diamond ring. How much does such a luxurious diamond ring cost? The guests in the audience couldn't help but marvel at the two dazzling diamond rings. Lin Xuan looked at Li Menjiao affectionately and said softly, "Wife, I will love you forever in this life." He gently took Li Menjiao's left hand and carefully put the Ocean Star diamond ring on her hand. Li Menjiao was so moved that her eyes became moist. She held Lin Xuan's hand tightly and said gently, "Husband, I feel the same way. I will love you forever and ever." After saying that, she gently lifted up Lin Xuan's left hand and put the Ocean King diamond ring on his hand. Two expensive ocean-themed diamond rings shine with charming brilliance at this moment, as if announcing their love to the world. Then Lin Xuan hugged Li Menjiao tightly, slowly moved his cheek close to her face, and gently kissed her alluring lips. Li Menjiao's little face flushed slightly, and she responded to Lin Xuan's kiss enthusiastically. Their lips were pressed tightly together, enjoying the sweetness of the moment. When the guests in the audience saw this scene, they applauded and cheered. At this moment filled with love, countless beautiful petals fell from the sky, like pink snow and dreamy mist. These petals, with endless tenderness and blessings, gently brush across the faces of the newlyweds, crowning their love. After the kiss, Li Menjiao smiled and threw the flowers in her hand towards the bridesmaids and groomsmen. I heard that there is a saying that as long as someone can catch the flowers thrown by the bride, they can receive the blessing of happiness. Yiao is throwing flowers, I must catch it. Liu Yuxin raised her head excitedly, held her hands high, and kept moving her body, trying to find where the flowers might have fallen. At the same time, Zhou Quan was holding up his mobile phone to take pictures of the bride and groom on the stage. When the flowers draw a beautiful arc in the air and are about to fall to the ground, suddenly a cry of surprise was heard. Ouch tilde! Zhou Quan felt a soft force pressing on him. He hurriedly opened his eyes to check the situation, only to find that Liu Yuxin was frowning, holding the flowers tightly in one hand and covering her forehead with the other hand, seeming to be in some pain. Next, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao returned to the villa together to continue changing their clothes. Later, the wedding company also invited some shows to perform on the stage. There are wonderful acrobatics, graceful dances, and beautiful music. The guests enjoyed delicious snacks and drinks while enjoying the wonderful performances, and burst into applause and cheers from time to time. As the night came, the luxurious wedding banquet was officially held in the banquet hall of the villa. The hall is beautifully decorated, and the lights are dazzling. All dishes are carefully prepared by internationally renowned chefs and are delicious in appearance, aroma, and taste. Appetizers include French foie gras with caviar, chilled deep-sea lobster sashimi, black truffle and scallops, etc., with a delicious and delicate taste. The soups include whole chicken stewed with cordyceps flowers, Buddha jumps over the wall, Boston lobster bisque, etc., which are rich and mellow. The main dishes include pan-fried Kobe steak, steamed grouper, crispy roast suckling pig, etc., which are mouth-watering. In addition, each table has a bottle of 1982 Lafite. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao changed back into their previous Ziyu clothes. Behind them were two nannies holding Dabao and Xiaobao. They were wearing festive red clothes and looked very cute. "Wife, when we toast later, just take a sip," Lin Xuan said gently. "Okay, I understand, husband. You should also drink less," Li Menjiao said with a smile. Afterwards, Lin Xuan held Li Menjiao's hand tightly, holding a wine glass in his hand, and walked towards the dinner venue together. They began to toast along the main table. Every time they came to a table, Lin Xuan would drink it all without hesitation, showing his generous side. Because Li Menjiao was still breastfeeding, she could only take a sip of wine to show her respect. When they came to the relatives' table, Li Menjiao finally met Lin Xuan's two aunts. Lin Xuan's two aunts looked similar, both wearing cheongsams, with gentle smiles on their faces and looking at them kindly. "Xiaoxuan, you're great to have married such a beautiful wife," the eldest aunt Lin Huijun praised affectionately with a smile on her face. "Yes, look, she gave birth to two lovely babies." The younger sister Lin Huimin also narrowed her eyes full of joy. "Hello, Auntie, nice to meet you. I am Lin Xuan's wife, Li Menjiao." Li Menjiao introduced herself obediently, with a hint of shyness in her tone. "Hello, hello, you're so beautiful. Xia Oxuan is lucky to marry you." Lin Huijun responded gently, with approval gleaming in her eyes. "Of course not. These are twins, a boy and a girl. Can I hold the babies?" Lin Huimin's eyes lit up, and she looked at Dabo and Xia Abo with anticipation. "Of course," Li Menjiao answered with a smile, then gently picked up Dabo and carefully handed him to Lin Huimin. Dabo was held in the new arms. He blinked his round eyes and looked at the strange aunt curiously, but without any resistance or fear. On the contrary, he waved his little arms as if to express welcome, with an innocent smile on his face. "Ha ha ha, Dabo is so cute. I'm your great Aunt Tilda." Lin Huimin was touched by Dabao's friendliness and spoke to him gently. "Menjiao, I want to hug the baby too, can I?" Lin Huijun, who was standing by, couldn't suppress her inner desire when she saw her sister hugging her baby so happily. "Well, Xiaobo is a little shy and might cry." Li Menjiao carefully handed Xiaobo to Lin Huijun. Lin Huijun took Xiaobo nervously but excitedly. However, to her surprise, Xiaobo did not cry. Instead, he stared at her curiously with his big watery eyes, as if studying who this stranger was. "Look, sister, Xiaobo's eyes are exactly the same as Lin Xuan's when he was a child." Lin Huijun was pleasantly surprised to find that Xiaobo's expression was exactly the same as Lin Xuan's when he was a child, and she couldn't help laughing. "Really? Let me see, it's true." Lin Huimin also came over to take a look and couldn't help but sigh. "But he is much more obedient than Lin Xuan when he was a child. When I held him for the first time, he peed all over me," Lin Huijun said with a smile as she recalled the past. After hearing this, Li Menjiao covered her mouth and smiled softly. "Aunt, don't talk about my childhood scandals. Today is my wedding," Lin Xuan said with a blushing face. Okay, I won't say any more. I wish you two a long and happy life together," Lin Huijun said with a smile. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao toasted all the tables, then returned to the main table and sat down. At this moment, Li Menjiao suddenly remembered that there was one person she hadn't seen, so she began to look around for him. "Wife, what are you looking for?" Lin Xuan asked curiously as he watched Li Menjiao looking around. "I remember we should have invited Grandma, but I don't think she came today." Li Menjiao frowned slightly. At this moment, Li Menjiao suddenly saw a figure leaving the door with a cane. Chapter 279, 1,000 Cups of Wine. Li Menjiao's grandmother walked slowly towards the direction of departure. Her steps seemed a little heavy. Occasionally she would stop and look back at the dinner party behind her, with a relieved smile on her face, as if she saw their happy future. Then she turned again and continued walking forward. However, when she took a few steps forward, she suddenly heard hurried footsteps behind her. "Grandma!" Li Menjiao shouted loudly. Grandma was startled at first, then slowly turned around with kindness and warmth in her eyes. She smiled and looked at her granddaughter kindly. "Grandma, why are you leaving without saying goodbye to us?" Li Menjiao walked quickly to her grandmother and gently held her old and rough hand. Grandma smiled and said softly, "I am very satisfied to be invited to this wedding by you. I don't want to cause you any trouble or disturb your happiness." Her voice was filled with a hint of sadness and helplessness, which made people feel pity for her, because she had already severed ties with Li Menjiao's family. Grandma really didn't have the face to see Li Menjiao's family again. Li Menjiao understood the meaning behind her grandmother's words and felt a pang of pain in her heart. She held her grandmother's hand tightly, tears in her eyes, and said firmly, "Grandma, you will always be my loved one. No matter what happens, you are my dearest grandmother." Grandma raised her head slightly and looked at Li Menjiao with gentle eyes. She felt her granddaughter's sincerity and affection, and a warm feeling surged in her heart. "Child, this thought is enough," Grandma said softly, with tears of emotion in the corners of her eyes. At this time, Grandma leaned over to take a look at the lively scene inside, with a look of envy and blessing on her face. Then she sighed softly, as if recalling the past. "Grandma is about to go back. I am very happy to see you so happy now." "Grandma, do you want to see the baby?" Li Menjiao asked softly. When Grandma heard this, she was about to say something but swallowed it back. "No need, I just saw them from afar. They are two cute little creatures." A trace of relief flashed in Grandma's eyes. "Okay, Yayo, I'm going back," Grandma said reluctantly. Just as she turned around and was about to leave, Lin Xuan came to Li Menjiao holding Dabo and Xiaobo. "Ah, Tilda," Dabo made a crisp sound. When Grandma heard the sound, she couldn't help but look back again. I saw Dabo staring with his big watery eyes, curiously staring at the strange old man in front of him, as if trying to figure out who the other person was. Xiaoba was already very sleepy and fell asleep in Lin Xuan's arms. "Grandma, these are Dabo and Xiaoba, your great-grandson and great-granddaughter," Li Menjiao introduced with a smile. Grandma's eyes sparkled with excitement. She stretched out her trembling hands and asked excitedly, "Can I hug you?" "Of course." Li Menjiao carefully handed Dabo to her grandmother. She held Dabo tightly in her arms, feeling the warmth and softness of this little life. Grandma took Dabo and was so excited that tears filled her eyes and blurred her vision. An 80-year-old man was holding his 4-month-old great-granddaughter. The scene was both warm and touching. Grandma gently stroked Dabo's small hand with her old fingers, as if she was touching the lives of 2 different eras. Then Grandma took out an exquisite jade pendant from her arms and carefully placed it in Dabo's hand. "Great-grandmother doesn't have anything good to give you, so I'll give you this jade pendant. I hope you can grow up safely and healthily," Grandma said lovingly. Dabo grabbed the jade pendant, thinking it was some fun toy, and waved his little arms around, trying to hold on to it. "Lin Xuan, Yayo, I have to go." Grandma handed Dabo back to Li Menjiao, her eyes full of doting and reluctance, but her face was filled with a satisfied smile. "Grandma, be careful on the road." Li Menjiao took the child, her eyes slightly red. "Grandma, you are welcome to come to our house anytime in the future," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Okay, got it." Grandma nodded gently, then turned around and sat in the back seat of a honky H9. The driver slowly started the car and drove towards Jingshui City. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao watched silently as the car went farther and farther away, until it disappeared at the end of the road in the distance. In this eternal promise in the heart of the ocean, the wedding singing and laughter gradually came to an end. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao stood at the door of the villa, saying goodbye to every guest with a smile. Suddenly, a bright light shot up into the sky, and instantly a huge and brilliant firework bloomed. The fireworks are like a bright pearl, shining brightly in the night sky. Golden sparks cascaded down like a waterfall, as if it was a beautiful blessing for the newlyweds' future prosperous life. The red fireworks are like passionate love, burning in the deep night sky. The blue fireworks are like the affection of the ocean, gentle and vast. At that moment, the colorful lights illuminated the entire beach, as well as the happy faces of all the guests and the happy smiles of Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao. It was late at night, and Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao, who had been tired all day, could finally rest. When the two walked into the master bedroom of Haitian Yijing Villa, they were overwhelmed by surprise. The room was filled with festive elements, with colorful balloons hanging on the walls, a red carpet on the floor, and a large wedding photo hanging above the bed. Especially the soft big bed, the original white sheets have been replaced with bright red, and there is a big Chinese letter character on it, adding a strong, festive atmosphere to the whole room. "I'm so tired, Tilda." Li Menjiao couldn't wait to jump onto the bed and feel the soft mattress. Then she stretched her body completely into a big letter shape, enjoying the comfort and pleasure of the moment. Then Lin Xuan also fell on the bed, turned sideways and gently hugged Li Menjiao. Li Menjiao turned around and asked Lin Xuan with a smile, "Husband, how many red envelopes did we receive today?" At the dinner, they held Dabo and Xiaobo and toasted the guests at each table. They received several red envelopes every time they toasted. "I don't know, I'm too lazy to count," Lin Xuan answered drunkenly. He felt his head was a little heavy, as if the alcohol had corroded him and he had lost the ability to think. "Honey, are you drunk?" Li Menjiao stretched out her little hand, gently poked Lin Xuan's cheek, and said with a smile, "Nonsense, I can drink 1,000 cups without getting drunk," Lin Xuan muttered, although his voice was unclear. "Ha ha ha, you're so drunk and still bragging." Li Menjiao couldn't help laughing out loud. She looked at Lin Xuan's stubborn yet cute appearance, and couldn't help but feel a little doting in her heart. "I'm not drunk." Lin Xuan increased his strength and hugged Li Menjiao tightly in his arms. "Honey, I'm going to make you some hangover soup." Li Menjiao felt Lin Xuan's hot breath and wanted to break free from his arms, but found herself being held tightly by him. "No, my wife can't leave me," Lin Xuan said like a child, with a strong sense of dependence. "I didn't say I wanted to leave you." Li Menjiao smiled. She found that every time her husband got drunk, he would become particularly clingy and act coquettishly towards her, which made her feel very sweet. So Li Menjiao struggled to pull one hand out of Lin Xuan's arms, took out her mobile phone, and prepared the recording function. She planned to record Lin Xuan's cute look after he was drunk as a memory for the future. When Li Menjiao raised her head, she was surprised to find that Lin Xuan had fallen asleep quietly with a happy smile on his lips. His breathing was steady and deep, as if he was immersed in a beautiful dream. "Good night, husband." Li Menjiao gently left a kiss on Lin Xuan's lips, then gently adjusted her position and fell asleep in his arms. Chapter 280, Luxury Business Building. The next morning came, the sunlight poured into the room through the gaps in the curtains, and Lin Xuan climbed out of bed, covering his head. "My head hurts a bit," he muttered, frowning. "Do you feel a headache now?" Li Menjiao on the side looked at him sideways, with a hint of smile and helplessness in her eyes. Lin Xuan scratched his head, seeming that he had not fully woken up yet. "You hugged me so tightly yesterday that I couldn't even make you sobering soup," Li Menjiao said coquettishly. "I was a little confused yesterday," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Then let your husband sleep for a while. I'll make you some hangover soup now." Li Menjiao spoke gently, raised her head and kissed Lin Xuan lightly on the cheek, then got out of bed and walked out of the room. Lin Xuan closed his eyes and lay quietly on the soft mattress, feeling the tranquility of the early morning. After a while, he opened his eyes again, his gaze fell on the ceiling, his thoughts gradually drifted away, and he began to recall the beautiful scene of yesterday's wedding. Suddenly, a clear voice came in my mind. "Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for completing the grand wedding. The reward is 30 million in cash, which triggers a 3x critical hit, totaling 90 million in rewards. It has been transferred to your bank card through formal channels. Please check it." Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for triggering the lottery mechanism. You will be awarded a chance to draw a lottery. The current prize pool includes 100 million yuan in cash, 2. A luxurious business building located in Haitian district, 3. An advanced astronomical telescope representing future technology, 4. Thank you for your patronage. "Excuse me, host, would you like to draw a prize?" Lottery. When Lin Xuan was about to spend all his money, the system sent him money again. "There is one more chance to draw a lottery. What good things can I win this time?" Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for winning a luxury business building in Haitian district. The specific address has been sent to you. Please check it. Immediately afterwards, Lin Xuan received a text message on his mobile phone, which detailed the exact location of the luxury business building. A few years ago, Liu Wen said that Jinwen Technology Company needed to expand, and this luxury business building came at the right time. Thinking of this, Lin Xuan couldn't wait to go to the company to take a look. Just as he was immersed in his own thoughts, Li Menjiao came over with a large bowl of hangover soup and called out gently, "Hubby, come and drink some hangover soup." Lin Xuan raised his head and looked at the full bowl of hangover soup. He couldn't help but look embarrassed and smiled bitterly. "Why is there so much again?" Li Menjiao put her hands on her hips, glared at Lin Xuan coquettishly, and threatened fiercely, "Stop talking nonsense, drink it up." Lin Xuan shook his head helplessly and had to pick up the bowl and drink it. After he finished the whole bowl of sobering soup in one breath, Li Menjiao nodded with satisfaction, took the empty bowl and turned to leave. When she returned to the master bedroom again, Lin Xuan had already gotten up and was squatting on the floor teasing the cute Dabo and Xiaobo. "Honey, are you not dizzy anymore?" Li Menjiao walked forward and said gently. "Much better, thanks to my wife for the hangover soup." Lin Xuan looked up at Li Menjiao with a happy smile on his face and answered softly. After saying that, he stretched out his arms and hugged Li Menjiao tightly and gently kissed her alluring red lips. Li Menjiao blushed and smiled shyly, then pointed to the basket of red envelopes beside the bed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Hubby, let's open these red envelopes together." "Okay," Lin Xuan nodded in agreement. So the two of them sat on the bed together and began to open the carefully wrapped red envelopes one by one. There is a surprise hidden in every red envelope, including thick banknotes, exquisite gift cards, and some warm blessings. Suddenly, Lin Xuan thought of something. He looked at Li Menjiao and smiled gently. "Wife, let's get ready to hire a nanny and a housekeeper." Li Menjiao looked at Lin Xuan with some confusion and asked curiously, why do you suddenly want to hire a nanny?" Lin Xuan smiled slightly and explained, "Let Mom go back first. She will get bored if she stays here alone for a long time. Besides, you will be going to work in the second half of the year, and the children will need someone to take care of them even more." Hearing Lin Xuan say this, Li Menjiao nodded and replied with a smile, "Okay then, it's up to you, husband." In the afternoon, Lin Zhengguo, Zhang Xulan, and Lin Sissy prepared to return to Yunhai City. Since Lin Sissy was about to take the college entrance examination, Zhang Xulan chose to return to Yunhai City to accompany her daughter, while Huang Shifeng stayed in Jinghai City. Before leaving, Zhang Xulan looked at Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao and said with concern, "Son, you must take good care of the baby." Lin Xuan nodded and smiled. "Don't worry, Mom. The child's grandmother is here. I'll be hiring a few nannies and housekeepers in a while, don't worry." Zhang Xuelin was still worried and reminded him, "Son, you must be careful when recruiting people. You must personally check and not just hire unreliable people." Lin Xuan understood his mother's concerns and quickly agreed. "I know, Mom. I will pay attention. Sissy, the college entrance examination is just a dozen days away. Keep calm and combine work and rest," Li Menjiao said gently to Lin Sissy. Lin Sissy nodded obediently. "Don't worry, sister-in-law, I will be fine." Lin Xuan, who was standing aside, looked at his sister and couldn't help but remind her, "Sister, although your grades are good now, you can't be too proud." After hearing this, Lin Sissy rolled her eyes playfully, pouted her lips and said, "I know brother is so nagging." Then she quickly got into the luxurious BMW U8 series and stuck out her tongue at Lin Xuan. "Why do I seem to be so long-winded when it comes to my brother?" Lin Xuan was about to continue nagging when he noticed that Lin Sissy was staring at the golden sunflower red flag Goya parked not far away. Chapter 281. I'm glad I have such a good boss lady. Lin Xuan touched his chin subconsciously, with the corners of his mouth slightly raised. After Lin Zhengguo and Zhang Xuelin left, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao curled up on the soft sofa together, watching TV series comfortably and enjoying the leisure afternoon time. "Wife, our wedding is now a success. Should we plan a romantic honeymoon trip next?" Lin Xuan hugged Li Menjiao tenderly, stroking her soft hair with one hand. "I also want to travel, but Dabo and Xiaobo are still too young to leave us." Li Menjiao gently pushed the hair that fell in front of her eyes behind her ears and smiled peacefully. "It seems so." Lin Xuan couldn't help but reveal a helpless expression. "You can't take the babies with you. After all, Dabo and Xiaobo are too young. When they grow up a little, you can take them out to play together." "It's okay, husband. There will be plenty of time and opportunities in the future." Li Menjiao gently poked Lin Xuan's cheek and comforted him softly. "But you have to start working in the second half of the year," Lin Xuan said with some regret. "Have you forgotten that teachers have winter and summer vacations?" Li Menjiao reminded with a playful wink. "Yes, even if my wife goes to work, we can still go out traveling during the winter and summer vacations." "Teacher, what an enviable profession. P.S. But in fact, if teachers don't have winter and summer vacations, it will be too hard." "Then let's go later." Lin Xuan lifted Li Menjiao's chin and kissed her hard. Li Menjiao was confused. Before she could react, her husband kissed her. She gave Lin Xuan a coquettish look and continued watching TV. After a while, Lin Xuan suddenly asked Li Menjiao softly, "Wife, what do you think of the wedding car we took yesterday?" Li Menjiao's eyes lit up and she said happily, "It looks great. This is the first time I've seen such a grand car." Lin Xuan smiled and said, "Then let's buy it." "Ah, buy another car." Li Menjiao blinked her beautiful big eyes and looked at Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan explained with a smile, "This is our wedding car. It has special commemorative significance. And don't you like it too?" As he said that, he gently squeezed Li Menjiao's little hand. Li Menjiao thought about it, nodded and said, "Okay, but we already have so many cars. Do we need to buy another one?" Lin Xuan smiled and replied, "This car is different. It is a witness to our wedding and it is worth having." Li Menjiao smiled, picked up a bag of snacks and said while eating, "Well, okay, husband, it's up to you to decide." Then Lin Xuan took out his cell phone and called Chen Bin, the sales manager of Eternal Love Song Wedding Studio. "Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Lin." Chen Bin's enthusiastic voice came from the other end of the phone. "Manager Chen, good afternoon." Lin Xuan responded with a smile. "Is Mr. Lin satisfied with the wedding?" Chen Bin asked. "Not bad," Lin Xuan answered concisely. "By the way, let me ask you something. Are all these red flag cars used for picking up the bride new?" Lin Xuan asked. "Those honky H9s are old cars, but the wedding car honky Goya you are riding in is the latest one purchased from the 4S store, and you are the first customer," Chen Bin explained in detail. "That's perfect. I'm going to buy this car," Lin Xuan said decisively. "As the highest-level customer of our Eternal Love Song Wedding Studio, this is absolutely no problem," Chen Bin agreed without hesitation. "That's it, let's make an appointment to trade then," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Okay, then I'll leave this car with Mr. Lin for now. It will be yours sooner or later anyway," Chen Bin said with a smile. "Okay, thank you, Manager Chen." Then Lin Xuan hung up the phone. A few days later, Lin Xuan prepared to visit Jinwen Technology Co., Limited. Lin Xuan had forgotten when he last went there. "Wife, I'm going to Jinwen Company," Lin Xuan said to Li Menjiao, who was wiping Zaya Abao's butt. "Well, go ahead." Li Menjiao had just finished, washed her hands, walked to Lin Xuan in small steps, stood on tiptoes, and kissed him. "Wife, do you want to go with us?" Lin Xuan put his arm around Li Menjiao and asked with a smile. "Ah, what am I going to do?" Li Menjiao blinked in confusion. "Wife, you haven't been to my company yet. It's a good opportunity for you to go and take a look," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Next time, I just happened to make an appointment with Huaru and Kiki to go out and play today," Li Menjiao replied. "Okay then." Lin Xuan turned around and prepared to leave. "Honey, you can distribute these wedding candies to your employees." Li Menjiao pointed to a large cardboard box next to her, which was filled with wedding candy boxes. "These are all left over from yesterday's wedding." "Good, my employees should be grateful to have such a good boss lady," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Okay, go quickly. The chairman should set a good example," Li Menjiao urged gently. Then Lin Xuan carried the big cardboard box to the door and stuffed it into the trunk of the Honky Goya. Then he sat in the driver's seat, admiring the luxurious interior of the car and the ruby-like logo on the front of the car with focused eyes. The more Lin Xuan looked at this car, the more he liked it. Not only is the appearance elegant and grand, but the interior is also luxurious. Then he gently turned the key. The engine made a low and powerful sound. The Honky Goya started slowly and drove steadily towards Jinwen Technology Co., Limited. About half an hour later, a Honky Goya slowly drove over and stopped at the door of Jinwen Technology Co., Limited. Since Lin Xuan was driving a new car and had not yet entered it into the company's access control system, he was stopped again. It happened that a new security guard named Xiao Zhang was on duty today. When he saw this unfamiliar luxury car, he walked over to check it out curiously. Seeing this, Lin Xuan took the initiative to lower the window and smiled friendly. "On duty." Xiao Zhang quickly stood up with a respectful look on his face and replied with his back straight, "Morning, Director Lin." Lin Xuan was slightly stunned and asked in surprise, "Do you recognize me? I seldom show up in the company. How could this security guard know me? Looks like a fresh face and still young." Lin Xuan couldn't help but think of a joke he saw on TikTok before, which said that if you become a security guard directly after graduation, you can save yourself decades of detours. Is this a real-life example? When Xiao Zhang heard Lin Xuan's question, a trace of nervousness flashed across his face, but he still answered truthfully. "Director Lin, although this is the first time I see you, my predecessors once made a mistake by not recognizing you. They learned from it and posted your photo in the security room so that we can accurately identify you. That's why I can recognize you." After hearing this, Lin Xuan suddenly realized, nodded, and said with a smile, "Well, you did a good job. In that case, please help me open the gate. Also, please help me enter this car into the access control system." Xiao Zhang immediately replied, "Got it." He quickly walked to the door and skillfully operated the switch button of the gate. At the same time, he picked up the device in his hand and entered Lin Xuan's vehicle into the access control system. Lin Xuan nodded with satisfaction, thanked Xiao Zhang, slowly started the car, and drove into the gate of Jinwen Technology Co., Limited. Chapter 282, Distinguishing Public and Private Affairs. Lin Xuan drove to the company's underground parking lot, parked the car, took out a large cardboard box from the trunk, and walked towards the company lobby. It was exactly 8:50 in the morning, 10 minutes before work started, and some employees had already arrived at the company one after another. Lin Xuan entered the company lobby carrying a large cardboard box and immediately attracted a lot of people's attention. "Wow, isn't that Director Lin? Yeah, I haven't seen him for a long time. What is he holding in his arms? Are you bringing us gifts, haha?" The employees were talking about it, and some of them even came forward to say hello. "Good morning, Mr. Lin." "Hello, Mr. Lin." "Mr. Lin, let me help you get your things." Lin Xuan smiled and nodded to everyone, saying, "Thank you, no thanks, I can do it myself." However, a few enthusiastic employees came over, took the cardboard box from Lin Xuan, and helped him move it to the front desk. Lin Xuan said gratefully, "Thank you." The employees smiled and replied, "Mr. Lin, this is what we should do." Lin Xuan smiled, then took out a few exquisite wedding candy boxes from the carton and handed them to the employees who were helping. These wedding candy boxes are all customized Chinese red brocade boxes, embroidered with dragon and phoenix patterns, which are very beautiful. The box is filled with various candies and chocolates, including Lindt chocolate, Dove chocolate, Wang Zai milk candy, etc. Each box is worth about 100 yuan. The employees took the candy boxes with surprised expressions on their faces. "Wow, Mr. Lin, what is this?" Lin Xuan smiled and explained, "This is my wedding candy, Thank you for your continued support and dedication to the company. I hope you like it. The employees were very moved and thanked him immediately. Thank you, Mr. Lin. I wish Director Lin a happy marriage. I wish Director Lin a long and happy life. Employees thanked. Okay, let's go to work, Lin Xuan said with a smile. Then he turned his gaze to the girl at the front desk and asked softly, "Who are you?" "I'm the company's receptionist, Wu Xiaoqing." Wu Xiaoqing replied nervously. Lin Xuan nodded and continued, "Xiaoqing, I'm going to trouble you for something. Please put all the candy boxes in the cartons on the table at the front desk so that the employees can take them at will." After saying that, he took out a box of wedding candy from the carton and handed it to Wu Xiaoqing. "Okay, thank you, Mr. Lin," Wu Xiaoqing said gratefully. Lin Xuan smiled slightly, then turned and walked towards the company's elevator. Soon, the elevator reached the top floor. Lin Xuan walked out of the elevator and came to the door of his chairman's office. When I opened the door, a familiar smell hit me. Lin Xuan walked to the desk and sat down, preparing to make a cup of hot tea and enjoying this moment of tranquility. However, he had just sat down, and the water in the teacup had not yet fully heated up when there was a gentle knock on the door. "Please come in," Lin Xuan said slowly. The door was pushed open, and Liu Wen walked in. He smiled and said to Lin Xuan, "Director Lin, I heard that you were here today, and I just happened to have something to discuss with you." Since he had already expressed his blessings to Lin Xuan at the wedding, Liu Wen did not mention it again when they met in the company. "Sit down and have a cup of tea and talk slowly," Lin Xuan said to Liu Wen with a smile. "That's right. Our company has been developing very well recently, so we have been recruiting people to expand our business." Liu Wen took a sip of tea and continued. "Yesterday, I received the list of company personnel submitted by the General Affairs Department and found that it has increased by 50% recently." "Oh, that's good news." Lin Xuan nodded slightly to show his approval. "Yes, but here comes the problem. Our company's building is running out of offices for new employees, so I'm thinking about whether we should rent a few offices outside to use," Liu Wen said with some concern. "Actually, there's no need to be so troublesome." Lin Xuan smiled slightly and said mysteriously, "Ah, so what Mr. Lin means is," Liu Wen asked puzzledly, "you should finish the urgent work at hand today first, and then I will take you to a place." Lin Xuan explained with a smile. "Okay, Mr. Lin." Although Liu Wen still didn't quite understand, he knew that Lin Xuan must have his own ideas, so he stood up and left. After a while, the crisp sound of high heels came from outside the office door. "Mr. Lin, are you looking for me?" Zhou Siyu stood at the door, knocked gently, and asked softly. "Yes, please come in," Lin Xuan replied with a smile, sitting at the desk. As the door was pushed open, Zhou Siyu walked into the office gracefully. "Thank you for your hard work during this period. Here is the wedding candy from a few days ago. I give it to you." Lin Xuan smiled and handed Zhou Siyu a bag of exquisite wedding candy. "Thank you, Mr. Lin." Zhou Siyu took the wedding candy with a smile and felt a little warm in her heart. She thought that her boss still valued her very much and gave her the wedding candy personally. "There's one more thing I want to trouble you with," Lin Xuan said. "Please tell me, Mr. Lin, what do you want me to do?" Zhou Siyu responded quickly. "My villa is planning to hire 2 nannies and a housekeeper. I would like to trouble you to help me post a recruitment notice," Lin Xuan said. "Okay, no problem." Zhou Siyu nodded in agreement. "Mr. Lin, do you have any specific requirements for the nanny and housekeeper?" she asked immediately. "Both the nanny and the housekeeper must have relevant work experience, no less than 5 years, and their backgrounds must be clean. Investigate their work evaluations," Lin Xuan emphasized seriously. "Of course, this is my private matter, so I will give you a reward." Lin Xuan looked at Zhou Siyu with a smile and said calmly. Hearing Lin Xuan's words, Zhou Siyu was slightly stunned, then quickly shook her head and said, "No need, Director Lin, it's all a small matter. You usually take good care of our employees, this little thing is nothing." "That won't work, we have to separate public and private affairs. The company has its own rules. Okay, you go and get busy first," Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Okay," Zhou Siyu nodded gratefully. Then she left the chairman's office, thinking that it was great to have a boss who could clearly distinguish between public and private affairs. Isn't chapter 283 shocking? An hour later, Liu Wen came to the chairman's office again. "Director Lin, I'm ready to take care of it." "Then let's go." Lin Xuan put down the documents in his hand and went downstairs with Liu Wen. "Take my car, we can talk about something on the way." Lin Xuan pointed at the honky Goya in front of him. "Then I'll drive," Liu Wen said. "It's okay, I'll do it." Then Lin Xuan and Liu Wen got into the car. Lin Xuan slowly started the car and drove away from Jinwen Technology Co., Limited. On the way, Liu Wen couldn't help but ask, "Director Lin, where are we going?" "Go to Haitian District," Lin Xuan said while driving. "Is there any suitable office space for rent in Haitian District? Is it too far away?" Liu Wen said. "It takes about half an hour to drive to Haitian District and Jinwen District." Lin Xuan did not answer immediately but asked, "Boss Liu just said that the company is planning to expand its business. What is it?" "Oh, I was just about to report to you," Liu Wen said respectfully, and then began to introduce their Jinwen Technology Co., Limited. "We, Jinwen Technology Co., Limited, have been committed to the software development industry and have achieved remarkable results. Now that the company has grown, we are planning to take it a step further and expand our business into the technology field. For example, we are actively exploring the mobile phone industry recently." Lin Xuan smiled slightly and nodded in approval. "Yes, in this case, we do need a more luxurious and modern business building to support the development of the company." Hearing this, Liu Wen couldn't help but look puzzled. Luxury business building. Lin Xuan did not answer his question immediately, but smiled mysteriously and pointed forward. Suddenly, an amazing building appeared before their eyes. A building shaped like a giant blue dragon rising from the sea. Its main structure is composed of high-strength steel structure and dark blue glass curtain walls, which are also coated with special reflective coatings, making the entire building shine charmingly in the sun. The overall shape of the building is a unique spiral upward form. At different time periods, the sunlight shining on the surface of the building will produce ever-changing light and shadow effects, exuding unparalleled charm. Lin Xuan pointed at the magnificent luxury business building in front of him and said to Liu Wen with a smile, "This is where I'm going to take you. It's also our future new office building. How about it? Isn't it shocking?" Liu Wen was shocked, his mouth opened wide, and he couldn't say a word. "Here it comes." Lin Xuan remained calm and continued driving. He soon arrived in front of a towering building. Lin Xuan parked the car steadily at the entrance of the building. At this time, a handsome man in a suit and tie came up to him. "Welcome both bosses. I'm Li Wenquin, the sales director here," the man said enthusiastically. Lin Xuan smiled and gently shook hands with Li Wenquin. "Hello, Director Li. My name is Lin Xuan." When Li Wenquin heard Lin Xuan's name, he was surprised. "So you are Boss Lin? You are really young and promising, really admirable." The Ocean Star building was just put up for sale a few days ago, and as soon as the news came out, it immediately attracted widespread attention. However, to everyone's surprise, it was quickly purchased by a mysterious buyer for the full amount. Now, seeing that this mysterious buyer was so young, Li Wenquin secretly sighed in his heart. Lin Xuan turned to introduce Liu Wen to Li Wenquin. "This is our company's general manager, Liu Wen." Li Wenquin quickly stepped forward to shake hands with Liu Wen and said with a smile, "Hello, Mr. Liu." Liu Wen responded politely, "Nice to meet you." Lin Xuan smiled and said to Li Wenquin, "Director Li, please take us to visit this luxurious business building." Li Wenquin readily agreed. "Of course, no problem, please follow me." As he spoke, he led Lin Xuan and Liu Wen into the building. The first place you enter is the lobby of our Haitian building, which has a 3-story high ceiling design and is magnificent. The floor is paved with imported marble, which is smooth and bright, reflecting the bright light of the lights. The lobby is divided into several areas, including a reception area, information desk, lounge area, and company image display area. "How many floors does this business building have?" Lin Xuan asked. Li Wenquin smiled and replied, "There are 30 floors above ground and 4 floors underground. If you want to know more details, you can look at the floor introduction wall over there." As he spoke, Li Wenquin took them to a floor introduction wall. The 2nd to 5th floors are roughly the business reception center, which includes multiple luxurious reception rooms, banquet halls, and multi-functional conference halls. The 6th to 10th floors are the R&D center and data center, which include multiple laboratories. The 11th to 25th floors are the company's office area, which includes multiple office spaces and meeting rooms. The 26th floor is the building's Sky Garden, which is equipped with leisure trails, viewing pavilions, and open-air cafes, allowing employees and visitors to enjoy a moment of rest after busy work. The 27th floor is the Employee Activity Center, equipped with a full range of fitness equipment, an indoor swimming pool, a yoga room, and a spa. The 28th and 29th floors are the company's senior executive offices and executive meeting rooms. Finally, the 30th floor is our chairman's office. Li Wenquin introduced the general situation of this business building, and then took Lin Xuan and Liu Wen to visit every floor, which took nearly 3 hours. We learned in detail about the functional layout and facilities and equipment of each floor, and put forward suggestions and opinions on some details. Finally, Liu Wen and Li Wenqin were discussing the details of the building, while Lin Xuan came to the chairman's office on the 30th floor alone. He pushed the door open and walked in. The chairman's office is very spacious, covering an area of 1,000 square meters, with a separate living room, study, lounge, and private terrace. The interior is luxuriously decorated and equipped with the most advanced office equipment and smart home system. The living room is furnished with a set of exquisite and comfortable sofas and coffee tables, and a 100-inch high-end TV is hung on the wall, making people feel as if they are in a high-end cinema. Then Lin Xuan came to the study, which was filled with books and documents, and many precious cultural relics and works of art were displayed on the bookshelves. Lin Xuan continued his tour and found a spacious lounge. This lounge alone was 200 square meters. It was warmly and comfortably decorated with an extra-large bed and a soft mattress as well as various furniture. Finally, Lin Xuan walked to the private terrace, from where he could overlook the magnificent sea view of the entire Haitian district. The sea breeze blew on his face, bringing a sense of freshness and tranquility. Chapter 284, Don't Talk While Eating or Sleeping. After visiting the Ocean Star Business Building, Lin Xuan and Liu Wen returned to the car. "Mr. Lin, when are we moving in?" Liu Wen asked excitedly. "It's possible now. We can move in one after another in the next few months," Lin Xuan answered while driving. "Okay, hey, I really dream of having such a luxurious office building," Liu Wen said with emotion. "Now that we have a new office building, Mr. Liu, you can rest assured and recruit talents to expand new business," Lin Xuan encouraged with a smile. "No problem," Liu Wen answered confidently. Suddenly, while waiting for the traffic light, Lin Xuan saw a figure coming out from downstairs of a company. "That person looks familiar." Lin Xuan pointed at the figure and asked curiously. "He is Liu Hanwen, the marketing manager of our Jinwen Technology Co., Limited," Liu Wen explained. "Oh, I don't seem to have any impression of him," Lin Xuan said thoughtfully. At this time, the green light ahead came on, and Lin Xuan continued driving forward. Because he is either at the client's place or on the way to visit a client, he is very diligent and hardworking, and many of the company's business deals are negotiated by him personally. He's quite young in his 30s and is a future training target of the company, Liu Wen introduced. "Really, that's good." Lin Xuan remembered him silently. After sending Liu Wen back, Lin Xuan drove back to Haitian Yijing without stopping. As soon as the door was opened, Li Menjiao walked out of the kitchen. She held a spoon in her hand, a gentle smile on her face, and whispered, "Hubby, you're back." Lin Xuan showed a doting smile, walked quickly to Li Menjiao, gently hugged her slender waist, and asked softly, "Wife, what delicious food do you have today?" "We have your favorite prawns." Li Menjiao smiled sweetly. "Give me a reward." Lin Xuan kissed Li Menjiao directly on the lips. "Okay, I'm going to cook." Li Menjiao gently pushed Lin Xuan away, then went back to the kitchen to continue cooking. Lin Xuan also went into the kitchen to help. After lunch, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao returned to the master bedroom. They lay down on the soft, big bed together, ready to take a nap. Lin Xuan held Li Menjiao tightly in his arms and asked softly, "Wife, look where this is." As he spoke, he picked up his phone, opened a photo, and handed it to Li Menjiao. Li Menjiao took the phone, looked at the photo carefully, and then answered in confusion, "Isn't this a building in our Haitian district? What's the matter?" Lin Xuan smiled slightly and said to her gently, "The company will move here to work in the future." Hearing this, Li Menjiao's eyes suddenly widened, her mouth slightly opened, and she said in surprise, "Ah, this building belongs to my husband now." She knew her husband was rich, but she didn't expect him to be so rich that he owned a luxurious business building. Lin Xuan nodded slightly and said with a smile, "Yes, in the future this building will become the new headquarters of our company." He reached out and hugged Li Menjiao tightly, saying gently, "I plan to change the name of the company in the future." Li Menjiao asked curiously, "What name should we change it to?" Lin Xuan smiled slightly and said, "Let's call it Xuanmeng Technology Co., Limited." After hearing this, Li Menjiao showed a happy smile on her face and felt warm in her heart. She smiled and said, "Wouldn't this be a bad idea? Wouldn't your employees have objections?" Lin Xuan laughed loudly and said confidently, "Haha, I'm the chairman who dares to object, huh." After saying that, he gently pinched Li Menjiao's little nose. "My husband is so domineering, a domineering president." Li Menjiao stretched out her little hand and drew circles on Lin Xuan's chest with a playful smile on her face. Lin Xuan raised the corners of his mouth slightly. "I am the domineering president. then you are my domineering president's wife. He reached out and grabbed Li Menjiao's small hand, squeezed it gently, and the smile on the corner of his mouth became more and more obvious. Li Menjiao smiled after hearing this. She raised her head, gently kissed Lin Xuan's lips, bit it lightly, and then quickly lowered her head. "Honey, I'm going to sleep." After flirting with Lin Xuan, Li Menjiao closed her beautiful eyes and prepared to go to sleep like a kitten. Lin Xuan, however, showed a wicked smile and said teasingly, "Huh, your wife flirts with you and then runs away." Li Menjiao closed her eyes and muttered, "Don't talk while eating and don't talk while sleeping." Of course, Lin Xuan would not be restrained by this sentence. He slowly moved his hands to Li Menjiao's slender waist and began to tickle her gently. "Ha, husband, stop tickling me. I was wrong." Li Menjiao smiled and tried to dodge, but Lin Xuan's hand followed her like a shadow. Her laughter echoed in the room, filled with happiness and sweetness. "It's too late to know you're wrong now. Now let my wife know what a real domineering president is." Lin Xuan's voice was low and magnetic, and his eyes were flashing with a fiery light. As his words fell, his hot lips pressed down and held Li Menjiao's lips tightly. The two people's breath gradually blended together, and the whole room was filled with an ambiguous atmosphere. A few days later, the calendar turned to the end of May. That night, Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao were taking a leisurely stroll in the garden of Haitian Yijing Villa, with two baby carriages beside them. The two cute little guys lay quietly in the car, staring with wide eyes and observing everything around them curiously. Lin Xuan teased the babies gently, while Li Menjiao looked at him lovingly. "Honey, I remember Sissy is about to take the college entrance examination, right?" Li Menjiao suddenly remembered this and asked Lin Xuan with a smile. "Well, yes, probably about a week," Lin Xuan replied. "Should we go back to Yunhai City and cheer her up? Besides, tomorrow is the Dragon Boat Festival, so we can celebrate it together," Li Menjiao suggested with a smile. "Okay, let's set off tomorrow," Lin Xuan readily agreed. The next day, Huang Shifeng took a bus back to Jingshui City in the morning. Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao set out after waking up from a nap in the afternoon. This time, Lin Xuan decided to drive his Honky Goya back to Yunhai City. After settling Li Menjiao, Dabo and Zaya Abo, Lin Xuan returned to the driver's seat, started the car and drove towards Yunhai City. At the wedding, Lin Xuan noticed that his sister Lin Sissy had been staring at the car, her eyes full of love and curiosity. "I'm going to drive the Honky Goya back home today, and I think I can give my sister a surprise." Chapter 285. I am here to monitor whether you have studied well. On the way back, Lin Xuan drove the car on the highway, his eyes focused on the road ahead. Li Menjiao sat in the back seat, taking good care of Dabo and Zaya Abo. "Honey, have you told my parents that you're going back today?" Li Menjiao suddenly spoke, breaking the silence in the car. Lin Xuan shook his head. "No, I thought you told them." Li Menjiao was a little surprised. "I didn't. I thought you would tell me, husband." Lin Xuan smiled and said, "It's okay, just treat it as a surprise for them." Time flies, and 3 hours have passed in the blink of an eye. Lin Xuan successfully drove the Honky Goya into the parking lot of Yunhai Home Villa in Yunhai City and stopped it steadily. Coincidentally, the room where Lin Sissy was located happened to have a view of the parking lot. With only 1 week left before the college entrance examination, Lin Sissy chose to go home to review so that she could better concentrate. She carefully flipped through her book of wrong answers, trying to consolidate her knowledge. When she finished the last page, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Finally finished watching it," Lin Sissy said happily. However, at this moment, her eyes accidentally swept out the window, and suddenly she found that there was an extra car in the parking lot downstairs of the villa, a Honky Goya. Then she saw Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao getting out of the car, holding their cute babies in their arms, and going to pick up their luggage together. "Brother is back." Lin Sissy happily ran downstairs to greet him. Her face was filled with a bright smile, and her steps were so light that she seemed to be flying. Just then, Zhang Xulan was about to go into the kitchen to cook dinner. After hearing the noise, she turned and looked towards the door. Seeing Lin Sissy running so hurriedly, she couldn't help but frowned and gently scolded. "What is this girl doing, running so fast?" Lin Xuan and Li Menjiao were just about to walk towards the villa with Dabo and Zaya Abo in their arms, when Lin Sissy rushed to them like a gust of wind. "Sister-in-law, brother, why did you come back suddenly?" Lin Sissy's eyes flashed with surprise and curiosity. Lin Xuan smiled and reached out to gently rub Lin Sissy's head. "I'm here to check whether you have studied well." Li Menjiao at the side also smiled and added, "Sissy, your brother came back specially to cheer you up for the college entrance examination." After hearing this, Lin Sissy's face broke into a bright smile. However, her eyes were soon attracted by the brand new honky Goya behind Lin Xuan. Forget the moral encouragement, bro. Is this car for me? Lin Sissy pointed at the car excitedly, her eyes gleaming with desire. Sister, do you like it? Lin Xuan said with a smile. I like it. I know that my brother treats me the best. Lin Sissy couldn't wait to walk forward and carefully look at the luxury car in front of her. Sister, you are too happy too early. I drive this car myself. Lin Xuan looked at Lin Sissy's excitement and couldn't help laughing out loud. Ah, brother, don't you have a lot of cars? When Lin Sissy heard this, her face immediately fell and she looked at Lin Xuan with a wronged expression. Look at you. Even though I'm driving this car, I didn't say I wouldn't buy you a new one. Lin Xuan reached out and gently pinched Lin Sissy's cheek. Hearing this, Lin Sissy immediately burst into laughter and said with a grin, Hee hee, I knew that brother treats me the best. Okay, let's go into the house, Lin Xuan said with a smile. Xiaobao, let me hug you. When Lin Sissy saw Xiaobao's cute appearance, she couldn't help but want to hug him. Then the three of them returned to the villa together. Then Lin Xuan came to the kitchen door, gently pushed it open, and saw Zhang Xulan busy in the kitchen preparing dinner. Mom, Lin Xuan called softly. Oh, you're going to scare me to death, little brat. Zhang Xulan was so startled that the spoon in her hand almost